best of 2024. Oh, just Noob Saibot in general. I like Chaos Reigns?
Brother.
Gameplay-wise, best version. Best gameplay version he's ever had.
Gameplay.
Tons of fun.
Gameplay, right? You have to shout that out to your microphone. Gameplay!
Not the design, not the personality, not the writing.
Nothing else. Gameplay!
Well, I mean, story-wise, he got a pretty good glow-up in terms of what he accomplishes.
If you want to ignore all the problems, he did get a glow-up. He did win all, like, he almost won all his matches. I don't know what. I don't really have an intro though. What's something that happened in 2024 that deserves to be mentioned again?
Just say Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays
Okay.
or something. It's so easy. You put
Merry
honestly,
Christmas.
sorry, you put way too much thought into. Oh, what would be a good intro? Just go. No one cares. I mean, think about
Okay.
it. We already have the intro where we show a clip of what's going to happen. Some clips from what's going to happen. Like that's the intro.
You know what? I like this rambling from Snake as an intro. We'll use that. Welcome to the Combat Kings, everyone.
No.
And also, I guess, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and 2024. Hell yeah, I guess. I don't know. All sorts of things. Today is a bit of a special episode. We're going to be doing what we did last year, which was the best of 2024 3x3 like listing. And we are all definitely just prepared and all jolly and joyed and whatnot. I like the jacket you added there, Snake.
It's a nice jacket. Nice.
But yeah, before that, I guess we have some updates we want to talk about, since like whether it be our channels or whether it be, do you guys want to talk about the Mortal Kombat Christmas updates that just happened?
I've been so busy playing Marvel Rivals that I haven't even gotten a chance, and that's the honest truth. I've been enjoying that game so much. There's like 7 characters I like playing. I've been doing all the challenges and stuff, trying to get those costumes for free. And so like I really didn't care about the Christmas costumes aside from like the Sector and Cyrax ones, which I think just dropped. So
Yeah.
Dang.
should be okay.
But Cyrax
you
was...
missed out on the limited.
Cyrax dropped yesterday. Sector will be tomorrow. You get a blue palette for some reason and the green and red one, which look pretty
You
good.
definitely want the Sector one, right? Just showing it all because you want the eye colors correct.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of, but I'm not even sure if I would wear that outfit. So it's like, it's a thing. But you could always mod it too, I'm sure. Mods are for more than just bikini outfits, okay?
Yeah,
so I'm sure
fixing what they did wrong.
Yeah. I'm still so
like,
flabbergasted to this day about that. I'm like, how did they never change them to blue? Like, it's just remarkable.
Or at least one
At
of them.
this point, it's a design choice, right? At this point. I will say though, despite me not really caring about the costumes, they are extremely easy to get. It's just like 5-10 minutes. I did that yesterday for a reptile like nameplate thingy, and like, but yeah, I don't. They are the DLC characters, so if you guys are lacking in the palettes and want more things for the DLC characters, there you go. I personally don't really care, but yeah, that's something that happened.
So some of the challenges are absolute pains. Like one of them is like, hit this orb like 10 times at a time. Like, while it freezes you, I was trying to do it as Liu Kang, like hitting it, but then eventually I realised I'm just going to do the fireball that throws out like 6 fireballs.
Nice. That's the cheat. If you have a character with multiple hits, that's what you do. Yeah.
Very smart.
Those are also a pain in the ass with Natara because she doesn't have any projectiles. So you got to chase after the damn thing and like kick it.
I feel like Natara should be easier because she can at least has mobility, right? I'm not sure.
True. That's nice. Well, it's not the kind of mobility you think it is, but yeah, it's okay mobility.
Mobility is only so useful when it can freeze you at close range when you're trying to hit it. So you really do want a ranged fighter.
I did do it with Reptile, and I literally just jumped and pressed 1 throughout the whole thing. Pop, 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 pop. And I did eventually do it like on my 3rd try.
And he's very happy because he got to have his little Christmas elf reptile combat card little character.
Yay!
Nice.
So worth it.
I told him specifically about it. I told him about it and he was like, please don't make me stop playing Marvel Rivals.
Yes. I'm like, how dare you make me leave getting this awesome, adorable Jeff costume? How dare you?
It's like, reptile. Oh, I see. Yes, it must be done.
Okay, fine.
For the video.
I did it anyways.
For the video, yes.
I forgot about that you're also getting like the player card stuff, the profile images and backgrounds and stuff.
Because no one gives
never
a
really
shit.
think about
no one
one
actually cares, except for reptile stands. But other than that, no one cares. It's so pointless.
I already have chibi Noob Saibot. That's all I need.
It's just
in
to
my
pad
life.
stuff out, honestly.
That is cute. I like the name cards in Marvel Rivals a bit more. Some of them are even animated, and it's like before the match starts, bam, right in your face. You'll see it like, oh, okay, that's the name card. Maybe he plays that character, ooh, and whatnot.
They're hard to unlock some of those things though. Like you don't get very many right away. You have to either like get a character like to a high level, or you have to like do an
Battle Pass?
achievement, or you buy them with the battle pass. Yeah.
Well, the free battle pass
but the-
gives you like
Yes.
Black Panther, I think, and whatnot.
Yeah, the battle pass is actually quite cheap as well, all things considered.
Yes.
And you get like 4 or
And-
5 different costumes, and it's pretty cheap.
Yes.
Cheap, all things considered. Cheaper than like
Yes.
one costume in Fortnite.
And they're really
It's
easy
actually
to
cheaper
get once
than
you start
one
actually
costume in
doing
the game,
challenges
too.
and missions and stuff. I get lucky sometimes, and I get the same mission twice. Like 2 of my
I did
weekly
too.
missions are the exact same goal, and I'm like, wait, so I just get them both at the same time?
That happens
Yeah,
for
exactly.
me in Towers of Time as well. Sometimes it's like, oh, do like 3 hitter combos. It's like, oh, 2 of them, like the hourly challenge and the daily challenge. Okay, I'll just
Yeah.
do that as smoke. Just jump in and just that one combo over and over again.
Nice.
But don't forget, everybody, the battle pass also never expires. Apparently, like all those past rewards will still be there. They never expire or anything. So it's
Yeah.
not a
That's
FOMO thing.
such an awesome
You can always get
thing
'em.
that they're doing, and I do hope other companies will learn from that.
I
Which
will
think
say
there
the
are some that
costumes
do, though.
themselves are a bit pricey. Like the ones they want you to spend money on
The
are
MCU
yeah.
a
ones.
bit pricey
Very
for
expensive.
sure.
But to be fair,
But you didn't pay for the
the
game, so
the costumes here are nothing to sneeze at. Like the Hell one is really good. That's
The
a
Hell
really good
one?
Hella.
The Hella Battle Pass or the Hella in shop?
Battle Pass, the cosmic
yes, the battle
Okay,
pass one.
yeah.
Yeah.
one. Looks
Those are
very
It
really
also
good,
comes, it comes with the skin and also like MVP animation and emote. It comes with like multiple things other than just the skin. It is pretty good. Also, that Hella one you just mentioned is free. You don't even need
Yes.
to buy the battle pass and you can get it.
Yeah. I got the Jeff the Shark one too. For doing
Hell
all the
yeah, I just got
challenges.
that
I have the
yesterday.
Jeff
From
the
playing
Shark
Splatoon.
Christmas one.
Yes, basically. I got good at that game mode. There's like a tactic to it. It's like
You have to hold
never
on to
ult
your
until
ultimate
someone
pretty
else
much
ults.
because they will ult and you ult right back. Yeah.
Yep. I remember it's like one teammate ults, the enemy ults, and then I ult, and I'm like, oh, I ate 3 of them. Hell yeah. It's pretty
And also
fun.
you clean the map too. You paint the map in that whole circle, which is also clutch. Like if you and your teammates hold on to your ults until the last like 10 seconds, you just ult your ults in different parts of the map and you just win.
Oh yeah.
'Cause it, like,
some
eats
people
the whole
forget
map.
that that game mode is supposed to be Splatoon, and like the last 20
Yeah.
seconds, the enemy starts killing a bunch of people, and I'm like, I don't give a crap. I just start spraying, and then it's like they killed like 10 or something, but then it's like we still win by like 60% because they stopped painting the floor.
Yeah. I have some gripes with Jeff the Shark because I do love playing that character. I know everyone else
Everyone
hates him
does.
because of the whole spit off the map tactic and all that, but I will say I'm still a bit salty that I can't swallow characters during certain moves. Like I can't swallow Punisher when
That's
he's on
the
his
counter.
turret. I'm like,
Oh,
why
yeah, that is
not?
weird.
And I can't swallow Punisher during his ultimate either, and I'm like, why not? He's on the ground. I should be allowed to suck him up.
Meanwhile, if a character's like flying like 700 fucking meters above him, you can still get him. You can
Oh,
still
yeah.
just grab Storm and Iron Man out of the sky. But this guy's in a fucking. Oh, I got my War Machine suit on. I'm too powerful. You can't get me. Fuck you
Doing
again.
a snow dancing on the floor. No, that counts as invincibility for Jeff, I guess.
And then the most annoying of all, of course, being Scarlet Witch. Her like pure chaos, and you run away
Oh,
as
you
far
can't
as you
eat
can,
that?
and she still gets you, and you're like, I was nowhere near that. And you watch the replay, and you're
Yeah,
like, she wasn't that close.
It's a lot like Diva's Ultimate in Overwatch. It's
Yes.
basically line of sight, honestly. Yeah.
Is it
Yeah,
actually
luckily-
on the side? If you hide behind something, are you safe?
It's
Oh,
one of the things I
okay.
think is
Yes.
I think it's
if
a
you hide
real.
behind anything, like a little pillar, you're
Some
safe.
Shields can do it too, like Doctor
Yes.
Strange and Captain America apparently even. But I feel
If
like that's
Magneto gives you a shield, you're fine too.
yeah. I think that's one of the things that
I
the
love
game
playing Magneto.
really
He's such a troll
struggles with.
character. He has so many shields.
I feel like
Sorry.
conveyance is something the game really struggles with. Is like, well, what is the range on this thing? How
It is
far
a
do I have to
big
go to get away
range, but
from
it
it?
isn't limitless though. And if you're behind
Well,
a wall, you're fine. Yeah.
My
Regardless,
only real gripe
Wanda's
with the
ultimate
game.
kind of sucks once you know how to handle it too. It's like it's a big pressure if you're not expecting it, but when you're expecting it,
Yes.
get her. Okay, she just stands there for 5 seconds. Like
I have one tiny gripe with the game. Tell me if y'all experience this too, or it's just a me issue. But I
Okay.
notice that sometimes, like if you watch the health part, you can tell your opponent's being healed. But I feel like I can't actually see the healing like hitting them a lot of the time. Like if Mantis is throwing heals on someone, for example, I don't see her little healing energy flying towards the opponent to heal them. I just see the opponent getting healed, like just their life going up. So I don't know why they're getting healed sometimes. And then I watch the kill cam, I'm like, oh, they're actively getting healed by somebody, and I couldn't see it. With Jeff, you can see it's a giant stream of water, so you just look for that.
Yeah.
But some characters, when they heal, you can't tell that they're doing the heal effect sometimes. And I'm like, huh. But
well, like Luna shoots tiny ice shards. Mantis clicks on a character to heal them, so you can see on the character.
I guess I kind of just wish the character like glowed green or something, so you knew they were being healed in real time without knowing it's one of their passive abilities or something. Because like Snake said, it was weird conveyance.
Does have an effect when the character is being healed, I think.
The health bar, okay.
Another
it's hard to keep track of when you have like 19 characters in front of you, but I got you.
Another convenience issue I have is the fact that for some reason I feel like the game's really not good at telling you when your ultimate is ready. I feel like you have to be. When I'm playing it, it feels like it just doesn't go. Oh yeah, it's ready. It's just you have to notice it. I just look over and go, oh, my ultimate's ready. Don't know when that happened.
Really, I don't know. There's a little bit of a sound, boom, or something.
Clean.
Whenever
It's really not loud enough. If it is there.
It is. This game, the ultimates are so important, so I do pay attention to like when I've got ulti or not. So like I guess I'm not. Although sometimes I do panic ulti. I'll be like, I'm about to die. Oh, hell yeah, I got ulti. Mantis ult, baby. Let's go. But either way, this is supposed to be the best of 2024, not Marvel Rivals.
Yeah, well, now's an awkward time to mention this, but to everyone watching, this is the season DLC pack, so you got to pay like $12 for this. If you're a Mortal Kombat fan, you're used to this. You know, it's fine. Got to spend $12. Yeah, for a single, seasonal fatality. Yeah,
but yeah, before we get into the 3x3, I think we can also do, because we did this last year too, our accomplishments of 2024, basically. What we're proud of, what we've done, essentially. Snake is giving a high five to
I'm trying to get it to auto-focus, it just won't.
I know.
Also focus on Spider-Man.
On the Spooderman. Whoa, was that a flash? Oh no, it's focusing. That's why your camera is like flashing like that. But while you're doing that, I guess I could start. So I did like started my Mortal Kombat 1 Doesn't Suck series, and I've done like a monthly video series like throughout the years, and I've done 7 of them, and like that has been an extremely tiring but very fulfilling project that I've done. Basically just trying to get a video out monthly, but also putting as much effort as I like usually do in my Sucks videos. Like in combination of all 7 videos, it's like almost 300 minutes I think in total or something. It's like it's quite a lot, and I'm not even done yet. It's like I still got the later half of Mortal Kombat 1, possibly the arcade endings, and then Chaos Reigns, which will hopefully be all out by next year, because that is going to be my sole focus. A lot of people have been asking about my Sub-Zero web videos, like, where's the Sub-Zero Sucks video? I'm like, I'm working on it, guys. The script is done for that at least, so I am currently still working on that. Then I've got the Shaolin Monk video, which went very successfully. It's my most successful video of the year, so I really appreciate everybody loving and watching that video.
More than Reptile? Reptile didn't do as well as the Shaolin Monks.
Erectile dysfunction.
Dan, you better tell Ed Boon and go, look, dude, people want Shaolin Monks too. I know you may have legitimate reasons for not doing one, but just fucking do it. Just tell David to shut the fuck up and just make it. Just do it.
like do Reptile and whoever the fuck else. Okay, come on now. Everybody wants that.
And also, on last gen consoles. Don't put it on Switch. Put it on PS4. Fool.
Yeah, don't do a Switch port. It'd be embarrassing.
I mean, for a Shaolin Monks, it might. We'll see. But point is, like, yeah, I think it's been a pretty great year. And next year it's gonna be like even bigger and stuff. So hope you guys look forward to seeing what's to come. Any of you guys have any fun shenanigans happen for you guys this year?
I mean, I went to New Orleans recently, so that was fun. Partied really hard in December. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, New Orleans is very fun. The only issue is that when you want to sleep, they do not go to sleep. Like, Las Vegas pretends they're the city that never sleeps. No, it's New Orleans. That is the place that does not sleep. Because you'll be up at 2 a.m. and you'll still hear, like, partying and drums and, like, megaphones and stuff. They do not sleep. But that was a lot of fun. Channel-wise, I'm happy for this final banger. I didn't know it did that well. I just checked on my video. I didn't check on it for, like, 3 days. I look at it, and I'm like, oh, did pretty good. Hooray! One of my best performing videos. So that's great. Yeah. I'm kind of surprised that it did so well, only because it had a lot of issues. When I first uploaded it, even though I had, like, we've all had this experience. Like, you upload it early, so if YouTube has any issues, it should tell you. And then it didn't, because when I went live with the video, it didn't like the original song that I had in the middle of the video at like 7 minutes. So I had to auto replace it, and I did. And that was already bothering me because I saw like the video was doing well, then that happened. And I'm like, oh my God, this could totally tank the video, right? 'Cause I'm not sure if like there's rumors out there, they're not proven, but there's some evidence to back it that if a video is not making money, like it's demonetized or, you know, loses monetization, that YouTube does stop pushing it as much. Like stops sharing it around and stuff. There's evidence to support this. It's not confirmed though. So I was freaking out. I got it fixed, right? It says it's fixed. And then at some point I refresh it to check on it and it's demonetized again. I'm like, what happened? And it's that exact same spot. It reverted the changes on its own somehow. So I had to get it fixed all over again, pick the correct song to replace it, all that. And anyone who watches the video will see in the pinned comment that I talk about how because I was a good boy editor and had the music slowly build up as I was talking and leading into it, that still counts as part of the music. So when I replaced that, you know, copyrighted music, which is only like 7 seconds, by the way, it now clips out that part of my voice too, because it was happening in the background of me talking. So the last 3 words get cut off, then the first 3 words of a different sentence get cut off, and I'm like, I thought about cutting the whole thing out, like the whole sentence, so it would be more coherent. But then I'm like, if I do that, then you miss the whole, like, you know, the Chaos Reigns bundle with the fire in front of it and stuff, and I didn't want to lose that fun effect that I put in. So
yeah,
understandable.
That's it for me, though.
YouTube needs to implement a system where you can just upload an MP3 to replace the audio track. So you don't have to upload the video, just go, well, here's the version where I've replaced the music, but it's just an audio file so you can get it uploaded quicker. And just because they can do that, they can apply different audio tracks because the fact the editor can replace music proves that. And also, big channels like Jimmy Beast can have different language dubs on one video.
Yeah.
Instead of having separate upload. So they should have an option to go, okay, I'm going to replace the music. Here's the audio file. There's like 60 megabytes. Replace the audio with this version. There you go. Problem solved.
True.
Yo, imagine if YouTube actually like helped its creators out. That'd be sick.
So what about you, Snake? What you been up to in 2024?
Well, 2024 has actually been pretty good. I mean, it's nice that it feels like one of the first year in a while that doesn't feel like everything's worse than it was last year. Because, you know, everyone's always like, oh, I hope 2022 is going to be better than 2021. And it's always worse and worse every time. I
get what you mean, yeah.
I think the only people who would disagree are, like, dirty fucking liberals who are mad about the election. But other than that...
Wow. Oof. In this podcast.
Great. Thanks, Snake. Now we're going to have that weird little, like, community notes down below the video that happens on any video that even mentions that word, even if you don't even talk about the subject matter itself. Great. Oh, man.
Yeah, please. Do I have to censor that, guys, now? Is Snake going to make this video demonetized? You know what's really funny, though? I have heard, because literally you're like, nothing, like, too substantial, like, happened. It's actually a decent year. You know what I have heard, though, Snake? I heard because of that, I've heard someone say that this was a pretty mid-year.
It was a pretty mid-year.
Mid-year.
I'm not going to lie. It was a pretty mid-year in my opinion, too, because I was looking up stuff for this video topic today, right? And I had a hard time finding 9 things. I was like, man,
you meant, okay.
There's really not a lot. There's a lot. I mean, there were so few new games this year that like were bangers that people have to list DLC. Because I think what they need to, like, you know,
that's the fucking
about.
Game Awards' fault. Okay, to be fair, that's nothing to do with like regular gamers. Well, to be fair, that is my game of the year, though. Actually, what's funny is because I knew we were gonna do like a 3x3, I guess, earlier. So I have been listing out things I liked, and I actually, unfortunately, had a lot of I felt bad for cutting out so many things that happened this year that I enjoyed. It's like 20-ish things that I had listed on. I'm like, oh, I don't want to talk about that. But you know what? Gotta wrap up time and whatnot. I think
that speaks one of 2 things. Either Sonic has an easier time having a big list that he needs to cut down compared to the 2 of us. Either because he's full of whimsy and hasn't been beaten down and jaded like Dog and I have, or it's also possible because he doesn't work on videos constantly like the way we do. He spends more time on whatnot. I'm not saying you're lazy or anything, just saying we're like, while we're on that grind, you're just like, I'm going to put out a good video. Just very naturally, it just happens, one a month. And so you have more time to just indulge in other stuff. You just go,
well, I guess it depends. I mean, like, I have my work time, and then after I'm done with my work time, I do have my play time, I guess. So I don't know. Playtime. Grind that Fortnite. Ooh.
But yeah, to get back on topic, when things started out pretty strong. I had that sponsored video with Raid Shadow Legends, and it was on the real problems with M1K's retro skins, and that did pretty well.
Yes.
People got mad, but they'll do that. I was going to do a video about the MK2 Katana Melina costume coming back again, but I've decided what I'm going to do instead is kind of make a follow-up to that video that will include that as well, and go, how have things changed in the last year? Is it better? Is it worse? Well, we've got Deception Melina, so yeah, I'd say it's probably better.
Actually, was Deception Shao and Sindel like this year too? I think
yes.
so, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
at the time, we only had the first batch, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Lee, May, Natara, so things were bleak back then.
Deception Sindel is such a funny circumstance because it's like they merged two outfits together instead of just giving us one.
It is a very interesting take on the skin. It's like, I guess best of both worlds in this case. Banger skin though, not complaining about that.
They were never going to give us big old thong Sindel. It was never going to happen.
You mean MK3 Sindel or something?
Well, even in Deception, she had like the big thong.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Which was the style at the time.
Yeah. Which I'm not going to lie, because MK1 did cover up everything, it's so funny. It's almost like jarring to watch that. Like you're just seeing the gameplay, and you just see her glorious cheeks, and you're like, oh yeah, that was a thing. Like, for example, doing her like harakiri, right? She jumps and lands on her own head to break her own neck. Yeah. And just her glorious cheeks are just staring up at the camera. I just can't help but laugh. I'm like, it's supposed to be like a dramatic like thing, but it's just like cheeks. It just cracks me up. I don't know.
The 2000 fantasy, baby.
Then I did the April Fool's joke. Every time we've seen a Mortal Kombat character's feet, people thought that was
a
funny.
banger. That was amazing. I still love that intro where you're like, you actually think I'm going to do it? Yes, I did. Yes, it's true.
You just pause and stare at us. It's so good.
I had that bit, because I had the video idea in like May or June of the previous year, and I was holding on to it for April, because it has to be in April. If I put it out any other time, people will just get the wrong ideas. It has to be April Fools. So I held on to that idea for like 10, 11 months, and that intro was like one of the first things I came up with for it. So I was just waiting all the time, like, I know exactly how I'm going to start this video, and I'm glad it paid off.
Very nice. I watched that. I showed that to my friend, and he watched it. Like I listened to his reaction live, and he was like, "Wait, this isn't a joke?" And he progressively got more and more impressed as like, "Holy shit, he's still going." It's like, he's like, "Why is there a graph?" Yeah, amazing video.
Then there was the Let Fighting Game Characters Die. People like that one.
Oh, the collab! Yeah, that was great.
Yes, that was a good video.
Very fun.
Well, no. The fighting game stories that mattered to us was the collaboration. The other one was just the one about.
That was the one that inspired it, right?
Yeah.
The Let Fighting Characters Die.
Right after it was announced Heihachi was coming back, I'm like, oh god, please stop. But people generally responded positively.
Heihachi and Noob Saibot.
You didn't get the as high a volume of people going like, no, you're wrong. I want them to come back all the time. People were like that, of course, but it feels like it wasn't non-stop people going, oh, you're wrong about this. You need to stop talking about this thing with a different opinion to mine. An opinion different from mine must be paid off.
I'm very happy at the amount of people that agree with Snake, and also me, obviously, as a result, because I agree with Snake. I was actually happy about that. I'm like, good, people are maturing and realizing, like, it's okay for a villain to stay dead, for God's sake. If the whole point of Street Fighter V was the build-up to Bison dying, it's okay to leave him out of Street Fighter 6. If the whole build-up of Tekken 7 was that Heihachi died, it's okay to leave him out of Tekken 8.
Like, Geese died 20 years ago. That's why, like, the Fatal Fury, like, villain has such weight to the series.
Yeah.
Crossing my fingers.
I mean, they have been hit or miss with the new ones lately, but there's still a chance.
Fatal Fury? That game hasn't had a game in 20 years.
No, sorry. The King of Fighters villains have been very lame lately in the past 2 ones.
You see, that's a different universe. I
thought you said King of Fighters.
No, I said Fatal Fury. I said Geese has been dead for 20.
But then after that, you said King of
Geese
Fighters.
is still alive. That's just different. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I definitely heard you say King of Fighters. That's all I'm talking about. But yeah.
I don't think I said King of Fighters. Anyways, we'll instant replay it, and you'll see Dom being a little silly head. Like, Geese died 20 years ago. That's why, like, the Fatal Fury, like, villain has such weight to the series.
Yeah. And the last highlight is that the new Sonic video actually did really well. It performed better than my last 5 videos, which were all MK, somehow.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
And those date back to like mid-October. The end of October. Anything since then has been outdone by this one video that went up at the time of recording 2 days ago.
That's great. Like, I've been trying to transition into Sonic YouTuber a little bit too, so I'm glad that's working out for you.
Jeez, imagine that. Sonic making Sonic videos. Imagine. Just imagine.
Imagine, yeah, like why I started this channel in the first place.
I guess it
Sonic XD, huh? He likes Sonic, huh?
I guess it just speaks to, again, it being that I made a video that has a good point. It's Sonic's friends were not a problem. That's not what was wrong with the franchise at the time. We need to start normalizing bringing Sonic's friends back because this is just getting ridiculous. I'm tired of the same 4 fucking characters every time. Bring back Vector the Crocodile more often. I like Vector.
It's very interesting because I've heard this opinion like 10 years ago, but now I do feel like it's a lot more of a different... The Sonic fandom is in such a different environment nowadays that it's like... Yeah. But I have heard those echoes back in the day. Like, I have heard, like, oh, Sonic friends are lame. I just want Sonic. I actually have heard that. So it's a very interesting, like, perspective to look at.
What was that game called? Like Sonic Heroes, when you could play as 3 at a time?
Yeah.
And you had to play as 3 and you could pick different teams?
Yes,
I'm not going to lie. When
Heroes.
I played that game, because I'm such a casual Sonic fan, I did not know who half those characters were. I was like, who's the Bumblebee character? Who is this crocodile
Well, Team Chaotic
man?
was new, though.
Well, no, they'd been around in like a couple of games.
Yeah, but I mean, like, they made Sonic Heroes made them into like more of a mainstream.
Yeah, I think.
Got it.
Yeah, I think only SBO had appeared outside of Knuckles Chaotix. And that was in Sonic the Fighters. So I think this was literally Vector and Charmy's second appearance outside of comics, which is really where they built up fan bases.
Oh yeah, okay.
So then you just get a bunch of people being like surprised I make Sonic videos. I'm like, I actually launched A Line Through Time with a 45-minute Sonic timeline video with a 15-minute timeline breakdown accompanying it. Like an hour's worth. I launched that series with it because I don't know when to restrain myself.
Hell yeah. But yes,
that
cool, was
though.
some of our achievements of 2024. But now we're getting into the good stuff, getting the meat of the topic. Our 3x3 that we totally didn't steal from another very famous Trash Takes podcast or something. So here's the thing, though. We have 2 choices. Do you guys wish to rock, paper, scissors again like we did last year to determine the turn order of who showcases the 3x3, which is all censored? We have no idea what's being shown here. Or do you just want to do it so make it more fair and like say like, because I know the ordering we did last year, and make it so instead of that ordering, we just kind of like move it up a bit. So the first person is now last and the second person is first.
Let's do rock, paper, scissors just to be unpredictable. Stop flashing
Fair,
your
that
foot.
sounds fun. All right, y'all ready? What did you guys do last year? I'm trying to think because I kind of remember what you did last year.
Stop trying to influence the outcome.
Do 3 on 3.
Sure.
On 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I won again! Let's go. I think that's what you did last year, guys. I think that's literally what you did last year.
Editor, have me fade away like...
See, the thing about... The sad part about this is, with the delay, it's hard to do this properly. And I feel like Sonic may have come a little bit afterwards, but it's very easy.
Well, I was determined to do Stone no matter what. I was like 100% Stone, so I didn't care what you guys did. But it's very
easy now for Sonic to because he's the editor, he can make it look like, oh, I put mine up first. They were delayed, they were slow and dumb, and I won. I'm the smart one. Haha. He can easily.
On my screen, I did look like I was
don't
the first
fall
one,
for
though,
Sonic's lies. He's a bot. He's a bot of the Matrix. Don't fall for his lies.
Don't be a sore loser. Hurry up and determine second place. Come on now.
Oh yeah, that's true. All right.
Let's find out if it's going to be the same as last year.
I'll
Because I
count
know
it down,
who
I
was
guess.
second and third.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
That's paper, right?
Well,
Yeah.
I lose.
Oh, congratulations. Snake, you aren't last, because last time the ordering was me, Dog, and Snake. So
Damn it.
This time it's going to be counterclockwise. Yeah. It was clockwise last time. So
we'll start with Sonic.
This should be fun.
I demand a recount.
I'm going to say go for the top left because when you posted these, the notification came up and it said posted Agatha All Along, blah blah blah.
Son of a bitch! So my file name
yeah.
spoiled what happened. Unbelievable. I wasn't expecting this one to be talked about first, but oh well. Okay. Agatha All Along. Sure, I put this on a list because I wouldn't say this is like my favorite thing of the year, but it's definitely one of the more interesting things that I've like experienced this year, because this is one of those shows that I kind of approach similar to Andor, where it's like, oh, cool, a character I don't give a shit about, so why the hell do I want to watch a show about this? And then I start hearing word of mouth, like constantly, like every week, people start like complimenting the show. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll maybe I'll give it a shot. I still don't really care. But then it was when episode 7 got released, where everyone started going like Hail Mary into like complimenting the show. It's like, okay, what the hell happens in this like one episode? So I gave it a watch. I think, well, for me at least, the first 2 episodes kind of suck. It was not really the strongest like start for me personally, but I just kept on watching. Okay, it's more of a setup anyways. I got more into it around episode 3 and 4. I'm like, okay, this is kind of fun. I kind of enjoy what's going on here. Then some reveals happened around episode 5 and 6, and I'm like, okay, I'm vibing with this show. And then episode 7 happens, and I'm like, what is up with like? Actually, it's not just like this show, but like for some reason this year there's many shows just like these wacky, fun, like quirky shows. And then, like, for some fucking reason, they go, like, way too hard in one single episode. It happened in, you watched Dan Down, right, Jonah Dog?
Yeah, I haven't caught up fully because I've been doing a lot of time, like, spending a lot of time with family and friends and stuff, but I have been watching it, and it's really fun. I like it.
You saw episode 7, right?
I don't know, actually. I just saw them fight all the water creatures and stuff. That's where I am, I think.
Oh, then you did. You saw the extremely fucking sad episode, right? That's what I'm talking about. You're talking about they're fighting in the school, right? Like the water. Yeah. Then that was before. You know how did the pink hair girl get the powers?
Oh, sure.
Yes, and you saw that episode. But you know what I mean? It's like this is supposed to be like a quirky,
it was
fun
sad.
show.
Yeah, you're right. It showed like that girl's like origin. And
no spoilers, but yeah, it's like what the fuck. Like I'm bawling my eyes out for how fucking tragic this shit is, but it's like insanely amazing, like what they've done there, and also like. A certain episode of Creature Commandos also happens. That's just like, what the fuck?
I want to watch that.
Totally recommend it. It's super fun, and if you can tell by the art style, and also the producer is the same as the Mortal Kombat Legends movies.
And that's why why they play. Well, the characters play in Mortal Kombat in the episode.
Yes, in the newest episode that came out today, literally just see someone playing Mortal Kombat.
Have you seen the Level 1 or whatever it's called, that new Amazon
Secret Level
Prime show?
I've not a chance to see
Secret Level.
I've heard.
I haven't seen it
two
yet.
episodes
Secret
of
Level.
it.
I've heard
I wanted to watch it. I haven't seen the Mega Man episode listed though, but I know he's in it. So
yeah, I want to watch that one. I haven't seen that one yet.
I've heard the episodes are not all at a consistent length, which is good.
No.
It means that if someone only takes like 15 minutes to tell its story, you don't need to be dragged out for like 40 minutes, whereas others don't have to be like condensed, like compress everything to get all the story out. But apparently this led to a funny situation where like Mega Man 15 minutes, Concord 40.
Wait, really? I did not know the Concord episode was that long. By the way, Snake, the Mega Man episode's 5 minutes.
Oh
no!
Yes, and it's supposedly the best episode, just so you guys know.
That's messed
supposedly.
Up. It should be at least a 15-minute requirement. Jesus.
I heard it's the best episode, and people said the only downside is it's only 5 minutes, and I wanted more. Like, that kind of feeling for it. I only watched the Pac-Man and Shifu episodes, and that Pac-Man episode is very hit or miss, depending on who watches it, from what I've heard. Because it's not Pac-Man,
I want to watch the
more
Shifu
like
one.
I don't want to spoil it for you, but holy shit, I hated that episode.
Oh, damn it.
It's not
How do
for
you
the
mess up
reasons
such an
you
easy
think.
plot? How do you mess up such an easy game plot? Oh, wow.
Okay, I'm just gonna. It's kind of a simple premise. Because have you played Shifu, by the way?
Well, I know that. No, I haven't, but I've seen people play it, and like when you lose, it like skips forward a little bit, right? And like you're older or something.
I've played a couple.
Yeah.
It's not like the hardest plot to like spoil, basically, because actually for this I specifically beat Shifu just to watch this. I fucking love Shifu. It's such an amazing game. But the point is, you traverse through an entire stage and you fight a final boss in the stage, and you do that 5 times. That's the premise of the game. They take one of those stages and make an episode about it. It's cool. The action's great, but they really I guess this is just to set up for. I guess you're worried about spoilers, then like skip like 30 seconds. But like, they blue ball you at the end because they show the final boss of that place and they just skip it.
Oh.
So I hated that episode because of that
the
reason.
Moon Knight method.
But yeah, literally, I'm just like, I wanted to see Sean. What the fuck?
The moon.
You fucking built him on the trailer. You see him like he's just about to fight him, and then just cut. Yeah, super blue ball. Like it's really disappointing in that aspect. But anyways, back to
Damn.
Agatha. Sorry, we keep jumping around. The 7th episode of this show, I'm like, I watched it like twice, once with my friend and myself, and I'm just like, why the fuck did they go so hard for this one episode? This just been like a maybe like an 8, or maybe low 7, like low 9, high 7 kind of show. But then they give us like this one episode that's like, oh yeah, you should have expected like the build up, because apparently they've been setting up all these little hints and little nuggets throughout the last 6 episodes, and it all pays off in this one episode, like all very well done and like amazingly. And it's just like, yeah, I'm like completely blown away by that one episode. Probably. Some people say it's like one of the best things Marvel has done in recent years. Just that one episode, basically. But yeah, overall, I think the show is awesome, especially once you get to like the later half of it, with the reveals and stuff. And it's also one of those shows that's like, it sets up a mystery, and then it pays off so well around the end point. And it also makes me want to go like, I kind of want to rewatch the couple early episodes and be like, oh, that's what they're setting up here. Oh, that's what that's what they're doing here, kind of a show, basically. People say like Phase 4 Marvel is very experimental. It's like every director has their own little like ideas, like Multiverse of Madness, Sam Raimi stuff. Thor: Love and Thunder is way too humorous. Eternals is very art direction-y, but people don't really like that kind of stuff. And I'll let you, what do you want to say, Snake?
Well, technically we're in Phase 5 now. Yeah,
and that's what I mean.
You didn't even realize Phase 4 ended. They just
experimental.
jumped right into Phase 5.
Oh yeah.
True.
But what I'm trying to say is basically like, this show, Agatha All Along, is the kind of experimental that I like. Like, it really is. It makes me, it reminds me, it's like, if you like WandaVision, I do recommend the show. Like, I feel like that feeling of like interesting like TV television storytelling. Except this show is better than WandaVision because it has a good ending.
That's
that.
what I thought
I
was
gonna ask
funny.
next about the ending. Yeah, I was going to ask that next, because that was the
Yes.
real fumble with WandaVision.
I thought that was funny because the way you were setting it up was like, okay, so this show starts out kind of weak, then it gets to get better, then it gets to the last 2 episodes, like, what? This is great. Whereas WandaVision is the inverse. He starts out really strong. Oh, this is really interesting. What's going on here? Then like, it's around episode 7 where it's like, you're like, oh,
Oh yeah.
oh.
But yeah,
Oh.
yeah. It's not like the perfect show. I think there's some issues with it, but overall, I do think for what it does, and like, I don't see this being done on like any other shows, so it's like has a very interesting experience, and that's why I decided to put it on my list. And why, yeah, it's one of the best things Marvel has done in recent years.
Good. Okay.
So you recommend then?
Oh, highly, absolutely. I would say, like, maybe there's some aspects that if you don't vibe with, then you might not like really enjoy the show, because there's definitely like the humor they do try. It's actually not even Marvel humor, it's their own kind of humor, like the actresses playing off each other and whatnot. It's funny. I will say this, for Marvel fans, like comic Marvel fans, you will probably expect some twists. They'll be like, I know what they're doing here, I know who that is, I know this, haha, as expected, that happens. Like, those might be obvious, because there were some things about this that I'm like, yeah, I expected like 2 things and they do happen as a twist, but there's later on like 4 different twists that happen that you do not expect. You'd be like, oh my fucking gosh, like, wow. It's like, I can't believe that. I did not expect that kind of a thing. So it's very fun.
Interesting.
So next up we have Snake. All right, I'm just gonna say it. So Dog, out of all these, do you see the one that's the most obvious?
Out of snakes?
Yeah, he has all these monotone colors, but then there's just one big, bright,
Big red one.
right in the center. It just seems, what do you think? Should we pick that one?
Sure.
I think structure-wise,
big-
that's probably the best one. Oh, no. That's not the one I was thinking at all. Holy shit.
Oh.
Oh, Dead Rising Remaster. That's cool.
I know what you thought it was going to... You thought it was going to be fucking Deadpool and Wolverine, didn't you? Which would have been
No,
big.
I didn't.
Really? That's not
I
what you
did not
thought
actually.
it was?
No. I didn't. I know you guys like that movie, but I didn't think you guys loved it that much.
What red could you have thought it was then? Now I'm curious.
No, I just saw it was red. That's why I clicked on it. I didn't think it was anything else. Persona 5 again.
Yeah, so Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster. So obviously it's going off the success of the Resident Evil remakes, but rather than a remake, it enhances the gameplay and updates the visuals and whatnot, and redoes all the voice work. They redid the voice work because of the facial capture they're using, and because a lot of the old unvoiced lines are now voiced. Like, have either of you played the original Dead Rising?
No, I saw a little bit of gameplay a long time ago, but I never played it.
Because
I watched a friend play it, and it looked like it was really fun. I didn't
is.
like the stressful element of having to look at your watch constantly and meet all the errands at the right time. But yeah.
Well, I feel like
it's not that difficult actually once you actually get into it, especially with this one where they've made things a lot like you can actually aim while moving now. That was the thing they didn't introduce until Dead Rising 2. That's obviously one of the biggest improvements in the game. But that's one of the things that is going to come up. It's like Metal Gear Solid: The Twin Snakes. It's you bring in the newer gameplay elements, but the game isn't updated to accommodate these changes, for balancing reasons. And so, I mean, right off the bat, the first boss fight, you're using a gun. And you're supposed to use a gun for this fight because the guy's keeping distance and shooting at you. And so there's a magazine you can find up there where he is, and it does enhance gun damage when you've got it in your inventory. So there are a bunch of books that they added. There's one that makes the AI less cowardly. So because the AI was another big point of contention with the original, heavily criticised. And they improved in the sequel. It's better in this one than it was in the original, but they've also made sure that you also still get a book, not just a book that makes them better that you'd get on like day 3, but you get another book even earlier that also makes them better, just to kind of make things a lot easier. And there's all kind of cool stuff. Go on.
Oh, well, it's your segment, but I just said the only thing I saw negative about the remake is that some of the voice changes, people are like, oh, I miss the original voices. Yeah. And the one villain also gets very redesigned, like the butcher guy looks completely different. Yeah. I guess he was too much of a gross stereotype of the original, they thought, or something. Yeah. But as a result, he doesn't look scary anymore to me. He's just a regular looking dude.
Yeah, that is one of the... I think they changed his accent as well. I think it was a lot more exaggerated in the original, whereas now now he just sounds like a guy. He is still supposed to be of Chinese descent, but he looks whiter than he did in the original. Where the original
hard to tell,
in the original he looked like I don't know. I guess if you took a GTA 3 Triad character and put him into HD, that's kind of the vibe you get from him.
I see. Yeah. He almost looks like Armstrong from Metal Gear Rise.
Yeah,
he does.
A little bit. No, I'm looking at it.
Yeah, and the voice changes, they're not bad, although I think, unfortunately, Brad, the black guy, is the weakest of the cast, which is unfortunate for us, because it's Jax's voice actor from MK11.
No!
and he's good in other stuff, obviously he's good as Jax and that, but I think they just went with some of the weirdest deliveries here. His first line, in the original, you had TJ Storm, who was Agnes in DMC4 and Josh in Resi 5, and he when he's telling everyone to run and get to the stairs, it's a solid delivery. Here's run, get out of there, and what is this voice he's doing? He doesn't even sound like that for the rest of the game. They just use weird takes. I don't know what is going on here. Obviously, the make or break was going to be Frank himself, Frank West. And it's not the same as TJ Rotolo. He obviously had much more of an everyman kind of voice to the character. For those who might not be familiar with it, if you've played Resident Evil 2 Remake, he was William Birkin. So he's a lot more... He felt a lot schlubbier in the original. People say like a hamburger face, and he's quite chubby. Whereas they tried to keep some of that here with the remake, remaster, but it's not really brought over the same way. But he's still a solid voice. It's better than what Frank was in Dead Rising 4, but then that's not really a high bar to clear, because 4 was bad.
Yeah. Interesting.
But this is something that a good palate cleanser after 4 was such a shit show. And it's actually the first time the series has been back in-house at Capcom since the original. The rest were done by Blue Castle Games, later Capcom Vancouver. Cool. So it's back. I don't know how many people from the original team worked on this version, but I feel like the changes that were made were done in good taste. I think my biggest point in contention was the removal of the erotica shots when you're taking pictures. Like, I get why they were removed. It just feels like you don't need to. It just feels like an unnecessary removal. But I understand the thought process. But it's just funny because some things were clearly set up for that. Like, because one of the bosses is a photographer, and he's like, okay, you're going to do a challenge. You got 24 hours to get a shot with a number of points for in a certain category. And like right before you're meant to meet with him, Jessie's just sat there in such a way where if you get a shot of her, you get erotica for her chest and her crotch. And it's like, that she's still doing that in this version. That's still there, but you don't get those points. And there's a bit where one of the survivors is like, please take photos of me in case I don't make it out of here. I want people to remember how beautiful I am. So you do like a borderline erotic photo shoot, but you're not getting the points for it anymore. You're just taking pictures. So there are other areas where they probably could have like altered things a bit to accommodate the change. But
this weird window of like, because I hope that society's going to revert back, because everything happens in fads and trends. But we're in this weird window of time where uber violence and gore and murder is completely okay, but God forbid anything's even remotely sexual, even though sexual things don't hurt anybody.
I feel like
like you said, we're in a weird phase where I find it where it's kind of been like half and half. It's like we can't, but then we can, but we can't, but we can. You look at Mortal Kombat 1. It's like, oh, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna really like have sexual like lady outfits, but now we are. It's like, so what? Make your mind up. You know,
I think
it is weird, like back and forth right now. It's like, so what is it?
This one though, like. There are some points actually where the violence, I feel like it's ramped up just because of the higher detail. In particular, if there's a character who gets attacked in a dark tunnel by zombies, then when you find him later, his guts are spilling out. Partly because of how dark it could be in the original, like the way the lighting was, it was harder to see that's what had happened. But now it's much more clear. It's not like Resident Evil 2, the man's jaw is melting off level from that shot. But it's still with the same engine, so it's still a lot of zombie gory goodness if that's what you're into.
Nice.
Yeah, it just speaks to that point of why is the erotica stuff being removed but the violence is still there. It's a weird thing we're in.
Yeah, I hate it so much because even though I played the game very little, I know the main character is meant to be like not a good guy per se, which explains why he would do stuff like that.
Sleazy,
it's fun. He's not a typical protagonist, and now you kind of ruined that element. It's supposed to be a bit of a sleaze bag. Oh well.
Yeah, not like not that like that, but
but for his job.
It could be pretty much straight away. Like Brad's calling him out, like, I see you're just here for the story. You don't care who you have to step on to get the story. And he's like, yeah, you got a point. Dead Rising 1 Frank is something else. He's one of Capcom's best protagonists. I think most of that does still come through in this version. I can definitely recommend it. I'd still recommend playing the original first, just so you can see it. Like say Dead Space or Resident Evil remakes, but unlike them, Dead Rising 1 is still available. They remastered it about a decade ago on PS4, Xbox, and on Steam, so you can very easily just get a hold of it. It's very often on sale with Dead Rising 2. Just get that, and then play it, and then you can play this one. That's the thing is, for me, the remakes can make all the changes they want as long as the original's still available. Because if you're going to replace the original completely, the new one has to be as faithful as possible. But if you want the freedom to add other stuff and really make changes and improve it, then you have to make sure the original's available. And it's shocking that Resident Evil 4 is the only one readily available. 2 and 3 are not. 1 is now available on PS5 through like the backwards compatibility thing on PlayStation, or like you can buy certain PS1 games, or you can get Resident Evil 1 Director's Cut. Hell yeah! Not 2 or 3 yet though, so hopefully that'll come. But yeah, and they also put out a survey about Deluxe remasters. What other franchises do you want to see these of, or what more Dead Rising stuff do you want to see? So I think it's been successful. They're probably going to do Dead Rising 2, hopefully covering all the 2 content, because there were like 2 standalone, like a prequel and a sequel, and then the Frank West alternate version of 2. So I'm hoping all that stuff will get included as well in some form. That'd be great. And also people are hoping that maybe Capcom could like remake Dino Crisis, maybe. People really want that Dino Crisis
something
remake.
Else, you know.
Yeah.
Add it
but-
to the list of things that everyone wants, but it's not happening for some reason.
Yeah. But yeah,
Give him time.
I can definitely heavily recommend this game for zombie fans. Oh, another thing they've added is part of the problem with the original was the waiting around at times. Because
true.
Like for the last last real world hour, which is 12 in-game hours, nothing happens. Like you're pretty much just there to grind out extra experience, really. But now they've added a thing where any save point you can just skip time forward, which was incredibly useful. So I was able to do like 4 playthroughs to get loads of the trophies and whatnot, just dead quick after the first playthrough. It's so easy.
That's nice.
That is nice.
Those are the things that I think are really good that they added, and it overshadows the smaller things like the removal of the erotica stuff. They've also had a bunch of DLC costumes based on other Capcom games. Some are really cool, like, oh, here's Frank dressed as Leon or Chris. Then it's like, well, here he is.
Oh, yeah.
He's just the Licker model from Resi 2 or the Nemesis model from 3. It's like, oh.
Not even a costume, like literally the model.
Yeah. Which is like clearly
No
the
wonder
only
I've
reason.
seen those funny edits. I thought those were like mods.
No, that's the actually the DLC costumes, and they all come with music as well.
Wow.
That replaces every one of those costumes comes with a piece of music to replace the mall music.
Oh,
So,
wow.
like here's a track from Resident Evil 4 for when you're dressed as Dr. Salvador or Ashley.
Ashley? Interesting.
Yeah, cross-dressing has always been like a source of comedy in the games. It's
True.
always been there. Oh, also you can now any piece of clothing you've worn you can just get from the safe house now.
Cool.
Nice, that's
which is
smart.
a
Yeah.
very useful thing. So you don't have to be like, oh, this hair color, for example. Oh, it's only available in this one shop on the opposite side of the mall. I have to go and get that. No, you can just go to the safe house.
Nice.
Big recommend.
Cool. Well, next up we have Dogadoo.
Finally, a dog
Dogadee.
gets to speak.
Which one are you gonna pick?
People
Well,
have
I'm
said.
going to guess. I can't say for sure, but I've got to guess that is the bottom middle one, the blue and yellow one. Is that Helldivers by any chance? Yeah, I'm so clever.
It was Helldivers. Congrats.
Listen, before all the semi-controversies this game befell afterwards, doing some anti-consumer choices. When it first came out, it was the
Nerfing
love
guns.
child. Like everyone loved this thing, and myself
Yeah.
included. Very simple game, but it's still very easy to love and enjoy and keep playing. Gives you a reason to grind. As a fighting game player, I'm a big fan of how to activate like the hell drops or whatever. You have to do like a little fighting game input, like up, down, right, or something, which is so much fun to do when you're being chased by a monster. Like, wait 1 second, I'm trying to call the thing. You're running while pressing the D-pad. That to me was super fun.
I've seen the meme. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Left, or something like an input.
Like some crazy one. Yeah. I also love the memes of how they're like with the Warhammer guys. Like anything for democracy.
Oh yeah.
Which is great.
I love the humor in the game, though. I would say, based on the trailer, it's like fight for your country, and you see all the soldiers dying and stuff like that.
I'm also a big fan of how there's friendly fire.
The Starship Troopers influence is very heavy.
Yeah, yes, very heavy Starship Troopers like references and all that. Obviously.
Would you like to know more? I'm doing my part. I'm doing my part too, little child. And I was like,
Yes, indeed. Stepping on cockroaches and stuff. I think the only downside to the game back when it was still like beloved by everybody was pretty much everyone I know was avoiding the robot levels because they're just not as fun as the bug levels. Like just not even close because they have guns. And I was like, that's fair enough. I like both. My friends were always like, no, we do the bug levels. We don't do the robot levels. Not fun to get like random like shot by an enemy off screen with a gun. You can't see. So.
It's just like when you're playing like an Aliens game and then here's all the wailing Jutani mercs. No, I don't want to fight man with gun. I want to fight the bugs. Why are you doing
yes,
this?
exactly. The bugs.
I
think it's a very fun game. And it was like, I think it's one of the first, like there's the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. This is the opposite of that. It's like the 4 horsemen of like redemption. And like the Helldivers is definitely one of those big 4 of like 2024 in my opinion. So
I remember so many people talking about that game back when it was released. Yeah.
Literally every anti-woke YouTube channel had to talk about Helldivers at least 10 times. That's how popular it was.
It was, yep. Oh, game successful,
AAA
not
game
by a
companies
big
cry
company.
as Helldivers rises. Yeah.
Let's go.
That kind of stuff.
Use it. It's now our face. It is now the anti-woke face of our channel now.
Pretty much. That's all I got to say about it, pretty much. Short and sweet with me.
Would you say would you say you recommend it still? Like, how is this? Yeah, I bet you don't really know, right? Because you haven't played the game in a while.
And I also didn't like. I've seen like some like later levels that I guess you unlock by being like a higher rank and stuff, and you get more unique bug type enemies to fight and stuff, which is cool. Like that's interesting. I mean, now that other games are out, I'm not sure if I can recommend it because I would much rather play at this point. I'd much rather play First Descendant because like it's similar, but it's actually got like a story and like yeah.
I heard my friend really likes the Space Marine game, the new one that came out, and the campaign's like 6 or 7 hours. It's also zombie killing. He's like, that's his game of the year. The campaign, not the online part. You can play it for like 20-40 hours of that, but just the campaign is like his favorite thing.
I've heard that the best way to compliment that game is to say that it's like playing a PS2 game in modern day, or like an Xbox 360 game in modern day. Like it's just everything it's supposed to be and nothing extra, and that's why it's fun. Yeah.
So I didn't mention this before doing our 3x3, but I have kind of wondered if we will, because this didn't happen to us last year, but I do kind of wonder if we're ever gonna have any repeats from between the three of us, because I might have.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I think so, but I'm excited to see.
There's one I predict that Sonic and I both have on here.
I predict one that all three of us have.
I predict one too.
Or maybe two,
I predict one with Snake, and I predict one with Dog. But the very obvious ones I did not put on here because I know there's some that actually. Well, anyways, you guys can pick one of mine.
Sonic being a pick-me like always. God, it's got to be different. Okay.
I'm so quirky and unique.
I want to do the bottom right, but what do you think, Snake?
That massive brown one.
Yeah.
Very dark. I wonder what that one is actually. I'm not even.
It's either going to be a nice, tasty chocolate bar or a giant turd. What do you think, Doug?
I mean, which one do I think it is?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let's
Hopefully
find out
not
if Dog
the
has
latter.
this one.
But yeah, I'm never bottom right. Oh yeah, that's a great choice. I forgot about this.
How could I not?
Yeah.
I was curious if Dog was going to put this on his list too.
I should have, in hindsight. I rushed to make mine, so I'm probably going to miss some bangers. But
so I will mention this though, because because we're putting we're having on spoiler, so we don't know what's on here. But True Underdog did upload his list first without spoiling it, and then he took it down. So I did accidentally see something basically. But the thing that I did see was the one that I'm like, oh, I didn't put that up here because I knew you were gonna put that up there, Dog. Basically.
Yeah.
But this was one I thought you also might put up because I remember you were highly praising this show when it came out. But yeah, it deserves all the praise. This is genuinely my favorite show this year. Favorite show in recent years, honestly. It is amazing. And I don't expect that from a freaking Batman TV show. Because this takes place after the Batman movie. Snake, did you want to say something?
For context, Sonic, what did you think of the Batman? What is your frame of reference coming into this?
Okay, yeah, I like the Batman. I thought that movie was good. I watched it with my dad when it came out, and we enjoyed the movie, generally speaking. I wouldn't say it's I don't think it's better than Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight and stuff like that for me. But I do think it's a really great new take on Batman. I think people use the word grounded, and I agree with that way more than the Penguin. But I can definitely see that in this. So
yeah,
and it's also a lot of different depictions of characters. I'm excited to see what they do with future characters eventually that show up here too.
Yeah, I mean, this show single-handedly makes me want them to keep the movies going, just because they did a really good job with this. And I'm like, man, keep going with this. It's such a classic, and so was the movie in a way. It's not better than the Nolans, but it's its own little cult classic. I feel so.
Absolutely, but I also find it amazing how I watch this show, and every episode is a banger. It's sometimes it's okay, here's maybe a slower episode here, but then it's it's gotta pick up. No, every episode was a movie on its own. In fact, sometimes I watch episodes and I'm like, holy shit, that felt like a season finale move that one of these characters does in certain episodes, but that was not even the middle of the season yet. Basically, the show is sort of we're taking the perspective of the Penguin and turning into a gangster show in a sort of way. I would never forgive the IGN review of this. That was the true villain of this entire series. They gave it a 5 out of 10 and said it was it's just Sopranos and Breaking Bad again. I'm like, shut the fuck. What? How dare you? There are elements that are similar, but it's still an amazingly well done show. The acting is okay, Colin Farrell's Penguin is just something else. He was great in the Batman. But but you really get to see him like act out here, and it's like, I think somebody, like a friend, was like saying, I heard Colin Farrell was in this show, so when does he show up? I'm at like 3 episodes in, so when does he show up?
My favorite joke about that was
no.
they said, the funny part is they hired like a good looking actor and they just made him look ugly for the show. And someone's like, they could have just found a regular dude. Like, people walk around who look like this. They could have just grabbed a guy who is ugly and had him play the Penguin, but no.
The makeup for like the Penguin is like, because I've seen the behind the scenes, is like really insanely like complicated, like how he has to wear that like every scene. I think Colin Farrell did
That's
say
funny.
like he doesn't really want to do like more of this because of how complicated he has to wear that makeup every time. But it's also really interesting because it's like they get to basically, in a weird way, customize how ugly the main character looks. So it's like we're gonna personalize the ugliness and add character to like the ugly, like freckles and all that kind of stuff with this character. So it's kind of interesting in that aspect. Yeah, I love the Penguin, but even I have to say, like, the other characters in this show are like freaking fantastic. Some of the main ones, but like fell in love with Sophia's character since day one. Like I was Team Sophia watching that show. Christian Milioti did amazing job with that character and like where it goes and stuff. I could go on, but I don't want to spoil the show. I just want to say it's the best show of the year, and I highly recommend anybody to watch it, even if you're not a superhero like comic series fan, because like I have to like sometimes watch a series and be like, oh yeah, this is in the Batman universe. I forgot about that because it just feels so grounded, like what happens and stuff.
It's true.
I had to like tell a lot of my friends when they're watching this show, be like, it gets kind of like you have to kind of be like mentally prepared for some of the things that happen in the show, because it's got some really heavy topics. And best thing I can say about the show, because the show was going great, it's like going up, and I got worried like, oh crap, are they gonna nail the ending? Are they gonna nail that last episode? Like I'm very worried about that. There's like one thing they set up around that time, and I'm thinking, okay, if they at least conclude that thing, I'll at least enjoy the show. It'll still be like it'll be like a ending, but the show is still good. They fucking nailed the ending. They gave me like 4 things I did not expect in that ending last episode. I was like completely floored with how great that last episode was. And every time I tell my friends to watch the show, I'm like, before you watch that last episode, you need to be emotionally prepared for what you're about to see. I'm not kidding. If you have like a bad day, if you're mentally unstable, don't watch it. It's that like, basically. I feel like I'm hyping the show up a little too much, but I love the show. I think it's like best show of the year, basically.
It definitely easily could be. I was a bit nervous at first because they changed the Penguin's origin a lot, because with his original comic book origin, it just wouldn't make for as compelling of a story. So I get it.
Lots of changes, yeah.
Because he's just born rich, I'm pretty sure, in the original comics and stuff. He's just a wealthy billionaire, just like Bruce, because all the villains of Batman are kind of like a mirror to him in some way, right? And so Penguin's mirror is like, what if wealth consumed you? But yeah, so I think they did a great job.
And it's definitely a lot of original takes. But to be fair, the Batman was that too. It's like the Riddler is completely different and whatnot, and the deleted scene Joker is also very different. Actually, I didn't even remember this, but like, I was like, oh yeah, Sophia, like this character, was she in the comics? And I'm like, oh shit, I watched the Long Halloween. I remember her character. Yeah, she's so much more of a nothing burger in that in the original. They turned her into like something else in the show, basically. So there's definitely changes, but I do think they're great. At least like what I'm seeing here. I don't know if I want to say it's better, but they're great. All right, it's time for the snaky time. So we got the red one. Now what do we do here? Okay, you're playing the prediction card. I want to see if I can. Wait a second. Why does that left color? You see the left one, the middle left one, dog? That looks like the Helldiver color.
It's not
Helldivers. I don't think he played Helldiver. But now I'm curious what that is. What do you think? Should we pick that one?
Sure, we'll play it. Yeah, let's go.
All right, here we go. Oh, Minecraft.
Fair enough.
Interesting. Let's go.
Yeah, but
Old PewDiePie.
I was never really into Minecraft before. Like I played a bit of it on the PS4 like a decade ago. I had a friend who would go to his house and just mess around sometimes on it. But I've been playing a lot of games a lot more with a group of friends recently, a different group. And
I see.
One of them has set up a server on his computer that it's always on, so we can just pop in anytime and just mess about. So I've been having a lot of fun making a little house inside of a mountain, making a long bridge connecting a friend's tower to that mountain for easier access.
Oh, nice.
Yesterday I actually made a sauna room. which I got quite creative with that. Like, oh, here's wooden room, and all the seats are done with like wooden steps, and then the floor, it's like 6 campfires with trapdoors over them, so you can walk through the smoke, which is now representing steam. And I've been having a lot of fun with that. So it's not like I don't have a ton to say. I'm not gonna be like, yo, the Minecraft movie, can't wait for that. I'm just like, I've been having a lot of fun playing Minecraft with friends.
Nice.
And it's just fun.
That's great.
Good.
I feel like Minecraft
awesome.
is so timeless. Like, you don't really need to say much, and everybody knows why it's great at this point.
It was a smart move.
Minecraft,
the man who made it was like, Legos never go out of style.
Yeah,
Maybe I should make a game about
it's
that.
It's weird that there's not been like an official Lego collaboration where it's like, it's literally Minecraft but with Lego.
Cool.
Have they never made a Minecraft Lego set?
No, I mean, they've done Lego sets, but I mean, like, Minecraft the game, but it's Lego.
I feel like they've tried, but it's always not done well for the Lego team, at least. At least I could
the closest is like Fortnite Lego, which is basically just like
actually, that kind
Minecraft.
That's true. You can build houses, you can build your little towns and custom maps and what. That is probably the closest to Lego Minecraft you can get, true. And that game is still getting updated to this day, so.
I saw another trailer for the Minecraft movie that actually shows like Steve doing stuff and all that, and I'm like, could be fine. It's never going to be great, but could be fine. Also,
yeah.
they made the joke that I've been making that I did not think would actually get referenced in the film because it's like a dark humor joke. It's the yearn for the mines joke. That's in the film apparently, which cracks me up. Do y'all know about that meme?
I'm looking forward to the Hero Brian twist.
Oh God.
Yeah. So basically, the joke is that someone posted a meme a long time ago, and it said like, in 1920s, a law was passed that ended child labor and freed the children from the mines. In the year 2022, the most popular game the kids love to play is Minecraft. The children yearn for the mines. It just says it in like small letters. And they say that in the trailer. Jack Black goes, ever since I was a kid, I yearned for the mines. And I'm like, what?
Okay.
What?
That's kind of funny.
They're just trying to throw every single meme at us and hope that it like sticks,
Yeah.
We'll see. I do not have high hopes for the what is it called? The movie. But, if it's good, then, that's cool. I didn't have high hopes for the original Sonic movie, too, so,
Fair.
All right. What we picking here, Snake? Which one?
Give me 1
which
second.
one?
I have to take a bathroom break. One
Okay,
more.
sure. Sure. Sure.
I do like your first 3x3 Sonic, where it's Madam Web, Madam Web, Madam Web, Madam Web,
Oh, yeah.
Madam Web.
That was my experimental, just teaching you how to do the sensors. Basically, I just put all Madam Web.
Are you sure
I wanted to.
Are you sure it's not just that you want to tell us something about this movie, Sonic?
I wanted to put Madam Web on my 3x3, but I didn't have space. I was like, I'm going to have a good time talking about this movie. This is like one of the most for me personally, like most enjoyable 1 out of 10 movie I've seen, basically. I'm just like, everything is so bad. I love it. Nobody there, especially like, as more time passes, I enjoy it more. There's like Dakota Johnson probably didn't even want to like make the film, basically, so she half-assed like her performances. With that perspective, it becomes much more funny. If she's just like, "Oh yeah, I'm here, hi guys," and stuff like that. It's just thinking of it that way makes it so much more funny, basically.
Yeah, it's like when people say that Robert Pattinson was always very open about making fun of Twilight, even while he was in it.
Yeah, basically.
How dare he make fun of that cinematic masterpiece?
I was talking about Madam Web, one of the best movies of 2024. It's kind of funny looking at this list from like this angle. There's so many similar colors. Just like,
there is, huh? That was not planned,
right?
I swear.
I know that's kind of interesting.
The bottom and middle and right look basically the same.
The bottom,
They do.
middle, yeah, actually, we shall get rid of one of them. How about we take her to the right one? The bottom, middle right one.
Sure.
All right, middle right one.
Oh
yeah! Oh, you put it on your list. Wow, that good?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yes, it's good, but also there's been not very many great films this year. I'm just gonna be honest. Unless you get into like the niche ones, like a Netflix original or something, you're not gonna find a lot of good original.
I have my list here, and these are the things I didn't get to put on. If any of by the end of this video, if you don't mention some of these movies, like I will call you out.
I'm just saying. I mean, I think 2024 was a pretty mid-year when it came to like new releases. There was, I mean, and also Sonic 3, you could argue, is actually something new. It's not just a remaster or a reboot or something. So that's good. It's a fun movie.
So, yeah.
It's very kidsy. Like you have to understand that it's definitely like made with kids in mind, which is why some of the stuff is really silly. I don't want to spoil nothing, but they don't. I never played a lot of the games that have Shadow in them, but from what I know of Shadow, they do hit every single important thing. Which is cool. They don't like skimp on his origin or anything, which is good. Nice. They show it all in like detail. Jim Carrey playing 2 different characters is also hilarious. I have
heard that it's kind of blown away if you like watch this movie and like, oh wait, he plays 2 characters the whole time. Like how the heck?
And plays off himself, which is also impressive. That's why Keanu Reeves was saying he was blown away. He's like, it's really remarkable how actually good he is at it.
That's cool.
And then of course he complimented Keanu Reeves too. But Keanu was like, no, I'm just in awe of him. Like, he's having to play 2 characters and play off himself. Like, that's incredible. So
that's cool.
Yeah. It's good that it's good. I've not had a chance to see it yet because of, you know, all sorts of stuff, work, Christmas, all that stuff. But
there's a teaser, too, in the credits, so make sure you stick around for at least a couple minutes.
I've heard about this teaser. Yes, yeah. I've heard about
this. It's a double tease. It reveals 2 things.
Setting up a 4th film.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've already confirmed the 4th film. I have heard about that.
Yeah.
I hopefully I'll watch it tomorrow because like I've been watching the past. Like definitely, even the last 2 movies are way like definitely for kids. But I felt like they're very like well done movies. And like if I was a Sonic fan kid, like I don't know, 8 years old right now, I'd be so happy with like how this year has been going basically, or like recent years of the Sonic series.
There's a couple of really well done like moments that I'm like, dang, whoever like was in charge of that specific delivery of that scene or that line, a raise, like gold star, like so well done. Ooh. They do a great job paralleling like Sonic and Shadow, which is cool. It's not just like, oh, here's Shadow, he's cool. Like they parallel him to Sonic, which I like. It's done really well. So nice.
Nice. That's great. That's great.
And upon like rewatching the trailers and stuff, I find it remarkable how good this like film looks for being like an obvious kid film. Not just like, I mean, the characters, but like the environment destruction and stuff looks very real, like it would be in a Michael Bay movie or something. And I'm like, huh. It's funny how when a building gets destroyed, it looks like really detailed. You're like, huh. They could have like, you know, been lazy about that part, and they're not. Like there's a lot of detail when stuff gets broken and destroyed. You know, so
that's awesome. Oh, you're getting me hyped. Oh shit! Yeah. Now I have to. I gotta be on the stage again. All right, you guys pick something from me.
I'm going to. Oh, do you have an idea, Mr. Dog?
Well, did I pick last time? If I did, then you picked this time.
You were the one with like the dark coloring ones, so I think Trona Dog you haven't picked, right?
I'll let Snake pick.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I will say the far left. The
far like middle
pale,
left.
The pale greyish blue one. Underneath Agatha.
Middle.
Oh, okay.
Oh, this is an interesting one.
It's your own personal thing in 2024. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
See, there's this complex like time dilation bullshit thing, and that's why.
Nice. Yep, the time dilation. Of course, I should have known.
That's why it can show up in this.
I was just guessing that's what the movie was because I'd heard about a movie that did that. I just guessed this was the one.
Actually, this isn't. This is the sci-fi one. This is the space one. This is not. You're thinking of time dilation. That's Tenet. Yeah, sorry.
No, not that. The one where like the guy is sending messages to his daughter or whatever the fuck back on Earth and.
Oh yeah, this is the one.
Fuck you, Sonic. I was right. I was right, you bastard.
There is time. That is true. True. My bad. But here's the thing though. Why is a 2014 movie doing on this list? Well, technically speaking, I did put like Birdman in the last years. However, there's a really legit reason why this one is for this year, because they actually re-released this movie like this month basically. And it's being played in IMAX in many theaters. So a Christopher Nolan classic being played in IMAX, count me in. But also I never seen this movie, so I thought I'd give it a shot basically. The opinion I've seen about this movie back in the day was quite mixed. It's like some people either liked it or some people actually say this is like one of his weakest or weaker works in the grand scheme of things. I am the former. I've been gaslit like thinking this is some sort of controversially like bad movie. Like what the fuck are you guys? This is like insanely good. Like I'm blown away with what I'm looking on the screen basically every 10 minutes like with what they go through. It's got a for what they do with sci-fi, the concept, and what I'm seeing on screen, Christopher Nolan, it is jaw-droppingly gorgeous. And also, watching in IMAX is just like an experience. Basically, it was almost like a roller coaster. I was seeing some of those like space traveling scenes and whatnot, and the story's pretty good too. I personally think. I think the more controversial parts come around the ending, and that is definitely where the like, depending on who watches it, will like have their own like thoughts. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought I had a great time with it. I will say the thing that may or may not took me out of the movie is the fact that I didn't know there were so many memes that came out of this movie. Like, there's so many, like, the music, basically. Like, the mind blown, like, memes, or, like, the cat, like, being, like, mind blown, and you hear the song, "The prophecy is true." And
The prophecy is true.
stuff like that. It just shows up in the movie. I'm like,
the meme
it's supposed to be like a very
no.
dramatic scene that happens, and I'm just like, the meme. Or
I'm just lucky that I
how you
didn't know
get,
about that
like-
meme until after, I think. So, yeah.
Yeah, see, I didn't know about it until I watched the movie. I'm like, oh yeah, it's like, that's where it came from. And like Matthew McConaughey, like face crying is such a meme used so often
Yeah.
too. It's such a heart wrenching like scene in the film. But when I see that, I'm just thinking, oh gosh, wait, this is used so many times in memes. But yeah, overall, like, awesome movie. Had a great time, especially in IMAX with the sound system. It literally, there's like scenes where it's like the sounds go like 360 like around you and stuff.
True.
Had a great time with it, basically. And it was re-released this year, so technically speaking, I did watch the movie this year in a theater. Nakey-kun. You know what?
Villager voice.
Although what's funny is we're about to make a line, dog. Want to finish that line? Want to just take the right one out?
Sure.
All right.
We're about to
taking out the
win.
blue- I know what that is.
See, Sonic somehow spoiled this because you mentioned also shark shoes for some reason. And,
Oh,
yeah.
was this what I was just telling? Okay, no wonder
And
the whole
Snake was
shark
like,
shoes
"How did you see
conversation.
the shark shoes? Did you look already?" And I was like, "No, Sonic said shark shoes."
Because yeah, I was literally telling you, Snake, the shark shoes are gonna be in the shop soon. That's why I told you. But then you're like, oh, the shark shoes, like you knew, like
This is a
spoil-
Fortnite
what are you
thing?
talking about?
They're in a few days ago. And I got.
Oh, you did.
It's a Fortnite
they're
thing?
in the shop. Oh, I'm gonna get it now.
I
Then,
have
holy
several
shit.
characters wearing them, such as Ellen Ripley and the Xenomorph and April O'Neil. April looks great in them. I even put them on the Master Chief at one point.
You bought the Master Chief skin?
Yes, I
How
need
could you
some
not?
good Halo content because I started playing Halo Infinite. I'm like, oh, this is kind of mid.
Congratulations, because I believe they've been out of the shop for like 1,000 days. So you just got them when they came back.
Yeah, so I've just recently started playing Fortnite a couple months ago, thanks to Mr. Sonic and friend of the show, Babe Ruthless. We had some fun on that. Playing with a few other people from Sonic's little circle. Some
Yes.
Sonic heroes, as it were. And yeah, I've been having fun with it. Got a few characters. Everyone continues to taunt me with the fact they have Solid Snake and I don't. So I just have to hold out hope that when Metal Gear Solid Delta is about to release, that Konami will go, now's the time to put Snake back in, along with Big Boss. That's when you do it. Give Big Boss a bunch of camos, so then we can actually play MGS3 while playing this by going, well, this map's very snowy. I'm going to go with the white camo. That's what they want to do. I'm
Yes.
filming that. I tried the Lego mode with my brother yesterday. Tried
sweet.
the full-on rock band mode, where it's just rock band. And April O'Neil dancing up there, singing Linkin Park and stuff. Oh, hell yeah, it's great.
You did play Ballistic with us a little bit too. I remember that.
Yeah.
I didn't have any care about that mode, but it was surprisingly fun.
Fortnite just is every other game.
It's starting to become the metaverse. It's starting to become VR chat.
They
in a
need to
way.
revive Unreal Tournament in Fortnite.
But what's funny is like, even though I didn't put Fortnite on the list, like I have about 1,000 hours into the game now at this point. Like but I'm very happy to see like Snake enjoying the game. It's been very fun, like taking him through and like checking out the world. I did not expect Snake to like it to the point where, I wasn't too shocked he spent money, but I'm very shocked the amount he spent probably at this
Oh
point.
no.
I'm like, well, you have that skin and that one and that one. I'm like, whoa.
I have very poor spending habits. You know this. Look at it! Look at it!
To be fair, I actually bought one of those very expensive Marvel Rivals skins, so I'm not in any better like position.
Oh yeah, which one did you buy?
No, the Christmas bundle right now. So I have Groot and Rocket.
And do you get the other two when they come out too, or not? Do you get the other two when they arrive also? Like, do you get like Venom?
No, they're separate. So Venom and like Magic will be their own combo, I'm assuming. Yeah. I don't know why they're not out yet. They should be out by now. I'm very happy the Jeff skin is free because I was probably going to spend money on that one.
Yeah, true. I love my boy Jeff. I don't care that everyone hates him. I was going to play Jeff no matter what because he's awesome. So.
No, you're being brainwashed. Jeff isn't supposed to be hated. Jeff, that's just brainwashing. You know who should be hated? Iron Fist. That's the true hate that we should be
True, dude. Like
toward.
when you're a healer especially, I don't know what to do when Iron Fist locks onto you. You're just pretty much dead unless the teammate saves you because you can't get him off you before he kills you.
I like playing Mantis and Cloak and Dagger specifically for that because if he goes onto me as Cloak and Dagger, I just right click on the ground, change the cloak, just like make him take more damage and be like, let's fight, baby. Come on, fight me. And if I'm Mantis, I'll sleep him. And then I'll just aim for his head.
I actually enjoy Jeff for that reason. I'll pop into the little shark underwater mode and hope that he doesn't like see that I'm down there. I'll just run on the corner or something. Or run behind an object and break line of sight.
It always works. Yeah. Just run up that wall and you're fine. Well, for the most part. Because they can handle you on the ground. Oh, Jeff, but if you're on the wall, well, what can we do? Oh, okay.
It's true.
They just stopped chasing me.
I didn't learn he could do that until recently.
Well, he always can do that. You can wall run now. But while you're running away, make sure to press bubble. So you get out, you can instantly get out and take a bubble and heal, and then go back and to keep running. That's one way to survive.
Oh, you can do a bubble as you're coming out of the thing, like instantly.
Just press. You can do left click, right click, and bubble all instantly out of the shark. You don't need to press shift again. Just press it again. You do an action. Yeah, that's a little high tech Jeff like tech. So when you're running away, like go underwater and then press like the bubble and just go right back. You just keep doing that and you survive for a long time, basically.
Oh.
I don't even main Jeff, but I know about some of these techs.
That's smart. Yeah, I didn't know very much Jeff tech, so that's good to know that.
Well, speaking of, since we're talking to True Underdog, that means we gotta go through True Underdog's list here. Oh boy, what do we got? What do we got here? Who picked? I picked the one on the right, so it's Snake. See if you want to pick one here.
I'm gonna say top middle.
Top middle. Okay. Oh, Lidia. Is this Tekken 8, by the way, or Lidia specifically?
Tekken 8, Lidia. Yeah, because she came out in 2025, so my queen.
2025?
24, sorry. I get my numbers, and I speak you no good sometimes.
I'm happy you put Tekken 8 on here, because I was thinking of putting that myself, too. I was like, oh, we got to give Tekken 8 some love. That came out this year.
Yeah. They made her character less cheap in an indirect way, and still better overall tier-wise, and made her more fun and streamlined. There's a reason to actually build her like levels and stuff, which is fun. Yeah,
that's good.
They just got rid of her crazy unblockable shenanigan, but that's okay. She never needed that. For anyone not aware, I guess I should explain now to anyone watching. She could do this really dumb setup against the wall where she could splat you against the wall. This is in Tekken 7. And then she could do a string that put her in that little stance. She would hop backwards, fly at you with that leaping punch that was unblockable, and if you didn't get up at the exact right way, she would smack you with that, which would do a lot of damage and guarantee another wall splat, and she could kind of set it up again, and it was really strong. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They got rid of that. She doesn't have that backstep into unblockable flying punch anymore, but she does have more mix-ups, more plus frames, good counter hit punishes. It's sick. So, love her. Also, until the ending of story mode, she was getting a pretty good showing. So
yes.
Yeah.
I actually like her character in the story. Like, oh, she just seems like a very nice person who's really good at fighting. Like, I like this like aspect about her.
Yes.
A little bit of her, like we see in the story.
She is a paragon. Yeah, pretty much.
I personally enjoyed Tekken 8 a lot. For my little grind that I put into it, which is just getting to red rank, and that's it. I would put more time into Tekken 8, trying out more characters if I had more time and not playing other games, basically. But yeah, for what I played, I actually enjoyed Tekken 8 more than Mortal Kombat 1.
That's fair.
You can't say that on a Mortal Kombat podcast.
Oh my gosh.
I probably would have too,
if
not for the fact that I played Tekken 7 and they repeat so many characters from 7.
There's
only like 3 new characters, so I was like, this is kind of just Tekken 7 DLC to me. I was like, it's still really fun though.
Dog.
Have you been enjoying
Mortal
Clive?
Kombat new game doesn't have any new characters. Shut the fuck up.
No, I mean direct from Tekken 7, like 1 to 1.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to be fair, those not new characters are completely different from the 3D era and stuff.
I mean, I was gonna make a video actually about it's a bit of a spoiler, but I might make a video about like Tanya and how you can't even call that character Tanya only in name because her move list is different, her weapon is different, her personality is different. She even looks different. If you gave her a different name, she could be a new character because she's so bizarrely different from Tanya. So you can count her as a new character if you want, I guess. But she's the only new character then. Yeah.
Well, at least they didn't pull. Anyways, but yeah, I was gonna say like.
No, sorry, they'll never do a female to male gender swap. It's just not done.
No, what I was gonna say was like like Havoc, and they literally say like this guy's Dairu and whatnot.
Could you imagine that? It's like, oh, hey, it's clearly Tanya, but it's like, oh, what are you doing here, Jade? How do you know my real name?
The twist.
Oh yeah.
Dun dun dun.
We made that joke before, definitely in a different podcast. We talked about how funny that would be.
Yeah, but that's definitely not happening, especially since Jade voice actress is like obviously like that's still her character and whatnot, and the Jade stands are looking closely at NRS. Better not pull that twist.
Yeah.
Better not pull that twist.
So like, wait a minute, what does she mean? What does she mean? I loved.
Nice.
Lidia.
Oh crap! It's my turn again. I'm so worried.
It's time to pick Sonic Square. Oh
Yeah,
boy. I say top middle.
Top middle.
Checks out.
Just
Also,
monkey face.
I did the I show speed face. If you know what I'm talking about, the bro, why you laughing, bro? Stop that meme essentially.
Dude, I'm watching the stream. Why you try not to laugh, bro? That's disrespectful as shit, bro.
The reason why I put Wukong on this list, and here's the funny thing, I don't even think it's like the best game of the year and stuff. Like my best game of the year is the Elden Ring DLC, but you know I don't need to talk about that. I have seen after the Game Awards, people are like, "Oh, it's sham, it's all fake. Astrobot like shouldn't have won. Wukong should have won." There's all these people who do these complainings, but the Wukong like people crowd were shouting the most basically, and it's like, guys, Astrobot is genuinely amazing game. Okay, shut the fuck up. But
yeah,
like whatever. Like people make their noises there and stuff, and that's one thing. I don't really want to like bring in like politics to this game for some reason. There's a lot of it surrounding it, but the reason I wanted to talk about this game is because there was a lot of tweets that I saw like last couple of weeks of people were just like shit talking this game and completely saying like, you know what, this is the slop of action games. Like this shit is like someone just posted, like some guy just posted, like some idiot posted like the intro of the game, and people were like, as you can see, you only play 10% of the game and 90% of its cutscene. It's like, yeah, because that's the fucking tutorial part. That dumbass decided like that's gonna be the moment. This is like game of the year or some shit. It's like, idiot. My point is, the reason why I put it on my list is just to be like, look, it may not be the best game of the year, but it's still a fucking fantastic game. Like it's actually like a genuinely amazingly well done game.
Agreed.
People would say like they compare it to like Souls-like, which I can see there are elements in it and like, you know, stamina and like the hard difficulty in the bosses, but I would actually say it's more like an action type game. People compare it to like God of War in terms of the gameplay.
Yeah. That's probably more accurate.
I think,
unfortunately, any game where you like fight bosses and it's like slightly difficult and you got to keep like trying is going to be called Dark Souls from now on. Like any game. Onimusha will come out and still be called a Souls-like game, probably.
I do think there are elements that like have similarities. The run back, like the stamina. You don't collect your soul, thank goodness, when you die. But there are definitely parts that I'm like, oh, that felt really Souls-like in the stage design and stuff like that. But genuinely speaking, you do just play Wukong and you run around in like depending on the area you are at, and you fight monsters, you fight bosses who like 90% of them are now repeat bosses, so it's like always like a new take on these interesting bosses and designs. The mythologies of the game is, you know, based off of, you guessed, friggin' Wukong. So there's a lot of Chinese mythologies like done there, and it's really cool to see like how they take this very, very old story and tell it in a new light. Actually, Black Myth Wukong is the sequel to Journey to the West, actually, the story. So if you are like a Journey to the West, yeah, if you're a Journey to the West like fan, you'll be like, oh, so this takes place after. So these are the characters and what they've done like afterwards and all that kind of stuff.
Nice.
Like I'm like some people like say like this game is like, oh, turn your brain off, derp action game, simple, and it's like, no, like the game is actually quite hard in some aspect. Not for me though. I'm more experienced in these type of games, so I wouldn't like get stuck for too long. But
Yeah.
some people say like I had to turn the game off and just refund it after the second chapter's like final boss. Like I can't handle that kind of shit and whatnot. There are some like difficulty in terms of the combat of the game because it's like there's so here's the thing. There is a lot of different ways you can play this game because you have your own attacks, you have your own spells, and as you play the game more, you get more unlocks for different spells you can use. And also, one of the game's promoting points is that you can basically turn into the monsters you fight. And because of that, I think the game has a lot of different like play styles, and I think everyone's playthrough is going to be very different. So like I like parrying, so like you see me like using like making sure to get the parry abilities off when fighting the bosses, and then I have my own specific like spirits I like using to fight bosses and all that kind of stuff. So there's that there's that freedom in it and whatnot. The game also is surprisingly like has a ton of secrets. Like this part actually kind of blew me away when I played it because I was like, okay, I just went through the entire stage and that was it. But then I look online, I'm like, what? All collectibles in this chapter, and then like I've only gone through like half of the video, and that's all I've gotten. Like this recent chapter I went through was chapter 4, and it's like, now if you go to the right side, you're gonna fight the final boss of this area, but we don't want to do that yet. We still have some optional things you want to do. Okay, and I look at the video. The video's like an hour, and it's like the last like 20 minutes of it. I'm like, what the I'm at the final boss, but you don't want me to go there, and there's still like 20 minutes of content I can go through. Like, goodness gracious.
Yeah.
I will say, like, if you see some of the gameplay footage and you think like, oh, this game seems fun, like you're gonna have a good time. I think like this is the kind of game that I think like maybe even like Snake would like personally. I just feel like in terms of like all the
Even
collectibles
Snake.
and the way you like combat and stuff like that. He likes it's not called Neo, it's the other game.
Wolong.
Made by the same company. Wolong and that kind of stuff. And I feel like there's some aspects that are similar to that. What else was I gonna say? But yeah, like I'm only putting this on the list because holy shit, like this game got like so much hate all of a sudden, and people were like saying shit like, nobody played this game, and people are just only like gassing it up and shit like that. It's a conspiracy theory. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, literally, like the country next to me, China, like when the game came out, had a gigantic like day of Wukong, and like so many like jobs like had a day off just to play the game. Like that was on the news, like when that happened around us. And
It's
stuff
Chinese
like
Dragon Quest.
that. Oh yeah, basically. It's like I would say the China loves this game. Like they definitely like it. The majority of people who play it are over there. But I'm just here basically to say it's like I'm not saying that this is like best game of the year, but it still is a fantastic game. And I'm more just like putting it on the list because I'm enjoying it still. I'm not completely done with it. I'm 40 hours in. Yeah, I'm just kind of like yapping now. Point is, I like the game. And I think it deserves a little bit more respect, basically.
People were just trying to hate on it because it was also one of the Horsemen of Redemption. Like that was the game where it's like, look, everyone, a single player game that everyone loves. Yeah.
When the game came out, it was the Horsemen of Redemption. People were like gassing it up as the best game ever.
Yeah.
But now that it's been a couple months, and after some people complain about it not winning Game of the Year, now people are like, it was never good. It was slop, actually.
Oh, no.
It's actually like so. It's like it's like
No.
unbelievable how people actually think that this is like close to being Game of the Year. I'm like, what happened? What the fuck?
I think it's because of the news story that the guy, the head of the company that made it, got mad salty that the game didn't win Game of the Year and was like, we came here for nothing. I think that's what changed public perception.
There was that too. I heard the report is a little exaggerating on that, but I have heard that somebody did report saying like after they announced the game, like the winner, like the entire like crew there were like crying like very hardly, and so that kind of made it seem more like I don't know, bad faith on their part and stuff like that. But I have heard that quote that you just said was exaggerated. But even then, it's like, sure, like if you don't like the game, that's one thing. But it's like, and you want to like talk about these things, that's one thing. But all of a sudden, just saying this game is shit, like, it's like,
Yeah.
I would actually compare this game with like a game I really loved last year, Hi-Fi Rush, because it has that similar like
Kind of niche.
beat 'em up action-y kind of like aspects. But let's say they had bad publicity like that. Let's say if somebody came out and said something like that, or it got nominated for Game of the Year and didn't win, but then somebody made a tweet about that. Like, how would you feel all of a sudden people would be like, Hi-Fi Rush is actually mid as fuck? Like that game is actually kind of shit. Like people were gassing this game. Who's actually played this game? Am I right, guys? Haha. And so like that's how I feel basically when I see the Wukong Hey. It's just like, okay, like,
the only
come on, guys.
critique I saw that was fair is like what you said. Like some bosses are really easy. Like, was that a boss at all? And then some bosses are like, wow, this is actually difficult. And then take a few tries.
Oh yeah.
And there's no like consistency. Like it doesn't like slowly get difficult as the game goes on. It's more so just like some are really difficult and some are like really easy. And it's like, you know.
I mean, yeah, actually, yes. But I will say the game does get harder and harder as it goes on.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, like, one of the hardest bosses in the game for many people was like one of the very first bosses you can fight, and it's literally there to just be like a red herring. It's like you're not supposed to fight this boss. This is just like it kills you in 2 hits, but then people are like very stubborn and they have to beat that boss on their first try. I did that, and I took like almost an hour, and I'm like, yes, I did it, and I never got a boss that hard until like chapter 4 of the game, basically. But that's not true. There are definitely like challenging bosses. But yeah, the difficulty, I wouldn't say it's that inconsistent, but definitely you do like feel like you're having a much like easier time going through it, and for some parts. But then sometimes you'll get a boss and you'll be like, oh, that actually tested me and stuff like that, which I personally like actually. But again, I like the mechanics of the game, so when it tests me or when I have to be like a bit more challenging and stuff like that, I personally do like that kind of stuff. And the really, really hard ones I've fought have been optional for now that I can remember. Like I did actually fight this one boss who supposedly is one of the strongest bosses, and I'm like, this shit took me like 4 hours. What the fuck? And it was completely optional. So, but the bosses are varying in terms of like how they fight and how they look, and I think that's a really important things in these terms of games too. Why I like them and whatnot. Anyways, we've been talking about the monkey boy for too long. Let's go on to snakes. What else do we have for Snake?
Middle.
We already have the middle.
Oh, my bad. I'm looking at the wrong one. Scroll up further. Top middle.
All right, top middle. Okay, that's cute.
Yeah. Back to the classics, baby.
I don't have too much to say about it. This was kind of like I might have something to say about it one, because I want to have ones I have something to say, but I didn't have a whole lot. But yeah, so I've been into Tomb Raider for years. It was a real shame how it just kind of went off a cliff with the latest trilogy. Like, it's not bad, it's just became very middling and repetitive towards the end, partly because unfortunately Crystal Dynamics were pulled off of the last game in that trilogy to go make the Avengers game that flopped. So yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, and so this is just going back to the originals and updating the visuals. I adore the way the game looks. I appreciate that they didn't go, we're going to go hyper-realistic graphics, we're going to make a whole new engine just for Lara's hair. So impressive that we can't even put it in the initial release. We have to wait for a remaster to actually put the hair in. That's real. That happened with the reboot. That you can look that up.
Oh, wow.
But this is like, recreate the original cinematic design, what you see on the cover and in the cinematics. And they did a fantastic job with it. Lara looks great.
Nice.
It does have a few problems with conveyance because everything had very no real lighting. Everything was kind of textured to resemble lighting. But now they have actual lighting, so some things blend in a bit too much. But they have like a more modernized control scheme, which some people might prefer, some people might not. And they've announced that they are actually going to remaster after this 4, 5, and 6. AKA when the series like this 1, 2, and 3, the peak of the series for a lot of people. 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 almost killed the series.
True.
Angel of Darkness is infamously bad. Like which maybe why they called them 4, 5, and 6. They're kind of like, no, it's not Angel of Darkness. It's Tomb Raider 6. We're gonna make it better. We're gonna fix it. Don't worry. So it's really interesting to think what they're gonna do with those, because it's not just like with Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3 or Dead Rising, where the original game is very much beloved. We can just make a few tweaks here and there, modernize it a bit, update the graphics. These are games that people don't like. How do you sell that? I'm excited to see what they do, and I really hope they do well, because then they can do the Legend trilogy, which are my favourites. I want to see those ones. In fact, I could have put Tomb Raider Legend on here because I found out this year that that game's PS2 port is available on PS5. So
interesting.
So I was playing through that, getting all the achievements on that. That was a fun time, mostly. But I wanted to see them bring back the Legend games, and hopefully bring back the DLC from Underworld, because that's not available anymore because it was only on 360. So I want them to bring back as many of the classic Tomb Raiders as they can, because what's really fun actually is the release date. They released it on Valentine's Day because that's Lara's birthday. They did that with the 1 to 3 this year, and then 4 to 6 is coming out on that same day in 2025. So fingers crossed for the Legend Trilogy remaster in 2026. Come on, guys, make it real.
Cool.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Those are some really good games.
Let's see.
They finally realized to go back to what works and stop trying this new, grounded, realistic crybaby version of Laura. Yeah. Which I feel bad saying because I was on board at first. And then I was like, okay. In the third game, she still has that personality. We're milking it. Come on. She should have been like badass, full-formed Lara Croft by the third one.
Do we make a nice shape by picking the middle left one for dog? This like nice like shape for that, basically.
Sure.
All right, middle left. Oh, the misery. This is one of the ones I get to spoil myself by seeing. I'm like, oh yeah, I knew you were gonna put Arcane on this.
Had to.
Because I knew you were gonna put it. I didn't need to put it on mine, basically.
Oh, I see. Yes. It's a really good season. Like, the budget is definitely there. You can see they tried to spend as much of that money as they could to make it look as cool and polished as possible. I don't love everything about season 2. Like, I think some characters didn't get their full arc that I was hoping for, but it's okay. Certain characters got to take the spotlight, especially characters that were not the main characters in season 1 get to be the main characters in season 2. So I get it. I also wasn't a big fan of like every episode was starting with a music montage towards the end. I was like, okay, we don't need every episode to have a music montage at the start. Like, we don't need to do this.
Is it Imagine Dragons?
No, that's the opening, but not a music. There's a music montage to start you in the episode to kind of give you like a heads up for like either what happened before or what's about to happen. Kind of a music montage.
Pretty much.
I think episode 2 and 3's go, and then episode 5's music montage go very fucking hard though. At least those are like really good. Episode 4 and like the other ones like that have it are a bit weaker. Yeah.
I really hope. I know they're not going to do any more Arcane, but I hope that doesn't mean they won't do spin-offs and like side stories.
They already confirmed it.
They're doing.
Yeah, they're doing it. Yep.
Is it going to be in the same cool art style too? Because it's such a cool like look.
That part I don't know if it's going to be by the same company and stuff like that, but hopefully, because everybody loves this art style.
Unless they can find new unique styles that fit individual characters. Well, this character would work better with with this kind of style, maybe more 2D or something like that. That could be neat.
Yeah, they've confirmed like they're definitely doing like more of this, like more series, but they've also confirmed like certain characters like in this show who you may want to see more of them. Like you're gonna see more characters, like what happens to them in the later like and stuff.
Gotcha.
Wink, wink. Well, cool, I can't say who.
Wink, 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 nudge, nudge.
Yes. But I agree with Dog because like to me at least like especially I rewatch the show with my friends sometimes, and then I also kind of like there's a lot that happens. So there's a lot of like things I think about and stuff. It definitely isn't like the perfect show like season 1 was. Like in my opinion, season 1 to me was just like, oh, this is excellent. Like everything here just works. But this second season, I definitely can see more like the nooks and crannies. I definitely felt like it needed more episodes. Like it just some of the pacing, like it just really feels like a new season sometimes whenever it jumps every 3 episodes. But with all the problems aside, like my biggest issue is just basically that it's a 9 out of 10 when I'm expecting a 10 out of 10. You know what I mean? It's like 9 out of 10 is fantastic, but then it's like these issues I'm just like, why did you do that? Whereas like if I watch another show, it's like a 7 or 8 out of 10. They're like, oh, sure, whatever. But this is Arcane we're talking about, so it's like I have a lot more higher standards. So when I see those issues, I'll be like, oh.
You gotta watch the Chinese version when you want the true ending. No, I'm kidding.
It's like wow. It's so.
For anyone watching
like
who doesn't get the joke,
nothing.
For anyone watching who doesn't get the joke, in the Chinese version they censor a lot of stuff, and it's like hilarious how they censor it because it like loses all cohesion in some of the scenes. It just doesn't make sense anymore. But it's because they ain't gonna show that to the Chinese audience,
Yep. It was very funny. But yeah, Still love the show though, despite its flaws.
Yeah. Fantastic show overall. If you combine them both together, like amazing. Season 2 was it's better in some parts, it's worse in some parts. So overall, I'd say it's about an even experience with my own personal bias mixed in. Yeah.
The animation is still 10 out of 10 though. Like that's it
got
might be
better,
better in some scenes. Like
it's
what they
better.
do, the animation.
Yeah, 100%.
It's still very good.
Yeah. So that's Arcane. Everyone should watch it for sure.
I'm sure everyone already has.
It's stunning and does not overstay its welcome. I wish it did though. I could take 5 seasons of this if they wanted to do it, but you know.
Hell yeah. Here's a question I want to ask you, Doc, because I think you're the only one who watched it. Do you think the Fallout show was like better?
No.
Okay, so you disagree.
Not
with
even
Game
close. The
Awards.
Fallout show has so many plot holes in it. I don't really mind because it's silly and doesn't take itself super seriously, which at first was my main gripe because even though the Fallout games had some silly moments, I felt like overall the tone was still a bit darker, a bit more desperate, like if it's about waste and like, you know, everything being gone and all that. Whereas in the show, they could not go like 10 minutes without a Marvel movie style joke in the series. And I was like, oh, come on. You don't need a Marvel joke every episode, every 10 minutes. But yeah. No, the Fallout show was good, but Arcane is like amazing. It's like one of the greats that I think will be talked about for decades.
Yeah. When I saw the nominees of like the video game adaptations this year, I'm just like, Hydrogen Bomb versus 4 Coughing Babies, and when Fallout wins, I'm like, whoa, wow, that one really surprised me. But I
don't watch award shows. They're so BS and rigged. Like they're so paid off.
You can just look at the list still, you know, just like you don't have to watch the entire show.
I didn't even watch the Game Awards. So I didn't care. I was like, I really don't mind what comes out of this. Yeah.
I just like seeing the fan reactions, you know, just like how people react and stuff.
Oh, and to add to y'all's story earlier about, just real quick, like to add to y'all's Wukong thing, someone did some digging and showed that like in the background when like the other game, when like Astrobot wins Game of the Year, the guy in the back does not look upset at all. The guy who worked on Wukong, he's like smiling and clapping just like everybody else. So that's why, like you said, it was exaggerated that he was super let down and upset and all that. He seemed very fine with how it turned out.
It was a streamer who came out and was like she saw it literally there, basically. So like take her word or the camera, I guess. But the camera did pan like quickly and then left. So who knows if like while they're giving the speech,
when it's focusing on the guy who won, in the background you still see the guy who worked on Wukong and he's still like you know, fine.
So it is a he says, she says kind of situation. Which,
Well, they mistranslated that guy multiple times. Like ever since he talked about working on the game, they mistranslated that too. So.
Oh yeah, there was actually a controversy that I found out recently where it's like people in China started like downvoting and like largely hating on Baldur's Gate 3 because somehow they thought the guy who gave the award had basically it's like at first I thought were they hating him because he announced the winner Astrobot, but no, it turns out it's like the translation was completely like wrong and biased and said shit like something along the lines of like hating on like consumers or something along the lines of like Black Myth Wukong like shade and whatnot. It was weird. It's like who would mistranslate that shit? It was like so that was a little controversy that happened there.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. Anyways, let's talk about fun things in 2024. Pick my next one.
I wish we deleted all these in between messages. I have to scroll every time. Okay. You want to pick Snake or me?
I'll go. How about that red one at the bottom right? Bottom middle, sorry.
Sure.
This is the one I think that Snake might have put on his list too.
Nice.
Yes, I did.
Well, since we both have it, we might as well which one is yours? We might as well just both review it.
I don't remember.
Well, I guess we'll find out eventually. Sonic X Shadow Generations is, funny enough, a game I wasn't looking forward to until around October before the game came out. I just started having like Sonic discussions with Snake, and we just started like hyping the game up with each other. I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna buy it and play it. And then bought it and played it, and it was a blast. No pun intended. Nice. Had a great time with it. It's I would say like I don't want to say the word like back to formula, but it definitely just feels like a really enhanced and well done version of Generations. What's also funny is I haven't even finished the original Sonic Generations, so this is also like a good excuse for me to I played the Shadow Generations and then I just played the Sonic Generations like both back to back, and I had a like fantastic time with it. I would even say like Shadow Generations was a bit better for me, in my opinion. Mainly just because, like, Sonic Generations, banger levels. I love that game and stuff. It does have some jank. It does have some bugs that happen throughout, and people said, "Oh my gosh, the remake, oh, they had these new bugs." Oh, no. They had these bugs in the original too. Like, this is not new. Basically, what happens here? They just haven't like patched it essentially. And I do find the final act, like the final zone and the final boss of Generations, to really like be terrible. So because of that, I personally find like just that little inch for Shadow Generations just to be a little bit better. I also personally like the story of Shadow Generations too. I'm like, oh, this is like Shadow needed this kind of a feeling when going through his like playthrough. I'm like, oh, this is quite wholesome for him. But yeah, just good fun. I had a great time with it. Beat it within like 7 or 8 hours. I will say this: I had a terrible experience trying to collect all the parts to fix the rocket. And I would highly recommend anyone else out there to not do it unless if you're just having a good time with the overworld of Shadow Generations. Because I thought if you collected all the parts to fix the rocket, you get a secret stage or some shit. And I spent like 2 hours like roaming all around, like looking for those final parts. No, you don't get that. You get concept art. So actually, that is one thing that I think Sonic Generations has a little that's over Shadow. In Sonic Generations, when you collect things, you get like upgrades and like new mechanics for your character, so that's really cool. In Shadow, you get concept art and music. Period. So it's like, oh, okay. But still, I had a great time with the game. I think it's really fun. And it kind of reignited my love for Sonic a little bit. Just got me kind of back into like, oh, I'm getting into the like Sonic with this game and whatnot. And then
So look forward to Sonic 06 Sucks from Sonic Arcade sometime in the next couple of years.
That is not beating a dead horse. That is beating a dead horse that's already 6 feet under. It's like I don't need to do that.
That's going to hell to continue beating it now that the body's completely decomposed.
Exactly. I prefer doing Sonic Forces. I think that would be more fun, in my opinion. Did you want to say anything, actually, since it's on your like 3x3 too, Snake?
Yeah, sure. Well, I started off having a rough time getting the game because I ordered physical, so I could get Professor Gerald's journal, because I didn't know if that was going to be in the game or not. So I went physical. Plus, it was cheaper than getting digital, which is always baffling. So I did that, and what happened was the place I ordered it from, they had a trouble with getting the stock in, and they didn't tell me that until after I inquired about it after release, or around like on the day, and so I ended up having to wait like an extra week to play the game. I was like, no, stop doing this to me, you foul bastards. But I got the game eventually.
Bastards.
And I enjoyed it. For me, I prefer Sonic Generations just a bit more, because I feel like the Shadow stuff, fair, yeah. Because of the extra powers, I feel like it complicates his skill set a bit too much. Whereas with Sonic, it's a lot more straightforward. So I kind of prefer it to be a bit breezier like that. It's
also shorter. That's one thing that I think Sonic Generations has.
That's fine though. But my main issue with that really is the fact that, okay, so are you familiar with the premise of Sonic Generations, Dog?
No.
So
basically, you play multiple.
Wow.
I mean, I'm judging by the title that it's all the different games, like they're crossing over.
Yeah, essentially what happens is there's this thing called the Time Eater that shows up and like abducts all Sonic's friends, and basically Sonic's in this white void with. And there's like portals to 9 levels from past games. And it's divided into eras: the classic era, the early 3D on the Dreamcast, and then the modern era. And so Sonic has to run through each of these places at supersonic speed to fix time. And Sonic from the past is also there, so they're working together to fix that.
So it's an excuse to have him play through the classic stages again, basically.
Random question: when did they decide that there are 2 different Sonics and not just the same Sonic but he's older? When was that established?
It is the same Sonic, but he's older in Generations. But then there's a line, I think it's only in the English version, because there's a lot of weird translation shit with Forces. Forces has Tails say Sonic, that classic Sonic is from another dimension, which maybe really could make sense if you look at it from the perspective of the idea that Generations causes a split timeline, and then stuff like Sonic Mania and whatnot have occurred in that other timeline, but not the original one. Either that's not how time travel works, as Sonic 06 showed, but whatever.
It was
It's whatever.
weird.
I think they have started saying it is from the same universe. It's the same Sonic from a different time again, though.
Okay, that's good.
Because I think the current writer, Ian Flynn, who came in from the comics, is just like, no, that's fucking stupid bullshit. Stop it. Yeah, he wrote the Shadow Generations portion and rewrote the dialogue for the Sonic one as well.
Yeah.
The Sonic part has been quite contentious. Some of the lines have been changed for no reason. Sometimes it makes no sense. Like, if you save Knuckles as classic Sonic, then he says...
Oh, I know that.
He says, oh, thanks, Sonic. Hey, have you put on weight? Because classic Sonic was kind of... is proportionally, his head was closer to his stomach, so he was quite chubby. And Sonic's like rubs his stomach. But the animations are the same... The animations are the same in the new version, but now he's just saying, "What happened to my island?" And then Sonic's rubbing his stomach as if to imply he ate it.
Yes. I don't think this is like, because people definitely like take it like they make it saying like, "Oh, this is such a big deal. Like this ruins the remake and stuff like that." I don't think it's like on that level. But with that being said, though, I personally do find all the changes to be, It's like I actually find them to be kind of funny. Some of the lines in the original.
There are a few that work better, like when everyone's like coming in to cheer the Sonics on for the final fight. Instead of saying "You got this, Sonic," Shadow goes "On your feet," which I think is a lot more fitting.
Way better.
Instead of Shadow's being like, "Yeah, Sonic, my friend, go do this," he's like, "Get up, you can do better than this." Like that's
way better.
Get
line.
up, you fucking nerd.
Especially considering what Shadow has just gone through.
Just been through.
In Shadow Generations, because the idea of Shadow is that at the same time, because Shadow was in the original, but he wasn't around much. He's just there. He just shows up halfway through, and you have to redo one of his boss fights with him. Here, it's like Shadow's got his own version of this going on. But
it's like, what was he doing while Sonic was on his mission, basically? Yeah.
But the weird part of the Shadow thing is that like Sonic is all just stuff from his past. Even Sonic 06, which was erased from the timeline at the end of that game. But with Shadow, it's like, now he's going to go through an area from Forces, which hasn't happened yet. Then there's one from Sonic Frontiers, also from the future, and Shadow wasn't in that game. He's never been there.
It was weird, yeah. The game explains it as like, time works differently here, so sometimes you might see things that don't exist or are in the future. Ooh, and it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, no offense, I did not really want to see the Sonic Forces or Frontier stages, despite the Forces stages actually. But I kind of like both. Like, Frontier is I'm liking it a bit more, but the Forces stage is really fun. I did like that one.
I mean, I'm just glad they even tried to explain it at all instead of just having some like, oh, here we go, they all meet together and it's just the game. At least they found a plot reason for it all to happen, you know?
Yeah, Sonic Generations is a celebration story, so I'm just kind of more like, this is cutesy and whatnot. But Shadow Generations part of the story, I'm like, I like this. Oh, there's an arc here. Oh, I like what I'm seeing, what they're trying to do.
It definitely speaks to a difference in storytelling philosophy between Ian Flynn, because he's one of those like heavy continuity guys. Like he's always like part of the rewrites is. When Tails like, it looks like we're traveling through time, and Sonic goes, without the time stones, which is a reference to like Sonic CD, I think. That wasn't in the original, but now he's just mentioning it, or they specifically name drop locations. Instead of Tails saying, "Oh, I've recognized this place, kinda. I think we've been here before." He's like, "Oh," it name drops specific stages. So it's like it's really in the continuity stuff. So with Sonic Generations, it's just this big celebration. Here's all the classic games and a bunch of cool levels to go through again. With the Shadow stuff, it's Ian Flynn seems to recognize the storytelling potential for Shadow's character based on what could be done here, because so he encounters Big the Cat. You know, he barely knows Big. He met him like twice.
Big the Cat.
Omega shows up. Yeah, where was Omega during Sonic Generations? Well, he was over here, I guess. Rouge is there, hell yeah. And then you also get Maria and Professor Gerald pulled through time. And so they don't know what's going to go on, and Shadow does. He knows all this, and he wants to save them. And
that's the part that really pulled my heartstrings. I'm like, oh, this is fucked.
It's also handy having Professor Gerald there, because he can just be like, maybe time is being fucked up, and because things are being pulled from different points in time, what makes sense? He can just be the exposition guy like Tails was in Sonic Generations.
Oh, yeah.
It's also, like, fortunately, the best Shadow's current voice, Kirk Thornton, has been in the role, because he's always been one of the more contentious picks in the modern cast.
Yeah. So I didn't know about this, but he was the original guy who said, "You got this, Sonic," right?
Yeah.
Right. I thought that line delivery was terrible, and I thought the Shadow voice actor was terrible back in 2012. But now, listening to him in this game, fabulous, absolutely amazing. I love his voice.
It's partly because Generations actually was the first time for a lot of the actors, because the first time that these casts were used was in Colors, and that only had Sonic, Tails, and Eggman. So most of them hadn't really shown up until Generations. But now, most of them have been playing their roles for a decade. Some of them have been recast, like Knuckles and Tails are different now. And Blaze is different. Silver as well, I'm pretty sure. So a bunch of them have been recast since, but yeah, like it's one of those where some of them are still the same, like Rouge and Shadow, and sometimes they sound worse. Like I think Rouge doesn't sound as good in this version, and but Shadow, I think Kirk Thornton has improved as Shadow.
Yes.
Yeah. But he's not the only person playing Shadow in this game. They did a level to tie into the new movie where Keanu Reeves is voicing him, because Shadow goes into the movie universe and fights some helicopters.
Out, by the way?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Oh,
nice.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, it came out like a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, so you're not playing as Keanu Shadow. You're playing as the main Shadow, who for some reason just looks and sounds different when he goes into that universe. Sadly, you can't use that model in any other stage. It's just for that one. And Keanu's performance is not very good in this. It must be weird direction or something, because he sounds like he has no idea what the fuck's going on at any given time.
Trotter Dog, how was he in the movie?
Shadow?
Keanu. Yes.
Yeah, he's great. He's great.
Okay, so at least he does
At times,
great in the
I was
movie
worried
compared
that
to the
he would
game.
not fit because he's clearly so much older sounding, but they do point out in the movie itself that Shadow is older, so it makes sense. Like, he's been around for longer and all that, so
Nice.
it makes sense. Yeah, I do love the joke that he makes when he's like, "You're a colorful bunch," because literally red, blue, and yellow, and he's black.
You're a colorful bunch.
It's such an obvious joke, and it's good. So I like it. There are some jokes he makes that don't land, because like Keanu saying that joke does not really work, but
All right, I'm excited. But so at least if they do it right in the movie, that's more important. I was a bit worried if he said like he wasn't good in the game, then he might not be good in the movie. But okay, excited
he did great.
to play that.
Yeah. All right, so I want to do bottom middle for Snake. I want to cross.
Oh, bottom middle. All right, yeah, let's make the cross, baby. That's funny because that was mine just then, but now we're gonna go.
There we go. Okay,
Oh,
I have that one too.
You did put it on your list.
Of course.
Hell yeah. Bye.
I have the same image too.
Wait.
Yeah.
Before you start though, Snake, I will say this. Like, genuinely, like I like the movie, but I was shocked both of you liked it too, because I felt like there were so many things that you both wouldn't have liked that happens in the movie. I'm like, oh, they're not gonna like this. This has that vibe that I got from like Thor: Love and Thunder and stuff. But both of you like this. After I'm like, whoa, that shocked me.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, take it away.
I mean, it helps that the Deadpool film, like, Deadpool's even though his comedy can be a bit hit or miss sometimes, he's still generally a very charismatic, fun character in these films.
Yeah,
and,
true.
And some of that, the insane shit he does is great. And I like that they allowed Deadpool to make fun of the MCU as it was. Like, he says to Wolverine, "Welcome to the MCU. You joined at kind of a low point." Like, he was allowed to say that.
Yes.
I want to see how far they can take that. I want Deadpool's next appearance to have him go, lesbian kiss. Oh, you're not going to see that in China. Like, he's describing to the Chinese audience what's going on.
Yeah. What now is happening is, awesome.
What now is
good.
happening?
Yeah, but so one of the things that it was fun on its own, but one of the things that really helped me to really appreciate it was Godzilla Mendoza did a video where his analysis of it is that it's kind of like a love letter to the non-MCU Marvel stuff, particularly the Fox stuff.
A send-off. Yes.
Yeah, and how it's like basically saying, and you're looking at it, you're like, yeah, like the way that the guy talks about the sacred timeline, it's like the way some fans talk about the MCU and how everything else is dog shit, shouldn't exist. Sell it back to Marvel. We all fell into that trap. Oh, just give it back to Marvel. They'll make a great movie. And you look back and you realize, oh no, there was good stuff in these other films. I mean, admittedly, like most of the X-Men stuff was dog shit. But there were some bangers in there, and
yeah.
It's good to have a different style, not just what has kind of become very standardized with the MCU. But this film is basically saying those films did have value, people did like them, and that should be celebrated. Unfortunately, it's not quite as eager to celebrate the Fantastic Four.
Oh yeah.
No, that was my only real gripe with the
Womp
movie
womp.
too. Was
Yeah.
that I didn't like how they handled because I was hyped to see him, and
Johnny.
I'm like, oh, come on. Yeah.
Although I did like the joke being like, do you have any idea how much like money we're frying like every second this guy is on screen? I did like that joke.
I love the budget jokes. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Well, the first one. Well, it's funny. I only ever see two of you guys. It's almost like the studio couldn't afford another X-Men.
And they brought that back
Yeah.
in the second one where you just see the whole crew being like, close the door.
Yep. And then in like Deadpool and Wolverine, he also has that line when him and Wolverine are finally about to fight for the first time, and Deadpool just says, "All right, then, let's give the fans what they paid for."
Oh
The
yeah.
whole movie.
Yeah, and
basically.
Deadpool's hyping up the fight for the fans more than he's like eager to fight Wolverine. He's like, yeah, people are gonna love this.
I do find it amazing because that fight doesn't last for a very long time, but the actual Deadpool Wolverine epic showdown was in the car. Like that was
Yeah.
the Deadpool Wolverine fight. Like,
You're the one that I
oh my
want.
gosh.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
And also like
the one
even
that I
before
want.
that fight, like when what the thing that Logan says to like Wade was just so brutal but so on the point basically. It's like amazing. Hugh Jackman, genuinely awesome job in this movie.
My only issue with
Yeah,
Hugh
no, I think
Jackman's
so too.
performance, my only issue is the fact that, Wade can say fuck over and over again. It sounds completely natural. With Wolverine, it just never sounded natural to me. Like,
Yeah.
something about it sounded a bit off.
I see.
It could be because he's not got that accent. He's obviously he's putting it on. It could be because of the character, but it just doesn't feel quite right. Whereas with Deadpool,
Yeah.
it's like he feels at home saying it, and Wolverine says
yeah.
it a lot. He's I think he says it more than fucking Wade does in this film.
Yeah. The only
do
thing
think-
I regret about not seeing this movie like the first day it came out is like when I reacted to certain things, I was the only idiot in the theater like nerding out over it. Like no one else got it. Like for example, when Hugh Jackman finally pulls down the Wolverine mask and is actually wearing it, I was like, "Ooh!" And no one else made a noise. I was like,
No one
"Oh,
else?
They don't get why it's a big deal."
My theater did. And my theater were all Taiwanese people, so that
Yeah,
was like,
I've seen clips, audience reaction clips. I love seeing the stuff like that for the big moments, like the portal
like,
scene in the
hell
MCU, and it's like here it is. Like everyone's going. As soon as he does that, everyone's like, oh, "Is he gonna do it?" And it's like, they're all like
And they give the wide
coming
eyes
in
too,
the
which is such a
jaws.
nice touch. He gets to keep the wide eyes
yeah.
and everything.
Yeah. Oh, there's just so many like fantastic bits. Like it is such a solid script, and it has like actually it's not just here's another film. And even though it's one of the ones that are really good in the MCU, a lot of it is just kind of well here's another film. This one actually has a specific thing it's trying to say. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And they just did such a good job with it. Like holy shit, wow.
yeah, I'm actually happy you guys liked the movie a lot because I really thought you would have more issues with like, oh, this is taking place in like the Loki show. Like, oh, that's like how are they gonna fit this and that and whatnot?
Well, that was the funny thing was the fact they basically said, "Oh, here's this concept from Loki. We're just going to use it for our own thing, and also acknowledge where it comes from." Specifically,
Yeah.
name drop the episode of Loki it came from, and everyone's
They
it's just
did.
like, "Oh, I see." Because like, I watched it with my dad
Yeah.
and brother, and they haven't seen a ton of the MCU stuff. My brother has seen. I think he's seen all the main ones from like, up to the end of the Infinity Saga, and he's seen the Spider-Man ones. I
Oh,
don't think
that's
he's watched.
enough.
I don't think he's watched any of the shows. He's not seen Loki or anything. My dad has really only seen like Ant-Man 1, maybe 2. I think one of the Captain Americas and
Yeah.
maybe some of the Spider-Man ones. He's seen the Deadpool films as well, but that's it. Like you don't have very much experience, and we all enjoyed it. So I appreciate
awesome.
that the film. I was thinking, oh god, are you gonna have any idea what the TVA is about? And I think the film does enough to introduce it to someone who's
Yeah.
never seen Loki.
Heck,
Yeah.
even if exactly, it's like it almost feels like its own thing in a way. It's like, oh, here we have this multiverse like plot line, ooh, but like it actually does exist in the TV show. So that is, that's a good way of doing it.
I will say that was the weakest part was that it had to include some MCU stuff. But and also what I hate even more though is like the MCU like super nerds like trying to point out plot holes in the Deadpool movie, being like, actually the TVA would have a solution for that immediately, and Wade wouldn't have. I'm like, shut up. I don't want to watch the TVA sequel. I'm watching the Deadpool Wolverine movie. Shut up. No one cares
Yeah.
about your super like, oh, well, TVA would have had a solution. Who is going to bat for the TVA? Like, who's the TVA fan super nerds? Like, what's this all about? Anyway, but
You know what? I am a TVA nerd, but I can also say this because I'm sure you both didn't see season 2, right, of Loki.
Yeah.
I didn't see season 1. I didn't like that
Yeah.
concept at all.
TLDR, basically shit happens there that messes up their company, so like they
Yeah.
probably would have a little too much in their hands to handle this. However, didn't you see the like the main head of the TVA, like the black lady, like
Yeah.
the one who like shows up at the end? Like she actually was like one of the more important like characters in the show, and because she is now like one of the main managers of like the TVA, so this obviously takes place actually after the show. Because the show ends. The show is just done, basically. And it's just like, okay, the TVA exists. So that's an interesting like callback to that, essentially. But it's not important to know about that. But it's interesting.
Yeah. I think they did a bang up job. Another good video I'd recommend. It's a 2-parter. It's Cinema Wins. Everything great about Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh, yeah. Cinema
nice.
wins.
Yeah, it's basically taking Cinema Sins and going, what if Cinema Sins wasn't negative? What if it was positive? Let's talk about all the good
What if
shit. And it
What
points
is
out,
Cinema Sins but based?
and you can learn a bunch of cool stuff from it. Like one thing that was highlighted was the fact that they go about as irreverent as they can with Logan, but they acknowledge, yeah, look, Logan's great, everyone loved it. However, and all the stuff with this fantastic sequence. I'm shocked that such a needlessly violent sequence is the basis for an emote in Fortnite. Like what?
Oh, yeah. Actually, you know this, right, Snake? I'm sure. I'm not sure if Dog knows this, but the song that first off, like one of the best intro sequences ever. But the song that they play, do you know why that's such a significant thing, like Dog?
No.
Because they made fun of that exact same song in one of the X-Men films.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It comes on the I think it's X-Men 2 comes on the radio, and Wolverine like quickly shuts it off because he clearly hates it. And so it's like, here's a song that Wolverine in the Fox films canonically, which I guess at this point it's like, it's the same Logan, he does not like. And that's playing while his body's being desecrated by Deadpool. Like
Yes.
and that has to be intentional. It's so good as a decision, like holy shit. And those videos are how I learned about it, so definitely check out Godzilla Mendoza and Cinema Wins for all the cool shit you missed in these films, because holy shit, there's a lot. It's such
And that's why
film.
it's a good movie, yeah. It's a lot of labor of love, a lot of details. I'm not sure if you guys know, but there's apparently a lot of funny behind-the-scenes stuff that happened. Like, Marvel, like the studio that owns like Disney Marvel, was trying to shove in more characters that were not popular into Deadpool 3 to like put a spotlight on them. And apparently Ryan
really?
Reynolds said no because he has the actual creative rights to the movie or something. And he's like, no, we're not putting She-Hulk in. No, we're not putting Captain Marvel in. They just wouldn't fit.
Did they specify those characters?
Yeah, and apparently the She-Hulk actress in particular filmed all of her scenes already. And then just watched the film and she wasn't in it. And she was super upset.
Wow.
She's trying to sue Ryan Reynolds apparently. But she can't. Like it's a frivolous lawsuit. But yeah, apparently he just put his foot down and was like, no, they wouldn't make sense in this movie, so I'm not going to just shove them in. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, like, also the movie does literally use obscure characters, like, around the second half, It's like,
Yeah,
oh,
it's
wow,
awesome.
these characters all come back. Yeah, it's like...
Freaking
this is like-
Elektra? That's like the Madam
Yes.
Web of that time period. That's like the Madam Web of that phase.
I mean, they were like, they took a character whose shining moment in her original duology, because she was in 2 films, was when she was like getting ready to kill Ben Affleck to Bring Me to Life by Evanescence, and they made her cool in this film. What?
Yeah, they made them cool.
How do you make
Exactly.
Evanescence lady cool?
I mean... I'm gonna make a name for myself. Like, I can't stop quoting, like, him.
I love all the different discussions now that came as a result of like Gambit and stuff. Like people were talking like, well, can he beat so and so in a fight? And I was like, as a super nerd, the answer is usually yes, because Gambit is way more OP than people think he is. Yeah.
I also love the blade joke. There's only ever been one blade. There's only ever going to be one
yes.
blade. And then Deadpool looks at the camera and it's like, there are 2 ways you can read that. One is like, does he know? Does he know that they're making another Blade film? Or you can look at it as, he's right. He's right.
Oh.
You know he's right. That film's never getting made. This is Marvel's.
And the
fault.
funniest thing is, it's like
way.
been delayed again, changing director again. It's just like, oh, that
It's
joke
pretty
is
much
aging
done. I
more.
think they're not. There's no way they can't possibly still be going through with it at this point. Like, you
There
can't
was,
even call it like developer hell because it hasn't even started yet. Really, it's still in the drafting phase.
There was like that one other joke that I was probably like one of the only persons who laughed in like the theater when I heard that. It was around the beginning when it's like Deadpool was like, I'm with all these people that I love and care about and no one else, as he looks into the camera. And I'm like, is that supposed to be a really subtle jab to, I forgot the actor's name, but he was in the first 2 movies as Wade's best friend.
Yeah.
Yes. And
Yeah.
no
Which I was
one
like, oh,
else.
that has to be a jab towards him. But then also at the same
Yeah.
time, the movie does have a lot of characters that don't show up back again, like
Yeah.
Cable and like Domino and stuff like that. It's like, oh, it's
Yeah.
a little too bad they didn't come back.
While
I don't know.
Cole Young shows up for the party.
Yes,
Fucking Cole Young.
Louis Tan, let's go.
Babe Ruthless just started playing Tekken 8. Steam told
Hey,
me.
don't
Don't get distracted now.
But yeah, we could go on. I think like this movie definitely. It's funny. The only MCU movie that came out this year, and it was a banger. So it's good for them, I guess. Hope they keep it up.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, hopefully they can get some good ones coming out, especially now that it's like, well, if they want to sell these costumes in Marvel Rivals, they damn well better make some good movies, because no one wants to buy a Red Hulk recolor for Hulk if Red Hulk is
If it's not
poo-poo in the
good.
poo-poo movie, you know?
Dude, Deadpool and Domino would both be really good characters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Deadpool's bound to show up. Like he
he
seems like
is.
he seems like the kind of character that they'd be like, we can't put all the best ones in. Let's leave a couple out and put them in later to keep interest going.
But they have the team
Absolutely.
up thing, so Domino would be cool too to put in. And I'm trying to think how creative they could get with her luck ability. Like maybe it has like a 1 in 10 chance of activating, and if you headshot her, it just shows like a blur of her moving out of the way and dodging it or something, like whoop, and just like slipping it. That'd be funny.
so
Like pissing
annoying.
off all the Black Widow
No,
mains.
no,
Just, like,
it-
1 in 10
it's
chance to
like
not die.
if you're aiming at her head and you click, your gun jams.
And like a domino thing appears on your screen, like a domino logo. Yeah, like oops, that'd be kind of cool. Just to let you know what
indeed.
happened. Confusing everybody. That'd be great.
So, I think what shall we decide?
I request one more bathroom break if you don't mind, real
Yeah.
quick.
So for
Sure,
Look,
you
it
know,
was my
I
turn.
will get some more water myself.
well, here's the
too.
thing
It's a
about
good break
dogs.
time.
The thing about dogs is that when you said make a nice shape, I thought you meant the middle one, not the
So
one.
you already clicked it?
I think you said middle, but not middle left. So at first, I thought you were talking about Deadpool Wolverine, which is in the middle. I didn't realize you were talking about Arcane for the first like 30 seconds.
Oh, yeah. So I guess it's big spoiler. Don't click the middle one because that's also my Deadpool Wolverine. Same exact picture too. It's
Yeah.
just a
Wait,
good
so your
picture.
middle one is Deadpool and Wolverine too, dog?
Yeah, so you can click it and make the cross if you want to, and then when we get back
Okay,
from our break,
so-
we'll do the next one. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. All right. So I see you both put it onto there. Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Be right back.
This is my channel now. I'm going to talk about the stuff I want to talk about. So the funny part about Evanescence Lady, Electra, is in that scene where Bring Me to Life is playing. I don't know if anyone remembers this, but like when you get to the lyric, I can't believe I couldn't see. There's a fucking close up of Matt Murdock's face. Remember, the man's blind. What are you doing, camera? Stop it. so it's like. It's focused on this blind man's face and his eyes, where it says, I can't believe I couldn't see. And it's like, guys, come on. It's like a Zack Snyder bit. What are you doing? And then they made the woman who was the focus of that montage cool in Deadpool and Wolverine. How do you do that? Because like, she's kind of infamous for, Elektra's one of the worst rated superhero movies of all time. Weirdly, the worst ones tend to be the ones that star women. Even the ones not made in the modern feminism go era, like Catwoman, Supergirl, the original Supergirl movie that tied into the Superman movie, that wasn't even like officially firmly connected until The Flash came out and put that Supergirl alongside that Superman. Before then, it was like, oh yeah, we're told they were connected, but we never really saw it. But yeah, and then Elektra's one of the worst ones, and then suddenly she's really cool in this. And evidently she allowed them to make some neat jokes, like, oh, where's Daredevil? Dead. Oh, I'm sorry. Nah, it's okay. It's like, okay. Because the actors were in a relationship back in the day, and then it's like, it's basically a joke about Ben Affleck.
Oh, that is funny. Since Dog isn't back yet, I can mention this briefly, because like I didn't have enough space to put it, and we are talking about something X-Men related, but X-Men 97 still a banger.
So you're not putting that on your list then?
No, that's why I'm talking about it right now. I still think it's like really uniquely animated, really fun, really well done action scenes, and just overall great show. That's so cool. Obviously, yes.
The camera's trying to focus on my face.
Wow, that's so cool.
Well,
your camera's automatically
looking,
tracking you.
It looks really cool. Oh, it's turning. Wait, your camera moves on its own?
Yeah.
I know, that's creepy.
He's got a cool camera. What camera do you got, Snake?
I can't tell you.
Is
that.
this a camera or is this like the program doing it?
No, it's a camera.
Wow, that's so cool.
I just can't tell you about it for reasons. You'll know eventually.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Oh, I have the same deal. Okay, yeah, interesting.
I don't know if I'll get it in the future or not, but yeah.
No, Sonic. You're not regular enough. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Gotta post at least twice a month.
Your camera's good enough, Sonic. I've been using bad ones. I needed this.
It's true.
Don't take this away from me.
Wait, isn't this like your third one recently? Because didn't you have the one that can like zoom in like very far? So.
Yeah, which I think actually did hamper the quality.
Oh, no wonder your camera looks amazing like today. Because Dog didn't notice it. Oh, that's sick.
I don't want
very
to track
excited.
you now.
Line up too. That would have been smart.
It's kind of tracking you. Yeah, look at it. It's kind of tracking you now.
Yeah, it wasn't
That's
doing that
That's
before. I don't know what is
badass.
going
That
on.
is like the coolest shit.
kind of trippy, actually.
So that means that you can always be centered. No more in the editing booth having to fucking center yourself if you scoot over or something during your monologues like I sometimes do. Yeah.
Yeah, can't wait to hear you talk all about it in detail in the future. Wink, wink.
You know, it's funny. I used to think that checking that box that said video has a paid promotion, I used to think that checking that guaranteed you more views. I've now learned that's not true. Just a coincidence.
Yeah, I don't even... I actually don't even know when to turn that on, actually, now I think about it. But yeah, anyways.
Dog and I both have the crosses. Both have a nice neat cross. Yours is all over the place, Mr. Sonic.
Hey, it's not my fault. You guys are the ones who picked, okay?
So should we do another dog one now, or because you kind of talked about Deadpool and Wolverine, we move on to yours again?
To me? Oh, you guys can do that, sure.
What do you want to do, Dog?
Oh, to skip me. Otherwise, I'll be ahead.
Sure.
Yeah. So recommend just do me for next.
All right.
Sure.
I say we go in the middle to try and turn this into a cross.
Finally. You guys are finally hitting that. I specifically put that in the middle because I thought you guys would take it earlier. Yeah.
A little bit late to the party there, Sonic.
You already talked about this, Sonic. Get out.
Did I actually? I don't feel like I gushed.
You talked about your content.
Oh, true. You know what? True, honestly. To be fair, though, I reviewed the story, but I never really talked about the game. But yeah, like overall, like first time experiencing the Shaolin monks, and had a blast. I think the game is not as sacred and as high as some people would put it up to be, because some people say like, oh, this was the best of the best like Mortal Kombat has ever been, and they're never gonna reach this height ever again. They should go back to this. I'm like, sure, I would like another one, but like, there's still a lot of jank in this game, you know? There's still some issues. Backtracking is kind of a pain in the ass, and like actually going for 100% is hard to say. But I still had a great time playing it. I played it twice because I had to get more footage, so I did have a second playthrough, which was a lot more smoother. Although ironically, the first playthrough was like 8 hours, and my second playthrough, much more smoother, easily able to get everything I needed for my footage. Play through the, I'm like speed running this game, easy peasy. Beat like the final boss on my second try and whatnot. 6 hours. What the I thought I'd be way faster than that.
Oh, okay. I'm surprised it's that long. It's got that much like girth to it. I didn't know it was that long.
I think an average run is about 6 hours. I would assume. But for like me and my brother, we did get in my playthrough video, I did cut off about like an hour of us just being stuck at places, because you can get stuck and not know what to do. It is one of those games that's like, it gives you a lot of those aha moments to progress, or like some of those secrets. But unfortunately, they're not optional sometimes, so you really have to your way through some of those things. But yeah, I would recommend like Mortal Kombat fans or whatnot, just like give it a shot. Play with somebody you know and whatnot. Wink, wink, Tronadog, get on it. And
I should play it. I should. Yeah, it's true.
If anyone's been watching me for the last minute or so, Sonic didn't mute me. I muted myself so I could eat some Skittles, and then I forgot to unmute myself.
Oops.
Oh.
Oops. Whoops.
Did you want to say something though, just then?
Yeah, I was saying it's pretty breezy, but if you're going for all because there's a bunch of optional stuff, like the Melina fight and the Living Forest is optional. Ermac is optional. So I'm glad Sonic was able to hit on all those beats in the video. Here's pretty much all the because there's other secrets elsewhere, but here's all the major stuff. Here's all the cool cameos and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I wanted to make sure to get all the secret bosses. So, and I also do mention them in my video. What is funny is if you actually do watch the playthrough of my 3-hour playthrough with my brother, I actually did accidentally skip out on the Cabal part. So I never knew about him until I researched for the video. I'm like, wait, he's in this game? What the? So that was something that Oh yes, the accent. I should have made more fun of the accent because everyone in the comments are gonna be like, "What the fuck is this like cowboy Cabal out of here all of a sudden?"
It's like every motherfucker from in Earthrealm's from Texas. Sonya, Aaron Black, Cabal now apparently.
Yeah.
What is it with you Texans, dog? Why are you all like this?
Dog was like, "What did I do?
What did I do
to me?"
Taking the heat for all the Texans, apparently.
One thing I also think the game is like really underrated, in my opinion, is like because I play Liu Kang on both of my playthroughs, but every character in this game, like at least in the main story, plays very differently actually. So it's like always like you're basically using a different tactic when you try these characters. And I also love the aspect that you can unlock new skins as you progress, so it makes for like makes it fulfilling, like playing through the game, getting upgrades and learning new moves and stuff. Like that part is really fun.
When I made my video back in the day, oh sorry, I was gonna talk about the different characters and stuff. So when I made my video back in the day, covering how Johnny Cage always has a red attack in almost every single Mortal Kombat game, even in Shaolin Monks, he has like a red attack, and I'm like, no way. Even in this one, they kept that meme going where he has at least one red glow attack.
I also really appreciate the alternate color palettes for multiplayer and how almost all of them is something very specific. Like Sub-Zero is Noob Saibot. Scorpion's a traditional orange, which he rarely gets nowadays. Kung Lao has yellow pants like an MK3. Reptile's the human version. Katana's red, like Scarlet, I guess. Or more specifically, I guess, like the actual designs they made for the costume, because they actually filmed that in red. Because of the blue screen. The ninjas were done in red. I think that's why the whole red ninja thing started as a rumor, because that's what the actual colors were. If you look at the combat cards done for Deception, Melina and Katana's, I think you can see Becky Gable in the costume, and it's red. Sub-Zero in MK3 was red. Sindel's was red. Nightwolf's was red. Most of it was just red.
That's cool, actually. And also, I will say, Katana in red does look pretty good when I tested her out.
Is that a different game mode, or is that just still co-op where you can do that?
That's a different game mode.
There is a versus mode. Because I've been trying to find footage of this, and I can't find anyone who really uploads like a lot of versus content in Shaolin Monks, and I'm like, where is that? I see like Sonic clapping because he probably wanted footage for that too and couldn't find anyone else who posted it.
Exactly. This game is fucking impossible to look for footage, honestly. Well, let me rephrase that. It's impossible to look for HD footage. It's so hard. Yeah. Like everyone was played it. I played it 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's why I had to play the entire game and unlock like all the characters and stuff like that. But also, I played the game in HD 16:9, where the game was actually supposed to be 4:3, and then the quality is supposed to be 720. So that's why it's like, I can't use other people's footage, because then it would be very like contrast and stuff like that. So yeah, and also it's very hard to look for footage, basically, like what you're saying, dog. So yeah, just play the game yourself, and then you unlock everything. And you can showcase how that works.
I think part of it is the fact that the actual mode is one of those where, because in terms of the way it plays, it's more like Power Stone than anything, because you have like the 3D environment you're running around. But each stage also has hazards, which can range from, here's just like spikes or blocks or a waterfall. Like some of the locations are actually original, not even in the campaign. Like the icy waterfall's great. But then you have ones like, Goro's here. He's just going to beat the shit out of you while you're in his lair. Or I think Kintaro is at Khan's arena, and it's like, why?
Chaos, anarchy.
Chaos.
It is dumb fun though, and I do recommend. Like, I kind of want to see people like get more into that, like the co-op mode. I mean, the versus mode basically. But here's the thing to mention to you, Trainer Dog. The versus mode, you get to play as a lot of characters, but in the campaign, the main mode, you do only get to play as 4, and because of that, those 4 do get especially loved, and they have like the abilities you can unlock and stuff. Whereas like Johnny, Reptile, Baraka, Kitana, they don't. So, like, I've seen people hack the game and be, like, playing the whole game as Reptile, and I have fans who have recommended me. I'm like, that sounds fun, but I'm only able to use, like, these moves, and that's it. Like, I have a lot of, like, I can't unlock, like, all these new moves and whatnot. Which
definitely a mod. You can tell because the character will break during certain moments and stuff. Like, their 3D model will just, like, spaz out and stuff. You're like, definitely a mod.
I also wonder about certain moments, like, because there are points where you have to do a mortality or a brutality to progress, but the multiplayer only characters don't have those because there's no need to. They're only in for one-on-ones. So how would that work?
I heard a comment, and I can't like confirm this, but someone said you can't play this game with Sub-Zero like solo because he doesn't have a damaging projectile ability, and you have to use that for the Baraka boss fight. Like, I can't confirm if this is true or not.
I don't think that's the case because I played primarily on my own. I'm pretty sure I did clear it as at least 3 of the characters. I got quite far, at least as all of them. I'm sure you can. I'm sure it just does some damage. Plus that you can pick up projectile things in the arena and throw them at him. So I think it's fine. It's just a matter of the Scorpion Sub-Zero's attacks aren't as good for the fight with Shao Kahn.
Oh, interesting.
Liu Kang and Kung Lao are a lot harder hitting with, like, Kung Lao's hat is like the most damaging projectile easily. So like he has an easier time than Liu Kang because he can just throw his hat at a distance, where Liu Kang has to do damage. He has to like get in there with his bicycle kick and shit, and that puts you in danger.
True, but the bicycle kick is pretty OP though in the game, I will say. Spamming that shit is like, what the fuck? This health bar is gone.
Like, the tip is get in there with the bicycle kick, because Liu Kang, the flying kick upgrades to the bicycle kick, then it upgrades to have a flying kick at the end, which is normally used to kick an enemy away after you're finished. But here, what you do is after the bicycle kick's finished, you aim away and flying kick away from Shao Kahn before he can grab you.
Cool. I didn't know I was learning some tips. I got comments of people being like, oh, when Shao does the hammer spin, like, actually do, like, air combos in the air so you can stay up there longer. I'm like, oh, okay, these are some cute tips. Here's a fun fact I also found out, because I saw some speedruns of this game, and you said, like, Scorpion and Sub-Zero have, like, a really hard time with Shao, but apparently, like, the world record of co-op of this game is Scorpion and Sub-Zero, actually. And I think the world record on single is Liu Kang, if I'm not mistaken. So, there you go, some interesting tidbits there. Anyways, I can gush about Shaolin Monks all day long, but you can watch my 1-hour video and then watch my 3-hour playthrough if you want to see more of that.
I'm noticing things as I watch this video that I sent in the chat, like how it seems like the characters you can play as in co-op also get extra fatalities, like group fatalities, where they do some cool thing that kills everyone around them. But the other characters don't get that. Like, I didn't see Kitana or Baraka do that because they're not the co-op ones. Also, apparently, if you lose to the bosses, they can fatality you. That's fun.
Absolutely. That's the fatality you're asking for. Like,
some of them are so funny.
Story mode.
Did you see them all, Sonic?
See them all? The fatalities? I think so. I saw like a compilation of Liu Kang Kung Lao's and stuff. But not Scorpion Sub-Zero's.
I mean the bosses, what they do on you when you lose.
Yes, I did see all of them. I did.
Reptiles is so funny because he just spits acid in you, you fall down, the camera shows Reptile, cuts back to you, you're a skeleton.
Pop.
Yep, just in the water.
Yes, just pop, you're a skeleton now, immediately. There were some that are pretty funny. I do like the Shao one where he hits you onto the chair and you're just dead on the throne. I was like, oh, that's kind of badass.
My favorite
like the
one
Kano
is definitely the Kung Lao beating you with the rabbit.
Yes, that one's really funny.
That's incredible.
I like the Kano one because it's a reference to the stage where basically he just gets sent up to the Colosseum and you don't see what happens and he comes back in like a completely fleshy dead body. It's like, oh, he just got sent up there to die. It's kind of cool.
And Kintaro gets the most brutal death of all time just for no reason.
No reason.
What did he do? He didn't attack the Shaolin Temple, whereas like the guy who's like the architect of all the suffering just gets his neck broken.
Yes. And like Goro just gets a kick. Okay. Actually, I didn't mention this in my video, but I wish I did. That is a really great callback to the intro, because in the intro, Johnny tries to go for a kick on Goro, fails, and then like he just takes it. Goro just takes it, and then he just tosses like Johnny away. So Johnny doing that onto Goro and killing him is kind of like a bit of a, it's poetry.
Johnny's been on a training arc off screen with help from Raiden, just like how he's helping Jax.
Yeah, just gotta get my kicks in. Gotta get these kicks successfully. All right, so I guess we are halfway there now with our list. Here, I remember what I wanted to say just then. So this is kind of off tangent, but it's been a while. But I watched Snake's Mortal Kombat 9 video, like retrospect, like his critique on that video, and just randomly in this one part of the video, like it got me laughing so hard because like he was just talking about something with like katana and stuff like that, and then on the top right of his screen he gets an achievement that says like halfway there, and then like Snake in the video just like nonchalantly just talking, all of a sudden he just edits in, zooming into that, and you just hear ah.
We're halfway there.
And that's it. That took me out. Yeah, that just took me out of the video. It's such a great joke. But yeah, we're halfway there. So for Snakes here, he's got a dark purple on the top right. That kind of reminds me of my Agatha one. So want to go for that one?
Sure. Top right, you said?
Yeah, top right for Snakes. Another Hitman makes it onto the list.
Well, it's the same game, but it's just more content.
The same game made it onto the list.
See,
I
it's
good when it makes it on the
I
list
said that
twice in a
2024
row.
was like the year of DLC and stuff. So,
yeah. But yeah, so this is, I talked about before, the elusive targets, where you get, here's a limited time target, and if you fail, you don't get another shot until it comes back around again. And they've had celebrities before. Like they had Sean Bean as the big one for Hitman 2. I think it was Gary Busey for 1.
Dies.
2, yeah, that's the joke. He's called the Undying, and you kill him, and then he comes back a few months later, and you have to kill him again. And then he comes back a few months later, you have to kill him a third time. So
Does he play different characters? Or
no, it's the same guy. Because that's the part of the joke is one of the special execution methods is he's looking at a pen and you shove his head onto it, into his eye, and when he comes back, he's got an eye patch. That's canonically how 47 took him out, but he keeps coming back. So it's like, yeah, the guy who dies in everything he's in. Here he is. You have to keep killing him. It's a really funny bit. But we've also had, I think it was 3 celebrity ones this year. Dimitri Vegas. Yeah. Everyone knows Dimitri Vegas from Mortal Kombat 11. He plays like an evil like musician guy that you kill at a club in Berlin. You get a special outfit for killing him. It's pretty funny. Then the last one they did was Conor McGregor, who has been removed from the game. You can't buy his DLC outfit anymore because all the stuff going on with him right now, which is kind of funny. It's like,
I don't even know about that. You got to tell me after.
It's like physical abuse stuff, but
oh no.
Yeah, but so it's really funny.
Video, Sonic, cut that out.
People were pointing out. Oh yeah, right. You should call it physical. Actually,
touching.
I don't think there is like a go-to, like unalive and grape and stuff like that. There's no go-to for this.
In Minecraft.
He's been
yes.
He's been doing MMA outside of a sanctioned fight in his home.
There you go.
Is the allegations
mixed
there you go,
martial arts?
Yes.
Yeah. So
martial arts.
Yeah, he's been practicing where he shouldn't be, and so so they've removed him. But it's funny how it's like, yeah, we sure wouldn't want to have him in the game where you shoot him in the face.
You could complete that sentence with a straight face.
but I get it. It's probably because of the whole. He would probably get paid money every time you buy the outfit or something. So I get it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
And so the current one is the Splitter, Jean-Claude Van Damme from Mortal Kombat.
Wow.
That's who this one is.
Nice.
That's Van Damme, like
the
in his prime and now. So it's called the Split. I'm not sure what the exact context is because I've not actually played this one yet. But so I guess there's 2 of him, and he also does the splits.
Nice.
And they did some cool like featurette stuff. Like they showed off on Twitter. Oh, here's the lady who did the splits for the motion capture for him, and it's like, that's neat. So I just find it funny how there's been 2 special guests in both Hitman and MK. So I'm thinking, does it mean we're going to get to have Megan Fox as an elusive target, or Christopher Lambert, or something like that? Let's see what happens next.
The connections,
or
coincidences.
Or could it be a sign of someone from Hitman is Gary Busey going to show up in MK? Is Sean Bean the next Kano? Who knows?
Yo, what if the Hitman is a guest character in MK?
That'd be
That
great.
could be funny. Especially if he does, I want him to have a one where he poisons the opponent and says it's to die for. Because every one of these 3 games, he has a new opportunity to kill one of the targets with poison, and he says that every time. Like, he's very clever, very witty, but that's his go-to. He's always like, "Yes, I will use this joke again." Oh, yeah, it's still the content slowed down overall because I guess the team's really hard at work on the James Bond game now, so we didn't get like a big
there's a
mode
James
like
Bond game. Cool.
because last year they had the whole roguelike mode they added, but so far this year it's basically just been here's a few elusive targets, special outfits, stuff like that. Nothing too substantial. Some Twitch drops. Here's a purple gun. Stuff like that.
Purple gun.
Everybody doing Twitch drops.
Yeah, I've had fun. I'm hoping for more content before the James Bond game. Maybe something to tie into the Bond thing. I mean, that's one of the funny things is because Sean Bean was in a Bond film. Because he was in, I'm pretty sure, GoldenEye.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we already had that connection there. Let's get a Bond actor or like Odd Job or something in Hitman. That'd be great.
All right,
Nice.
sick.
I've always wanted to play those
Time
games.
to-
Never got the chance to though.
Very
Yeah,
good.
same.
A lot
I do
of
watch
content.
watching. I do like watching the
Oh,
playthroughs of
boy.
other people like playing in stuff.
Yeah,
like,
people
it's very
get
interesting.
wild with this shit. Like, yeah, you look at the records. Like, oh, here's a guy. He enters the map, whips out a sniper rifle, like fires a shot somewhere to distract the guards, then fires through a window like on the third floor, like 50 yards away or something like that, and then just drops the rifle and just walks out the map.
I love seeing those. I've seen like there's like Hitman YouTubers who make like custom like game mode like contests, like see who can kill the targets within like a week the fastest, like, and you see like the clips that people do, and it's like holy shit, it's so entertaining.
Oh, it's
My
actually
favorite
someone.
meme of Hitman is that guy like playing the game with like a Let's Play, and it's like got the sniper rifle and it goes, "All right, do you see the man in the red shirt? Yep," and he kills him. He is my son. Oh, he fired too early, like failed the mission immediately. He's like, "Oh," he just jumped the gun.
There is one content creator who's been making some fun little like modded videos where one is basically what if the game was co-op. So it's like what if you could have 2 characters going around. It's like, that's really interesting, especially because the whole costume dynamic where you take people's clothes. If you could play as a woman, it would fundamentally change your route through a stage.
Yeah,
So I would love to see what that could look like. But also another person did one which was because a lot of the stages, especially early on, had multiple different levels with different targets in it. This person basically activated them all at once. Although I think this was the elusive target. So it's like, here's the normal level, plus all the elusive targets on top of that. So instead of just killing 2 people, you have to kill like a dozen in one run. And it's like, that's great. I want to see that for real.
That
Please.
does sound cool. All right, actually, I will say though, like, since we do have a couple more left, I mean, I'm not trying to say like let's just speed run these, but I am kind of saying like we are getting close to the 3-hour point. So.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yes, I was
yeah,
noticing that
just-
too. Y'all went like for a long time on some. I was like, oh man.
Yeah, I just wanted to be a bit more. Like, I want this video to be within 4 hours. Is what I'm saying. But yeah,
I'll try
so,
and make mine quick always. Yeah.
Basically saying, stop yapping, dog, get on with it.
Hey,
It's my fault.
It's all of us, basically. Even though some of the last ones I've got.
Pick
Anyway,
your square, Sonic.
bottom
choose
left.
your
Let's ruin your
destiny.
picture with the bottom left one. Bottom left. Huh? You played this game too? Dang!
I did not.
Wow.
I did not, but I wanted to include it because, like I said earlier, it's definitely game of the year material. Like it's just so important. It's such an impact, like culturally and all that. So, bam.
But you didn't play the game.
Nope. But I did follow all the content. I watched a bunch of videos on it, and I was obsessed with the game in that regard. So I think it still counts.
Okay, so you know like what happened. So you've seen like the boss fights and what happens later on stuff.
Only some. I was mainly watching like the coverage of it, the drama behind it, because I love watching YouTube drama channels. So I would watch like someone react to some like other game developer that was hating on it for some reason, and he would dunk on him or something. You know, those kind of videos. So
Okay,
yeah.
I see. Yeah. So I guess
Right, I get skipped again. That's why Snake's laughing. I get skipped again.
But I do want to say one thing about this. I love how I made sure all my images were squares. You don't have to, but that's the way I did it. And then Dog just say, just do whatever. Here's some portrait, here's some landscape. So because the way it gets cropped, it doesn't say Black Myth Wukong, it says Black Wook.
Yeah, Black Wook.
Black Wook. Yes.
The rest of them look good though. They're actually pretty centered, despite being like whatever shape.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I will be your spokesman for Black Myth Wukong, because like I did play the game for 40 hours and I do think it's really good.
Well, back to you, Sonic.
You get to be the spokesman for Street Fighter 6. So when I say Street Fighter 6 is good, even though I've never played a single game online, you get to be like my confirmer.
Not gonna lie, I still feel a bit betrayed learning that like months later. I'm like, all this shit you were talking about MK and praising Street Fighter 6 and never even touched it.
Listen, I didn't even need to say anything about Street Fighter, and I knew that game was better than MK. You don't need to see a car accident to see how bad the driver is. Okay, so next up, you guys pick
What?
one of mine.
I don't like that analogy. You could have had an analogy that made sense. That one doesn't make sense anyway.
I say we go bottom left just to kind of fill that in.
Bottom
What's
left.
my
Bam.
bottom left one?
Shikoku, this trip.
This is my Japan trip that I've done. So this one I can kind of make it simple because I did talk about my Japan trip back in the episode around August, and like, a lot of fun things, saw a lot of awesome like sceneries, had a lot of great food there, a lot of great memories, and bought a lot of great like souvenirs and stuff, whatnot. So had a great time and stuff. But yeah, if you want to hear more about my gushing of Japan, then check out that video. And I might go to Japan again next year, maybe. So who knows? I could talk more about Japan stuff next year too.
I must say, Sonic, it's very disheartening that you have 9 opportunities here to talk about cool shit, and you spent 2 of them talking about your own content. Disgusting. Yeah. Dog and I here bigging up other people's content, people who need the shout out, but you, disgraceful, despicable.
I'm shouting out.
Chat.
Shikoku.
Can we get an L in the chat for the Sonic's dead career? Yo.
What the fuck?
Bro,
I'm talking about Shikoku and Shaolin monks, and that doesn't have anything to do with like my content, technically speaking.
You should definitely leave a link to it though in like the actual podcast, like link to this, link to blank. Be cool, because your Shikoku video in general is going to be really cool. So yeah.
Oh, well, I'm not making a Shikoku video.
Did you? You're not? Oh, I was hoping you would. Okay.
No. I didn't. Yeah, it was just a vacation for me. Like if I did, like I would have already done it basically.
I think because you did that massive video on your holiday last year, and you said, "Stop me from getting my M1K videos out. I can't keep doing this.
Yes,
I need to make the reptile video, please."
They're very fun. I do spend a lot of time on it, and like I will say, not too many people watch it, so the return investment isn't that high and whatnot. But yeah, so I'm not making the Shikoku video. All right, so for Snake, which one, Dog?
Bottom left. I think bottom left.
Not filling in any rows or columns.
Yeah, that's a
just
Sonic one.
trying to be
I knew it. That one has
Is it
the most
Generations
color.
also or no?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's Shadow Generations.
Oh, so now we skip him?
because this shot here, Dog, is from the reveal trailer. Where at first it's like, oh, it's Sonic Generations Remaster, because the classic cinematic trailer is the 2 Sonics running together in the jump, and then here they are like posing together. But so here, then Shadow just enters from the other side, and you're like, what? Shadow?
Yeah, Sonic fans are like, oh!
Such a good reveal. Holy shit.
Yeah, I agree. Like,
Would you consider it a spoiler?
What, that Shadow's in Shadow Generations? Not really.
No, this exact shot happens on purpose in...
It's in the trailer.
Yeah, in Sonic 3. They jump right by each other just like that as a reference.
Well, that's a reference to Sonic Adventure 2.
Sonic Adventure 2.
Yeah, because they do that in the intro. And then they reference that also in Sonic Generations and Shadow Generations when they fight. Both have their own versions of it.
Yes. So that
there's a
doesn't
very
shock me,
quick,
though, I would say.
It's an iconic
There's a very quick 3-second reference, too, in Sonic 3. You see it in the trailers, kind of, because it shows Sonic fight all 3 of them. I mean, Shadow fight all 3 of them, right? Well...
Yeah.
There's a very brief shot that's identical to the opening to Shadow the Hedgehog, where Sonic tries to get up and goes, like collapses, and Shadow's just behind him and walks off.
Hell
like,
yeah.
Did they even copy that from the games? Different
you
context,
I don't want you
the
to.
same exact framing. Yeah.
I don't want you to tell me anything about the movie, but holy shit, when he's on that motorcycle and with the gun, I'm like, they did not. They did not. Wow.
Yeah, like you can tell there's some like proper Sonic mega fans on this production, which you would never guess from watching the first film. You're like, oh, they got their own lore and that, and it's like it's fine, it's good enough. Then it's like, oh, they got some big fans involved now.
Oh yeah,
shit.
you'd never guess based on the first trailer of the Sonic movie, the first version. The fact that we got from there to this love letter to Sonic fans, like, wow.
I want
the
someone
winning
to,
timeline.
I want someone to draw what
timeline.
Shadow would look like in this film if that was the design they kept. And if somehow the films continue to make enough money to justify sequels, what would that scene look like with the hideous, ugly Sonic designs for Sonic,
How would
Tails,
hideous
Knuckles,
Tails
Shadow?
and Knuckles look like? Because keep in mind, they were never going to change it until we bullied them. So that means that the post-credit scene would have had Tails. So
Yeah.
that there must exist an ugly Tails out there,
Yeah.
at least, right? Show us
And
the
echidnas,
show us the
the
Sonic
echidnas
cut.
probably looks ugly as well. Like what is Knuckles
I
got
would
those
assume.
big fists? He had those scrawny little fucking Rocket Raccoon hands. What would his fist look like? Holy shit! Someone
Scrawny
please
little
draw
Rocket
that.
Raccoon
We have artist fans and friends. Please draw that. Someone. I won't pay you to do it, but please draw it.
I like how instead of saying like please draw this, you said artists, fans, and friends. You're like specifying. Anyways, so for dog, there's 3 more I see here. Which one shall we hit?
I say we follow dog's lead and go top right, so there's nothing being
We'll go with
filled
that
out.
really
It's just stupid
Dark
bullshit.
colored one, yes.
Yeah.
Top right. Okay.
Oh, just Noob Saibot in general. I like that. Chaos
Gameplay-wise-
Reigns.
Gameplay-wise, best version. Best gameplay version he's ever had.
Gameplay,
Tons of fun.
gameplay, right? You have to
Very
shout
creative.
that out to your microphone. Gameplay. Nothing
Well,
else.
I
Not
mean,
the design, not the
story-wise, he got a
personality,
pretty
not the
good
writing.
blow up in terms of what he accomplishes.
He wins a fight.
out a
He wins a
frickin'
fight. You
Titan.
can't take that away from him.
If you want to
Yeah.
ignore all the problems, he did get a glow up. He did win all. Like he almost won all his matches.
I had a random thought as we were
Sacrifice the whole
talking about
story.
like this video and this podcast. How what if they had like changed it to where like to justify the crazy leap in power level that he gets towards the end, if like every couple of fights he's like the chaos in me is getting stronger, and like he explains the power up that he gets as the
Well,
story.
I would have
goes
preferred
on.
that, honestly.
But well, they could have also just made it work by just being like every time he defeats one of Havoc's minions, he just takes their soul.
That'd be cool.
Something
I mean,
like that, yeah.
remember Liu Kang taking his own past self soul in MK11 made him like twice as powerful, but he still lost to Raiden. But imagine
hate
Bihan
that.
be like, I'm going to take a Sub-Zero soul, Sub-Zero Bihan. Oh, now I'm more powerful than ever. Ha ha ha! Try and beat me now, Havoc.
And technically speaking, he looked like he was doing that to Kuai Liang in the Chaos Realm, like with the green thingy and whatnot.
he did.
It looked like it.
He was corrupting him.
So, anything else you want to gush about?
He was also going to give him the pass. Well, I just love the gameplay
About
of Noob.
Chaos
I made a whole
Reigns,
video
no.
about Noob
Ugh.
Saibot's comeback and how like hilariously OP it is compared to like his past installments where he just shows up to be a henchman pretty much and get beat up.
Oh yeah.
And now here he gets to be like a huge glow up.
Okay.
Well, I do think personality-wise, he could have been a bit different from Bihan. They made him just literally Bihan, but in Noob's body. It could have been
Yeah.
cool if they went for the deception route, or like no, Armageddon. I think is where it happens. In Armageddon, I think it's stated that Bihan and Noob Saibot fight in his mind, and it ends up resulting in a brand new personality being formed. Neither Bihan or Noob Saibot anymore. That could have been an interesting take in the, in
True.
Mortal Kombat 1, where he still is Bihan to an extent, but he has that like extra edginess to him or something. Maybe I don't know. But I
yeah,
think he
I'm
was
not
fine.
like. I have a lot of complaints about that, but I will say it technically is kind of unique to have a Noob Saibot that's not influenced by anything at all. Like that's not like
Yeah.
I don't think we've seen that ever, right? So like, I'll give you that, I guess.
It depends how you view it, but sure. And I think it's funny to consider that this proves that DLC characters have a higher likelihood of actually getting wins in a story over like base roster characters, honestly. So the next game that gets announced, you're like, okay, these are the characters that are in the base roster, and you're like, okay, ooh, my favorite villain is not in this roster. He might get to win in the story of his DLC.
Let's go, Kentaro in the DLC.
I mean, granted, I say that, but like Ermac hasn't won still, yeah, even though he's DLC.
I mean, Takeda, Ermac, and Quan Chi haven't had a play by. But technically speaking, Ermac does beat the shit out of everybody in Chapter 6, so
Yeah.
he does have a power scaling there.
Yeah.
Then he loses to Bihan and Melina.
Well, he gets nerfed when Kenshi's sword stabs him. I think it's implied. Like it's heavily nerfed.
I didn't think of it that way actually, but okay, that's true.
Yeah,
He does
loses
suck
souls.
some of
There's
his
still
souls.
time to put it in your video, Sonic, when he shows up in Sub-Zero's chat to go, Ermac is clearly weaker now from the fight with Kenshi. This is proof. I did not insert this
He is
last
clearly
second.
weaker.
This is true. This is canon.
Even though he's still able to toss boulders with his telekinesis, but yes, he's clearly weaker now. Right, so I guess where did it lead us? Back to me.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I'm very
Yeah.
curious which one you
And
guys
where
are gonna
did it
pick
lead
here.
you? Back to me.
Have you guys seen the recent Thanos meme though?
No.
It's been popping
No.
up a lot. It's like if you have like a shit take on like Twitter, something like I don't know. It's like I don't like Sonic Adventure 2 was never good, and I just see someone reply to the video where it's just CGI Thanos looking at you and it's like, I'm gonna have to break your neck. I'm just a messenger. It's what I have to do. It's like,
I have to break your neck. It's just the way it is. I'm just a messenger.
where did this
Yeah.
come from? But apparently it's a test footage or something like that. But now it's just like, I'm gonna have to break your neck. I'm just a messenger. I don't know what. It's just so funny. So which one are y'all picking?
Go on, Dark. Pick one.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Pick one.
I do right. Like true right, as you called it. Like the center right.
Ah.
Yeah.
True, right?
Yeah, good game from what I've heard. Haven't got.
I gotta talk about my boy. You know, okay. You want okay? Because people are. I know we were making fun of the Game Awards just then, but this shit not getting like recognized by the Game Awards, now that pissed me
This
off.
shit right
People are
here.
like, the DLC Game of the Wukong is shut the fuck up. Nine Souls, this fucking amazing, literally my indie game of the year. I love Balatro, by the way, because when Balatro got nominated, I'm like, is it that good? I played it. Oh yeah, it is very good. But still, Nine Souls is genuinely like an amazing game. It's what I wanted because like I think I said this before when I was gushing about this game. I love Hollow Knight, and after Hollow Knight, I just wanted to find another game that could give me that satisfaction as much as Hollow Knight. And I kept looking for all these other Metroidvanias and stuff, and I got close with a couple games, and I had like amazing experiences, but I wouldn't say anything came close until I tried Nine Souls, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is the feeling that I want. The really fun, like challenging, like combat and platforming in the game. Like you're rewarded for like these new like it teaches you new techniques that you have to utilize in enemies and boss fights, and you get rewarded by playing good. I would say I'm having a hard time recommending this game to like everyone because it is quite challenging. Like I almost would say like after you finish Hollow Knight, then play Nine Souls because this game is like a step up from like the difficult. Well,
Yeah.
if you go for all the endings in Hollow Knight, I'd say that'd be harder. But still, like Nine Souls is like a very difficult game.
Yeah.
It is also. I want to make sure I get this right. Give me just 1 second. Let me see if there's like a Wikipedia. Because there's a way that they describe like the way of Nine Souls, like the world and the story. It's like developed by Red Candle Games, like goated game, and you know, in my country, so I'm very proud of them. And
Nice.
they describe the worldview of this game to be Tao punk, a combination of Taoism and cyberpunk. So essentially, it's kind of like this. Your main character, like he knows kung fu, and there's a lot of like religious like symbolisms and like mythologies. But then there's cyberpunk stuff. Like there's futuristic text, there's like elevators, there's technologies, there's like guns, futuristic bow and arrows and shit like that. So it's a very cool combination of both these in the worldview. And the story in this game is fantastic too. Like it tells like this really well like not chronological story. You're kind of understanding what's going on, and by the end of the story, everything gets explained to you, and you're like, oh, that's what's going on, and whatnot. And great characters and stuff. One last thing I'll bring up about this game. The game gives you a lot of freedom for how you want to play as you unlock more like stuff later on. So you can see some people play in the game like, I want to go with my charge attack build, where if I can charge my attacks faster and they deal more damage. I want to go with an attack speed build where I'm attacking like super fast, or spell build, or parry build, yada yada yada. And what's really fun about these is the final boss of this game is something else. It's kind of like the bosses in this game are really hard, they're really fun, but the final boss is like on a complete different level. It's like Millennia from Elden Ring or something like that. It is genuinely insanely cool how like awesome when you fight this final boss. It's like you're fighting like you're in an anime fight basically when you get good at the game. When you're not good at the game, you fight this boss, you die within the first 3 seconds. But once you start getting into the flow, I kid you not, you have this like genuine like anime shit moment like happening in front of me. I'm like, oh, I am linked into the Matrix. I understand what I need to do here to beat you and all that kind of stuff. It was an amazing experience. And I brought up the build just then because somebody did mention, it's like, because everybody plays very differently, everybody's going to have a very different experience fighting that final boss. And that is going to be really interesting to see. And I have seen like 5 different playthroughs of that. And it's like, oh, everyone really is trying like different builds, like going against this and stuff. Like, it's kind of weird to say this, but like the final boss is one of like the best parts of this game. And I'm not saying the game is bad, but like it's just that well done. And I will never forget how amazingly done that final boss is. Yeah. Love this game. Would recommend it if you're a Metroidvania fan. But keep in mind it's very difficult. There is an easy mode, but you know it's not the intended difficulty.
Now it is Snake's turn.
Do you want to go with the pure white or the pure black? That's what I'm seeing here on the screen.
White.
Let's go white.
I guess top left. Yeah.
I knew it. I knew you put this on your list.
Definitely one of the games that I want to play because now it's like a regular third-person shooter, so probably easier for me to do.
Yeah, it definitely has the vibe of this is the modernized version, in the same vein as the Resident Evil remakes. Basically do the same kind of things. New voice casts, change some of the designs a bit. And they even added more endings, which surprised me, because the original had 5, then they added a 6th one in the enhanced version, or was it 4, then they added 2 more. But now there's like 8 or 9 endings, and some of them are like this ending, you have to have gotten this other ending before you can get this one. It's like, what is this? What's going on?
Wow, wait, are they new, by the way? Like, is this actually new endings?
Like brand new endings.
Oh, cool.
Now, I wasn't blown away by this game or anything. It's definitely good. I think it's you should still try and play the original if you can. I
would do that first, yeah.
The best way to do that is I think you can get the original on good old games, but that's the busted old PC port, this dog shit. So then you need to go for the Silent Hill Enhanced Edition fan patch, which not only fixes the bugs and whatnot, it also takes into consideration, okay, now we're presenting it in widescreen. Well, this thing that was never supposed to be seen in this shot can now be seen. So we're just going to adjust where the camera is. We're going to update some of the assets manually, not just put it through an AI and go, oh, there you go, it's updated. It's doing it by hand. It's better than more work than most official like HD ports. I'm not just talking about this infamous Silent Hill HD collection, how terrible that was. I mean, even ones that are generally well received, like Ratchet and Clank, and that didn't do this. So you can tell there's a lot of love and attention going into it, even putting in like modern controller options and different buttons for different controllers you might want to use and stuff like that. So I definitely recommend playing that first and then playing the remake if you can. But obviously for someone like Dog might not be interested in the original's style, that's fine. It's not the same experience, but you're still going to get like the core is still there, still intact. It's just some of the lines are one-to-one. And so you can really compare the deliveries of the two. And other points have changed the lines quite a lot or changed the locations of certain scenes. But I'd say it's still faithful. It's a little on the long side, especially for a game that has so many endings. Like when you have a game like that, it's like you want to have it a bit shorter so you can go through a bit more quicker.
Yeah.
But it's a solid game. It definitely, considering who it's by, Bloober Team, who's gotten a lot of shit over the years for games like The Witness and stuff like that, it's like, the
baby running.
Yeah, there were not high hopes for this, especially when it was announced alongside the movie by the guy who made the first movie, who clearly didn't understand the original game's story. And then also, they announced that weird online show thing where you'd like vote to change the outcome. And like half it's set in Norway, and like your little avatar can show up in the game and get credited on screen. Like, here's Dickmaster89 showing up on screen.
Didn't everybody just put Hideo Kojima in there or something?
Well, I know the lasting legacy of that game was that there was a little sticker you could get in the game for it, where it's just like in bright letters, "It's trauma." Like what?
Interesting.
But yeah, so hopes were not high, but then it turned out a lot better than you expected.
Yeah, I remember before the game came out, it's like, okay, the studio is one thing, but then it kind of became like, one of the grifter type like games. People are like, oh, every detail about this game must be perfect, and I don't like this, I don't like that. It was like no, like it became like one of those games that felt like it had no hope. Game came out, oh, it was good, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Nice.
One of the things they had going against it was that those grifters coming in like, oh, it's the Wokoid version because Maria's outfit changed. Because the original outfit was literally taken from Christina Aguilera in like a Kids' Choice Awards. What she wore at Kids' Choice Awards one year. They took that outfit. So here it's a new outfit. It's more similar to what Ashley wears in Resident Evil 4 Remake. And I mean, it's not as clear cut as like with the Resident Evil ones where I can go, this one's better, this one's better. Here it's like, they're both good in their own ways. They just have the original still there as a reference, though not as an alternate costume, unfortunately. There are no alternate costumes to unlock in this game, which there should be.
I agree.
Yes, overall solid experience. Worth a go. I'm not just saying that because the main character's got the same name as me. Here we go.
Well, good. I'm glad that's not your reason.
Oh, shit.
Oh, boy. I'm also top left, top right. I mean, bottom right.
What do we go? Top left, top right. Sorry, top left, bottom right. What do we go?
I say bottom right because
Whoops.
you got it wrong. Sonic and hurt its feelings. Top right.
Okay, bottom right it is then.
Idiot.
Wow!
Hey.
Yeah, what a fighting game fan. You're so proud of you. That sounded sarcastic. I'm genuinely happy
did
for
you?
you.
Yeah, I wasn't going to buy this, and then I got it for free. They're like, here's a free code. You don't got to make a video on it. Here's a free code. I'm like, oh.
What an
Cool.
endorsement.
Thanks.
I wasn't going to buy this, but then I got it for free. Now it's in my top 9 things
I
of
love
the
the
year.
games. It's just that I don't want to get invested in like learning them and all that because they're not like, you know, I don't know how, my brain only has so much room. I don't want to fill it with like games that are like 15, 20, 30 years old.
I guess that's fair. But I mean, you know,
Yeah.
it's relevant now. People are playing it online again, you know. So there's that aspect. It's not like it's going to be like no one's going to play it anymore kind of situation.
Because I go in.
It was relevant with then Maximilian put out that MVCI and Beyond mod.
Oh
And it's
yeah,
like,
that is
now the games
insanely
are
good
relevant. It
mod.
doesn't matter anymore.
Kind of want to buy that just for that mod now.
Right? Probably worth it. But yeah, no, I mean, like, this is a really cool thing that even happened because we already had the Capcom Fighting Collection, and it was missing a lot of games that I would like to play. And then this came out, and I was like, there we go. Now all is right in the world.
Does it also have the Punisher beat 'em up?
Yes.
Yeah,
Which
it
is like-
does, but
wild.
they had to change the ending slightly.
Well, I have no
What?
idea what happens in the ending. Okay.
Well, it's not a canon change or like it's not like a story change per se. They just Photoshop out the Twin Towers because they're in the original version.
That's
And I'm like, you didn't really
stupid.
have to do that.
That's fair.
Honestly,
No,
but-
like people are.
Sure.
I know people always evoke 9/11 for like disasters, but people are kind of over 9/11. People make jokes about it nowadays. Like you can
lot.
say
Yeah.
you can say I'm gonna make a 9/11 cake as a sub goal and not get banned on Twitch. I think it's okay to keep it in here.
I can't believe that. That's crazy that happened. But that did happen. Snake is correct. He's not making that up. That sounds like Clown World. That is a thing that happened. Some people are just gross.
Sounds like
I don't like
sounds
the
like
jokes
Clown
about
World.
9/11, but I understand like humor is whatever. But to do that is just so gross. Like, come on. Anyway.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far myself too. Did you like play around with it, like, or anything you want to say about it?
It's just got all the games. I mean, all the games play well. There's the online functionality, like you were talking about. Snake brought up the Punisher game, which feels random. It's kind of like they just put it in there because like, we need at least like one single player like beat 'em up kind of game.
I mean, when else are you gonna get to re-release the Capcom Punisher game?
Yeah. I love the artwork too. I think it's pretty.
Oh, I do love the new cover. I didn't read it, but how's the new comic? Has anybody seen that?
I haven't
I've
read
actually
that. I don't think.
I've not seen that actually.
Yeah, because there's gonna be like a new comic and stuff. That seems kind of fun. I'm excited for that in the Marvel Rivals comic.
Oh, the Marvel Rivals comic's gonna go hard. I already bought the with the like end game currency. I bought the pages already, like some of them, and I'm like, yeah.
That's not the comic. That's actually a completely different story. Actually, that's like
Gotcha.
the
Well, I
in-game
got that.
novel. Yeah. But
Gotcha.
they're making a separate comic.
Oh, I see what you mean. I found the link to what you're talking about right here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's gonna be 6
Marvel
issues.
does that a lot. They'll be like, here's a game. Well, DC did too. Here's a game. Let's do a comic tie-in for it. Happens all the time.
It seems pretty. It seems pretty short though, from what I've heard from the first issue, and they're only gonna do 6 of them for now. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see where it goes.
The comic looks very clickbaity because the cover has like high fidelity and it's like really, really nice art. Then you look at the inside and you're like, oh.
Come on! Don't be that rude.
Comics these days rarely have the same cover artist as they do the interior artist, which is a shame.
Kuma's foot.
Foot.
It's Kuma's foot right there. Okay, so now we're back up to Sonic, correct? Final one.
Final one. This will be
3,
a funny one for you guys.
2, 1, blink. Oh, is that an animation program?
Yeah, that's Blender.
Oh.
Yeah.
Basically,
3,
I kind of want
and tell you a third about you and your content, Sonic. This is disgusting.
It is only one. Okay,
you're off this
goodness
podcast,
gracious.
Sonic. You're off this podcast.
How dare you? It's only
I'm not
one.
putting up with this anymore.
But basically, I kind of wanted to talk about something actually related to my. This is the one that I want to talk about that's related to my video. Is basically like I decided around the beginning of the year that I wanted to try to implement some 3D sketches, 3D like funny bits. I'm inspired by the YouTuber Somebody, who makes like awesome like Mortal Kombat like montage. He does YouTube funny 3D stuff in there, and so I thought, I could like try some cute things and whatnot. So basically, every one of my videos I have little funny 3D sketches. They start up small, and then eventually I start pushing myself to do more and more like interesting stuff. My biggest like achievement is probably the poker skit. Like, holy shit, that whole thing took me an entire week just to get like that awesome 2-minute section, and still very proud of that in my opinion. Just like how that whole thing came out. But yeah, like I just learned a new skill, and I'm very like proud of myself in a way that I get to like utilize this into my YouTube videos. And I guess weirdly enough, the best achievement I've gotten out of this was the reptile and the lizard kissing. Because that shit blew up on Twitter like way too much. It had, I think currently it has like 20,000 likes and it has like almost 500,000 views. Part of me is really happy, and the other part of me is like, I wish my reptile video had that many views. It's like,
welcome to the club.
What's really funny is I had like half of the people who left comments were like famous Mortal Kombat YouTubers. I think like History Behind the Warrior left a comment there. Honeybee was like, what the fuck is this? And then Sonic Fox replied below him, like, peak.
Nice.
And so it's like, one half are like Mortal Kombat YouTubers, and the other half are, well, another community of people who seem to be very happy with that animation. So I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm happy that blew up in a way. So
yeah.
Be excited.
Well, Twitter
for more.
is filled with degenerates, which makes them like huge hypocrites because they'll get mad at people for doing a certain thing, and it's like, but then you see what gets upvoted on Twitter, and you're like, come on. Yeah.
But I'm happy people enjoy the animation. So like, but
that's gonna wind
like,
up on Rule 34, I bet, Sonic. Just like your other video you did, your little Shao Kahn getting spanked ended up on Rule 34.
It went on there. It ended up on like Daily Shao and Daily Reiko Twitter pages too for some reason.
I predicted that's also going to end up on there. The scaly boy.
Good luck. I don't think it. I don't want to check, but like, but yeah. So expect to see like hopefully more awesome animations next year, and I more awesome videos coming out next year too. But I will stick with it basically. And the final snake one is. Is that the comic or is that the game?
The game. It's just the actual official art is just a zoomed out shot of all the characters, so you can't see what the hell's going on. So I thought this would be a better pick.
Hey guys, before we talk about this, would we like to also unveil True Underdog's final one too? Right now?
Sure. Because it's the same thing.
Okay.
There we go.
What are the odds?
I got spoiled. I mean, I was gonna put it on there too, dog. Honestly.
I meant for it being the final one. Like we both saved it until the end somehow, and it's all picked at random. What are the odds?
True. Yeah. But here's the thing, though. We all three of us could gush about this game. I put 40 hours in this game myself too.
I'll gush about something different than I'm sure Snake is gushing about. So we let Snake gush first.
But I've been playing this with the same group that I play Minecraft with.
Yeah.
Cause we used to play Overwatch. I actually considered putting Overwatch on here, but then I thought, no, there's other stuff to put on. Because I started playing that again this year with them. And then Marvel Rivals was coming out, and it's like, yeah, Overwatch is good, but like, there's clear problems with it. Marvel Rivals is going to sweep, and then it kind of did.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I actually found my main a lot quicker than I did with Overwatch, because with Overwatch I went through a few different characters before I eventually settled on Mercy. But with this one, it's like I played a bit of Scarlet Witch, played a bit of Psylocke, and then I was like, oh, Loki. Holy shit, Loki is so my jam, because I'm more of a support guy. And so having Loki be able to put in like, here's little doubles, they're all going to shoot you now. And I can teleport into them and go invisible and shit. And I can also steal your ultimate. I can steal Full Black Widow's ultimate, Scarlet Witch's ultimate.
Oh,
I can steal Scarlet Witch's ultimate and like kill 4 of their team before they immediately get rezzed by Adam Warlock, but it's still a good play.
I haven't gotten to play that character yet, so it's cool that you were able to gush about him and talk about him. How does his ultimate work? Does it let you pick, like, does it have like a selection of all the different champions on your team?
No, it's you. Whenever you're aiming at someone, it'll say like Q to copy or whatever.
Oh.
And then it can be
allies
your team
and
or
enemies
the enemy.
too, by the way.
Both.
Yeah.
Which is especially funny because for obviously for processing time and whatnot, it's going to be their costume. So I got to use the classic Psylocke costume that I don't have. So I got to try that out by copying them. I did that with my friend plays Squirrel Girl mainly, so I was able to use her costume as well, like the 1950s one. So I was able to use that costume as well. Yeah, I get to try out costumes I don't have for like a 30 seconds.
Awesome.
So I played as Loki.
I feel like Loki's ultimate is very funny because I actually play a lot of Loki too myself. I play like he might be my top 5 most played too, and I find him to be very funny in terms of his ultimate because his whole playstyle is very different from his ultimate in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like you want to be a support, you want to be in the back, you want to be careful, but his ultimate is just like it depends on who you pick. It's like okay, if I want to help my team, I pick Luna and do the bullshit dance. Oh, but if like I literally like there's many times where I'm just like. Punisher, what the fuck you're doing? You have ultimate. Just kill them. All right, fuck it. I'll take you. And I pick Punisher and I just kill all their enemy teams myself, basically. Or Psylocke, essentially.
You have to be careful. You have to be careful where it ends, though, because you're very squishy. You have to try and stay back. But then some ultimates you're going to be, I'm Wolverine or something. I'm rushing in, getting up in melee range. Oh fuck, I'm Loki again. Run away! Run away!
Yeah, I do like playing. I'm fascinated. You actually like playing Loki because Loki is one of the more unique supports, like in terms of his role and like what he does in the game. So I'm like, oh, that's interesting that you actually do chime with him essentially. But I enjoy playing with him too. Just like people don't care about your clones, so it's always free.
Yeah, it's weird how people just don't attack the clones at all, even though. Taking out one clone cuts his damage output by 1/3, and if he's got one of them, he cuts it by half.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I was correct about that. I attacked the clones just because like they're really easy to kill, and I think it still counts as damage. So when the goal says like deal this much damage with your character to get the goal, I still like shoot them. I'm glad to know that I was actually helping by killing the clones.
Yeah.
They also don't move,
I love
so free damage. Yeah.
I love the tip where even if you die and if your clones are still on the battlefield, you can actually walk back and still shoot, and those clones will still shoot on the battlefield. Like that's some
crazy.
Clutch ways to heal your opponents, heal your teammates.
Yeah,
and stuff.
it's a little tricky because they'll fire at the target you're aiming at. So if the
you have to predict.
It's like a wall. If there's a wall between, you have to start. I mean, I've had a friend who knows how that works. He's been telling me he'll stand in front of where one of my clones is and just tell me to fire. So I fire and heal because he's right in front of my Loki.
Oh, that's so smart.
Yeah, there's some serious benefits to being like a 6 stack in this game where you can all properly coordinate.
Absolutely, yeah. Like when I climb the rank, I really don't want to do it myself, so I have a friend with me, so we both can do call-outs and stuff like that. Loki's definitely, in my opinion, like the biggest reason you pick him is that shift ability. That shit's really strong in right moments.
Oh yeah,
like,
so powerful healing, and it comes from all 3 of both his clones as well. So it's just the best. It's just. So it's very good where the team's down there, oh shit, I'm at a vantage point, they're all on the points. Put a clone down there, get the healing in. Everyone gather around.
Yeah.
Friends, gather around, for I am Loki.
Oh yeah, he's one of the best
Baptiste
supports in the whole game.
What?
Well, Loki's one of the best supports. He's really good. Yeah.
No, he's not.
You don't think so?
Like
he's
this game has
like top tier stat a lot of the time. Oh okay.
I mean he's like a B or an A, but he's not S. Here's the thing that's really funny.
Well, Jeff is the best support just because his water beam's OP as heck, but
no, Jeff is probably like the second or third worst.
Who are you watching?
No, I'm being serious actually, because like.
Well, no, me too. I watch like competitive guys rank them. I don't know who you watch to say this.
Well, I watch some competitive play and stuff like that,
Oh, okay.
and like you never see those two characters. You barely do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The funny thing about this
time.
game, in the current stage of the game, it's like people joke and say everyone's OP, but the
Yes,
truth is there's
especially
only like
casual.
there's only like 2 or 3 characters who are actually bad. But even then, I do sometimes see people utilize them. But like it is not a joke. Like everyone's very viable in the game. It's like you can probably play any character and like do good with them. I remember even when the game just came out, people said Wolverine is like the worst character in the game, and he was that for about the first week. Then people found out how to play him, and now he's kind of like one of the like really good situational characters in the game because he's a tank killer. Just do that.
If you have
Never
a
kill
healer
any
on him
squishies.
especially, I can see him being really good because he sticks and he tackles and stuff.
You basically want to tackle the tank out of the enemy team and kill the tank yourself because you have percentage damage, which works better for like tank characters and whatnot.
It's really funny seeing just how many abilities are just stolen from Overwatch.
Oh yeah, I forgot how good Mantis is at healing because I used Mantis a couple of times and I was like absurd with Mantis, and I'm not even good at Mantis, but her healing is just that crazy good. Yeah.
Mantis, even I'm like I don't think I should be good with Mantis, but Mantis is my most played character just because like she is currently one of the most OP characters. But the thing is, people don't know how to play her correctly because she has pretty good healing with her right click and her ultimate. But that's not how you're supposed to play Mantis. Mantis isn't a support. That's her second job. Your first job is to damage buff yourself and kill people.
She can tank
People
kill.
never
she can
expect
headshot,
you.
one-shot people and stuff. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yes.
Because she has a very slow rate of fire. That's kind of your indication if they're meant to be like heavy hitters. They fire very slow.
Yeah.
And she does. Just like with Namor, it throws that like trident, and it's very slow.
Hela, Adam Warlock,
Yeah.
just pew pew pew.
Adam
like
Warlock
that.
is ridiculous. The fact that he hits that hard when he's like also a support kind of. It's like, why does he hit so hard?
Adam Warlock is my worst character specifically because it's like, oh, if I want to get good with this character, I have to aim. It's because like a lot of his like you have to kill people with him. Ooh, as a support, that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. I'm glad that I'm looking at another pro tier list, and it looks like he's mimicking what you're saying. So I guess the time has like changed. Like it's aged a bit better. Now Jeff is no longer. He's only hated among the casuals. It looks like because at the high level he's just okay.
Jeff. Yeah, because Jeff. The biggest thing about Jeff is his ultimate, and like, but other than that, it's like Luna Snow is just too bullshit with her ultimate, basically. Okay. Zenyatta's ultimate, we've all experienced that, right? It's like, oh, invincibility within there. What was it, 4 seconds or 5 seconds? Luna Snow dances for 11.
Yeah.
You just don't die in there for 11 seconds, and then what happens after that? Maybe you have a Loki who copies the Luna, or Mantis ultis. Mantis ulti is pretty much as strong as Luna's ulti. So,
Well, can they
oh
kill
shit,
Lola when
Psylocke,
she's
Luna
doing it,
ulti.
though? When Luna's doing
What?
her ult, can you kill her?
It's very hard to, but you
'Cause she's moving around
can, but you
constantly?
have to...
Okay.
You have to put a lot of damage on her. But point is, that ultimate can tank up like 90% of the, like most ultimates. Psylocke ultis countered, Hela ulti counter. So that's actually why you see some people just play Iron Man to counter that, because the maximum pulse is a one shot basically. So that's one way you can counter it. Yeah.
I see a lot of Iron Fist for that reason too, because Iron Fist can literally nullify a lot of ultimates in the game. They just don't hurt him at all. Magneto can shield people. Hulk can shield people too, which is kind of cool.
Yes.
And then my favorite meme of all is Doctor Strange doing his little giant shield in front of someone's ult and just like absorbing it. I saw someone do that meme with like whenever Hela does her ultimate and she floats into the air and is ready to do like her Predator drone, he just flies up and does this right in front of her so she legit can't shoot anybody. And someone put audio over it like, do you have time for our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ? Wait, don't run from the Lord. And he's like trying to stay in front of her field of view.
I do that, yeah. Whenever I play Strange, I just do that too. But keep on going, Snake. We kind of took your thunder there.
Oh, sorry.
I think Hawkeye players should be putting gulags.
Why?
I hate him. I hate him so much.
He does get
He
a lot
is
of
very
accidental
strong.
kills when I watch his kill cams. Like he's just aiming at somebody else and happens to headshot me when I'm jumping across the screen.
Because in the first week, my friends and I had this running joke of like, we went from playing Overwatch, constantly getting sniped by Widow, to playing Marvel Rivals, constantly getting sniped by Widow. More things change. But then after
so
that,
we
it's
made
like,
that
She's
joke.
still not that great though, just like Widowmaker.
No.
was
She is one of the
hilarious.
worst characters. It's very interesting.
then,
like,
then it comes out that
That's what
actually
Hawkeye's for.
Hawkeye's the sniper, even though he's the guy with the bow, and like absolute pain in
Hawkeye
the
is the
ass to deal
issue.
with. Holy shit.
I will say I love Hawkeye's ultimate. It's very creative. I've never seen an idea even close to that where it makes after images.
interesting,
And you can
yeah.
shoot the after images, and if they line up, you can shoot all the after images in a row, and it does damage to all of them. I'm like, that's incredibly cool. Like that's really
got
cool.
a-
One-shot tanks and everything else. Yeah.
I got an MVP with Loki once, and I was just like, I wanted to copy Hela because Hela Ultimate's so bullshit. But then it's like, I
Yeah.
copied their Hawkeye. I'm like, I didn't want to play. Okay, whatever. Ultimate Hawkeye, 3 kills.
Yes, if
like-
you rapid fire, it's the same damage as if he fully charges it during his ultimate.
That's
It's
his ultimate.
crazy.
Yes, that's why
Yeah.
Ultimate just. And I just got 3 kills.
Yes.
Okay. He
And if you
actually
play
is quite
Jeff
easy
like
to
I
play
do,
too.
don't do that because Jeff the Shark, his head is really big. You get headshot all the time by Hawkeyes and also Black Widows because your head is like half your body. And yes, they did
you-
do it that way. Like
Did you know he has a funny passive because of that? Because Jeff has a bigger head.
Yes, you can headshot him easier. I've tested it. Like his hole where his head
Well-
is, that entire thing is a headshot. Yeah.
He also takes 50% less damage from headshots because of how big his head is.
Oh, he does. I didn't know that. Well, when I play him,
That's
I
a
die
passive he
instantly
has.
to Hawkeye. He one
It's
shots
pretty
me.
cute. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
it's still enough damage to kill you, unfortunately.
Yes, yes.
But I have heard in the higher elos, Hawkeye and Hela get banned every game. That's how I've heard. Like, so expect those two to be changed in the future. But yeah, like it is interesting that Black Widow is not super OP. She can still headshot you, but it's like the thing about Black Widow, unlike Hawkeye, is like Hawkeye can one shot you. Black Widow, every time I feel like I get shot by her, I just take damage or a lot of damage, but I
Yes.
don't die. Like, and that's
True.
like one of the things I think they need to give her. Like Widowmaker, you can headshot or you can shoot somebody, but even if they don't die, you can pull out, you can go to machine gun mode, then like kind of like finish them off, or just instantly
Yeah.
shoot again, and try to finish them off. Black Widow is each shot, pew, 1 second, pew, 1 second. You have to wait that 1 second every time you shoot, and I think that's one of her biggest issues. But I'm theory crafting, you know. I'm not a Black Widow
And
main.
if I had to guess, like design-wise, why she's weaker than Hawkeye and all that, I think it's because she has that switch ability where she becomes like combat focused up close, and Hawkeye kind of only just has that one little swipe move that knocks you away.
Which
So
is
they're probably
weird.
thinking, oh, like one's better up close, one's better at far. Yeah.
It's weird because when
Well-
you think about it, wouldn't Hawkeye make more sense having the melee options, given that he's also Ronin and he has the sword
Yeah.
in the game?
Yeah. Worth mentioning about Black Widow's like close combat thing, by the way. It's still shit, even though you smack people. Yeah, I'm smacking you. It's
I
just
have
like-
to assume it's because like I assume the bow has an arc to its shot like an actual bow would, so I assume that's the balancer because it's not just like a shot that's going to hit wherever you fire. It's like it has to actually travel and
Yeah, there's a
and fall.
trajectory, sure. Yeah.
So imagine that was
It's
what,
still
what the
fast,
thought
though.
process was. So he's not completely undermined by Black Widow the way she is completely undermined by him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
can
we'll
totally
see.
picture like I can picture the team like balancing it and being like, okay, we have a choice to make, guys. Who's gonna be the better like heavy damage like ranged character? It's between Hawkeye and Widow, and they thought about it. And it's like, well, one of them's entire gimmick is literally that he doesn't miss. You know, I think his entire gimmick is like hitting any target no matter what. So probably got to give that to Hawkeye.
Well, one of them is still in the MCU, the other one's dead. So for brand synergy reasons,
MCU, what do you call it? Synergies here.
it's shockingly not
Have you
as
all
dominant
seen-
in this game as I expected.
No, it's really
they got
original,
some pretty
yeah.
good. Like Luna Snow's from a fucking other game. She's not even from the comics.
Oh yeah.
And then you have Jeff the Land Shark, and I don't think it was because they were
Girl.
planning to put him in the MCU. I think it's because he was just popular. They put him in the game, and now they're going to put him in the MCU because people respond to him in the game.
Yeah.
And it's just wild.
I
really-
love these more obscure picks. It's
Yeah.
not just like the obvious, like, oh, we gotta put the big name and stuff like that. It's like
Yeah.
I love Cloak and Dagger. It's like, wow, what a cool
Yes.
character they
Yeah.
just added in there. That's my main basically. Like
Well,
I know
Cloak
like
and Dagger are in the MCU. They had a failed TV show.
we don't talk about that.
But yeah, I'm shocked by some of these picks. I'm eager to see who they add next. I just
yeah.
wish. I wish that the aesthetic was a bit more appealing because I feel like some of the designs are too armored. It's like something out of Injustice. Like Cap shouldn't be that armored. I don't like it.
I see what you mean.
And then
yeah.
Wolverine just looks terrible in that awful coat. Like Wolverine only looks good with the movie suit.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think people are saying like that's a inside job where it's like they're gonna see how bad the design Wolverine is and then they're gonna buy the movie skin. Mahaha.
Yep, got him.
But he looks
Got
he looks
him.
way better with that one, yeah.
Yeah, I don't hate his default look in motion, but just artwork for it, you're like, oh, it's so bad. His default, like,
It
I just don't like
very
how bad he
casual.
is. Because I know Wolverine is like, he is a short king, and this game really does present that.
Yes.
But like, it makes him look like a child in his dad's jacket. I don't like it. I need something that fits him better. This just looks awful.
yes,
Oh,
agreed.
any highlights you want to say, Jonah Dog?
I mean, I got the game solely for Venom. I was like, oh my god, we're gonna get to actually have a cool looking Venom in a game, so I got it for that reason. It was in that beta phase for a while, so I was worried about it. I was like, when games take this long in like early play, I'm worried they're gonna be like either really good or really bad. And now my only regret is not jumping on it earlier because it's a big thing. Like every channel that's covering it, even ones that were small before, are now getting like 50K views on every video. I'm like, damn. And they're doing guides and stuff, and I'm like, this could have been right up my alley. Could have been right up my alley, but oh well. That's fine. Didn't jump on it. I'm enjoying it a lot. I think Penny Parker is another obscure pick because y'all are mentioning like out there choices. I think Penny Parker was
Not
a cool
obscure
one.
anymore,
She was in Spider-Verse.
Not
so
obscure
I don't
anymore.
know.
Yes, but keep in mind it's not the Spider-Verse version. It's the actual comic version. Which is
Oh,
cool.
sorry.
yeah,
When I
true.
said obscure, I thought you meant like people aren't playing her, but I'm like, I see her all the time.
No, just
in
as
the
far
game,
as
is what
like
I mean.
popularity-wise. Like Luna Snow's the most obscure because she's like only in a mobile game
Oh, yeah.
apparently or something like that.
Yes, that's
But
where
like
she
my friend
originated
said, it's
from.
like they need someone for the K-pop fans. And I'm like, okay.
I am looking at some of these and going, okay, this seems like it's there for the MCU. Like Iron Fist, but it's not Danny Rand. Could it be that they're trying to say, oh, there are other Iron Fists. We can put another Iron Fist in the MCU who's not the one you all dislike.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Or
I mean,
Or
what
it's
do
just
you
to
guys think
appeal
about
to the Chinese market. That's also possible.
well, it's also to appeal to modern Marvel because they did that. They replaced them and no one liked it. So now they're putting it in the game and being like, now they like it.
I mean,
Just like
yeah,
Squirrel Girl.
everyone's
No one read
playing
the
him.
Squirrel Girl comics. They were terrible. The art was abysmal. Nobody read Squirrel Girl. The character is funny enough and she's a meme, but no one read those comics. But now
So
that
is
she's
that-
in the game and looks decent, and they actually try to make her look cool.
It turns out all you had to do is give her a massive dumpy, and suddenly everyone
Big
loves
old
her.
ass.
Suddenly.
And
What about
I love all
what do
the
you guys think
stupid
about
Day
like?
One simping over Psylocke's alternate outfit too? I'm like, yep, saw this coming.
I'm surprised.
gonna say
I'm
Psylocke
surprised by
because-
Psylocke because this version is Japanese.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
I was gonna
not
mention
not
that,
just
yeah.
a body swap. She's actually she's one of the alternate universe versions, and it's like
Yes.
I feel like that's something the game needs to be a bit more clear up front about who is from an alternate universe. Like I'm pretty sure Loki and Thor are.
There is the story you can actually read into, and it's actually kind of interesting for what they're doing. But basically, it's like you have base universe, you have the future because 2099, so like the future has the
Yeah.
Punisher and Winter Soldier, Black Widow, and then you have alternate universe characters like the multiverse. So I think the Guardians of the Galaxy and like you said, maybe Loki, because I think in the
I didn't even
people are
catch
saying
that.
like. How is your Asgard the only one that exists in the multiverse? The one that survived is the one that Loki rules over, or something like that. There's like these story bits that are mentioned.
Yeah.
So that's like three types of characters in a way. So it's kind of interesting, you know. And it's
Yeah.
it's very funny. We should talk multiverse things, and now Marvel Rivals come out, and it's like, oh yes, amazing job, guys. Love what you're doing here.
I was wondering if the reason they did that different version of Iron Fist is for the same reason you joked about the terrible default costume for Wolverine to shill the movie version. What if they're going to add a Danny Rand like costume? And then it's
I
like,
feel like they
here
will.
it is.
I mean, and they'll give
Oh.
him the costume. I'm sure. Like,
Yeah.
this Psylocke is technically not the same Psylocke as we normally see, but she gets like,
Yeah.
a very classic costume, but tweaked to be a bit more. Like she's got like more of a Hime cut. She's got like a more Japanese style version of it. So
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what they'll do. That's why it's really funny because this game does that thing that we all want other superhero games to do, but only Guardians did, where it's like this costume debuted in this comic, and it's like, but it didn't though. This is like you look at classic Magneto and it's like, oh yeah, X-Men #1. That is not the X-Men #1 costume. this is
No, it's
this is a new rendition. It's so funny.
100%, yeah.
I do still appreciate the like they will reference and be like, oh, this is where this come from. It's quite nice still.
I
though,
guess
for,
we got to mention one negative thing about the game because we keep glazing it. We got to mention just at least one negative thing. All I can think of is that people
Alright.
are noticing that some characters are just worse versions of existing characters, right? So, for
So you said
example, why
Iron
would you play
Fist?
Spider-Man when you could play like Iron
Venom.
Fist or another better like duelist, right? Why would you
Venom-
play
I feel like
this
Venom does a lot
healer
of
when
what
you could play
Spider-Man
this
does
healer
too.
does the same thing but just better? Why would you play this tank when you can play this tank? You know, like that kind of thing.
The thing is, though, like you run into this issue when because okay, here's one thing. I know we're talking about negatives, but when I play, like, one of the reasons I love this game is it really starts to make me remember back in the 2016 days when Overwatch just started, because I got on that trend immediately, and I played that game for years, and I experienced a lot of these same like things that happen. Oh, the funny thing is Overwatch 1, when it just came out, didn't have that many characters, and this game comes out with 33. It's like, wow, what the? And then, like, of course, as time goes on, when more characters show up, then that issue does become like an issue. People do start saying like, oh, why play Reinhardt when Sigma is better in terms of protecting characters? Why play Pharah when Echo is better and stuff like that? So you are bound to come to these issues, and eventually compromises will happen, reasons to pick characters will happen.
Buffs and nerfs
what's funny
and all
is,
that, yeah.
Yeah, and what's funny
Mostly
about the thing that
buffs,
you're
they
mentioning, your
said,
Trona
so that's
dog,
good.
is...
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they actually. I'm excited to see. Like, I hope they do more buffs. We haven't seen like a official like patch changes yet, but I do want more buffs. But the interesting thing that you mentioned there are, this game does have a lot of divers, and funny thing is a lot of type of Genji characters, like literally these reset, high kill, like flanker type kind of characters. There are many of them.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily know if we're at the point where why play this when this is better. Like, there are characters that have that, like Black Widow.
And I want to
why play
specify,
Black
I
Widow
don't
and
just mean
Hawkeye
tier-wise.
and
I mean
Hela
that their
is better?
gameplay is very similar to also. Like how Spider-Man and Iron Fist feel very similar with like how they're playing. Like, get in there, do a combo, get a kill, and then run away.
Yeah, actually, yes. But that's for most characters, too. Psylocke, Black Panther all have the same play style, but they play very differently.
I guess Black Panther's a better... They do have... Yeah, they do have, I guess that is true. Like, when it comes to being similar, their similar characters are more different than most other games' similar characters. Because even though I want to compare Black Panther to Iron Fist, he has the spear, which is different, you know, and all that.
Yeah.
So.
And also, even though Black Panther, yes, like, he has the same thing, get in, get out, but also his mechanic is all about resetting his abilities. He has the potential to team wipe. Iron Fist kind of has a harder time team wiping because his ultimate is just punching. So while yes, he could do that if your enemy team is stupid, but if he does that, you know, just focus him. He only has one reflect. Spider-Man also has a team wiping ultimate too.
Did you say team wipe? Again.
Yeah, team wiping. Oh yeah.
Again. I pulled that off for the first time on my second match with that character, and I'm like, dude, this is too much fun to just like slam that move, get one easy kill, and then just do it again. And you're like, oh my god, ace.
That's awesome. I have opinions on Spider-Man because one of my friends literally plays this game, and I'm like, have you been playing other characters? Yeah, I totally have been playing other characters. I look at his statistics. He's played like 40 hours, and 30 hours of it is all Spider-Man. So,
good Lord.
So he has a lot of opinions. Spider-Man is genuinely one of the hardest characters in this game, but pulling off what he does is very satisfying. And his biggest advantage that other characters don't have is he can get from point A to point B within 3 seconds. While if you play as Magneto, you gotta walk 20 seconds. So that'll be... Yes, there definitely are better characters than others, but I still think the meta is so early, and we're still looking at, like, for things. So similar playstyle characters still provide different things and whatnot. Like, I don't think it's one of those cases where Iron Fist is better than Spider-Man, therefore Spider-Man is nullified. Only, like...
No, not nullified. Yeah.
Yeah. At least for
also,
now.
let's let Snake go, actually. Yeah.
Can we all agree that Galacta needs to learn to shut the fuck up?
There should be an option to turn her off, 100%, if you're like tired of hearing it. Yeah.
Well, you can't expect to win them all.
I wonder if there is an option. There's so many sound settings. If you hit advanced, there's a lot. So maybe there is.
You can shut her up, actually. I'm pretty sure you can shut her up.
I'm kind of hoping that as
to.
the story advances, that future season might replace her with other characters, and they can choose between them.
Oh,
so this season's the Beyonder. This season it's Doctor Strange watching over the multiverse. This season is Doom, Xavier.
You know what they're gonna do is they're gonna do an announcer pack, right?
Possibly.
Yeah. Although what's funny is, like, I'm pretty sure next season, because this is season 0, it's gonna be very short. But next season is gonna be, now we're gonna start the Doctor Doom like story mode basically. So we'll see where that goes essentially with the new maps and who shows up. Also, Snake. I think one thing that you're also more complaining about, like Galactus, is the fact that like she's voiced by the same, like the cat from Persona.
Yeah,
oh, not again.
She's not bad or anything. I do like her in a lot of her roles, like in Fire Emblem and whatnot. Like Sandra Lee Morris is good. It's just it does come down to the direction of the character, I don't necessarily mean just like the voice direction, I mean like the way the character's written. I don't like the announcer being this overly chipper person. I don't, especially when you lose. It's like you just shut your mouth. That's one thing. That's why Overwatch does it right. It's like it's just some voice, basically an AI voice that just says,
Capture the point.
You lose, you win. That's it. That's better, I think, than this person who's like, epic victory.
Another epic victory.
She needs more.
Big win.
I don't like that this person from space is saying words like epic. I don't like that. She's not. I don't like it.
There is one thing I do like that she says. In competitive, like this is like I haven't experienced this, but I've seen it. Because eventually, if you get to diamond and ranked, you can actually ban characters from showing up, and so she'll be like, so you can like ban. That's why I said Hela and like Hawkeye get banned every game. So she will say, "So who am I gonna banish today?" I was like, "Oh, you just banish them from the realm or something like that." Like that's how it works.
So literally, MK11 was a result of like the Diamond players voting to banish Shang Tsung, Nightwolf, and Fujin, and Chronicus said, "Yep, those ones are going to do."
Banish them to the void.
So it's funny because I want to complain about a character that's not OP or anything. She's not considered top tier. I just hate how brain dead she is, and it's Scarlet Witch. Whenever I die to this character on the kill cam, her reticle's not even on me. It's like 5 feet to the side, and it still gives her the kill. I'm like, what is this character that has auto aim? And also, her damage is higher based on your health. So if you're a tank, she does more damage to you.
Oh, I didn't.
And I'm like, what?
What? I want to disable the kill cam, not just because it's demoralizing to see how you died again, but also because I feel like it stays on for too long, and then half the time you've respawned already before it's come off.
Maybe.
Just spam spacebar.
Yeah,
I spam skip every time. Yeah.
Sometimes,
if I don't want to see
forget,
it, spam it.
You need to have the option to just turn it off.
Oh,
I mean,
true. I agree.
Scarlet Witch is literally the most brain dead character like ever. Yes. it's so funny. Like they created this character that's just like so easy mode basically. Like even I love playing Moira in Overwatch, and I can't bear playing her. I'm like, this is too easy. I can't.
I have one final complaint. It's not a big one, but I'm sure everyone has
first time
this,
I played it,
complaint.
I'm like, what the fuck? I got MVP, but we need a very easy character for some casuals, I guess, and whatnot.
Yeah, that's why it's so annoying when you get killed by her. It's like you didn't even earn that. You're just like pointing somewhere in my general direction and got the kill. But so one last complaint, not a big one, but it's a gameplay balance thing. I get it. But Iron Man having low health makes no sense. He is literally the invincible Iron Man. He should be at least a bit tankier. Give him like
Wolverine
300
or
400 health instead of 200. Like that's too low for a Iron Man.
Yeah, he and Wolverine feel like they should be have a lot more health than they actually do.
I don't really know how they'd balance Iron Man with more health. Wolverine, I think it kind of makes sense, but Wolverine does have the passive and the ability.
Yeah,
because
but from what I've heard from a friend who plays a fair bit of Wolverine, that takes way too long to kick in. Like Wolverine,
well, that's the passive.
Wolverine of all people should not be so reliant on healers. I know it's part of like a team game, but like it's Wolverine for fuck's sake.
The funny thing is, like, okay, he does also have ability that I never, because I didn't know anything about Wolverine until I watched some guides. He has an ability where he basically takes half damage. He can press a button basically, so that's one of his survival abilities. But I actually do think they should have just basically swapped his ability with magic, because magic has the ability where the amount of damage you dish, you get it back as healing. That just sounds like a Wolverine thing.
It does.
Yeah.
But Magic has that, and that's why Magic is more played in terms of like flanking and killing.
If you hadn't said that, I would have thought that was his ability, But
yeah, right? It just kind of fits. But Wolverine, I definitely think he's going to get changed, but he's in a very weird spot right now because I don't think I've ever seen a good Wolverine in my games yet, but then like the very, very high level people that know what they're doing, it's like they are really utilizing Wolverine apparently really well, and like one of the top 10 best players is a Wolverine main right now and stuff like that. So it's a very weird situation, but it's interesting.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. All right. I guess that's pretty much it. Time to wrap it up.
Honestly, yeah, we could gush about Marvel Rivals. We're probably going to gush about Marvel Rivals more after this. Who do you main, True Dog, honestly? I didn't think I really heard that.
Penny Parker, but once I get a higher level, if I play ranked more, I'll probably not play her because they destroy that turret right away. And that turret is so good at casual level because you just hide it behind something and they don't know where it is. Like they want to destroy it, but you put it behind a crate or something that's like behind you. So they have to get past you if they want to touch it. and then you put a bunch of mines around it, or like a hallway that goes around the back, and they just get blown up all the time by your mines.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll go an entire game without dying as Penny Parker, even though I'm actively engaging and shooting, and I'll get like 35 kills, 0 deaths, and I'm like, like I have a character who's like similar hours to Penny, but like with Penny I have like 500 kills already, and I've only been playing her for like 4 hours. But she just gets so many kills. Like it's hilarious. I get MVP almost every time. Now it's a casual.
She is actually.
But yeah.
She is actually still played in higher levels too. Like she is good, but the funny thing is, I think all the Vanguards except Captain America are all great in this game, and even Captain America can still be played good, but he just
his
struggles
pretty
a lot
crazy.
more compared to
Cap's
others.
His
fine.
ult's pretty interesting. Entire team gets
Cap's very
shields
fun
and,
though.
Yeah.
I played a fair bit of Cap. He's pretty good. I love his run animation. It's like Arthur in Marvel 3, but I feel like he's definitely benefits from Thor's synergy, where he gets that extra attack. Like without that, he's nowhere near as good. Like he relies on being allied with Thor. It's a neat system. It's just I feel like some of the benefits just feel like, are almost invisible. Like you barely even feel like they're there. And I'd like to see some more that are a bit more out there. Like some make sense. Like Thor can boost Storm with lightning powers. Makes perfect sense. Symbiote on other spider people. Hell yeah, I get that.
Cool.
But then some it's just like, oh, you get like chi boosted if you're Luna Snow, and then she when she's with Iron Fist, it's like what? Just give me a new move.
What's the
something else I can spam when I'm in the
Storm
panic.
and Iron Man, would you say? Because I've only played a little bit of Storm.
Oh, the difference is Iron Man is way better. Pick him instead of Storm.
So that's a better example then of like the why is this character just them but worse?
Storm is very weird because like I look at her on paper, she seems terrible. Yet for some reason people are able to utilize her in her team up ability is why you want to play with her.
Thor, but I never get a
and also
Thor
her
on my
ultimate.
team. My friends don't want to play
Well, it's not
Thor because
Thor.
Thor's complicated.
Okay, it is Thor. Thor is not Thor is Unga Bunga. I go in, I press button, I keep getting heals. Yeah, I win. He's
Yeah, but you gotta
literally
store
like
his
that.
hammers to get his square and have it be correct and all that. And you can't use his powers when his hammer's gone. It has cooldown. You know, that little
You
stuff.
just spam right click and shift and then press the E and then go into like awaken
You can't
mode
use
and
PC
start.
terms, damn it. I don't play on PC.
Oh, okay. You use his hammer throw
Cheater.
and the hammer push, and then you do the AOE thingy, like the ball, and then you go into the awaken mode and you start tossing the hammers and killing the squishies, and he just can never die
You do the
because
AoE
every
and
ability he
then
uses gives him
his square
shields.
mode. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Basically, he just doesn't die. That's like you wouldn't just keep going there, oonga boonga boonga boonga, and you spamming abilities every 3 seconds. You get a shield every time you use an ability. Oh my gosh, your camera! Oh my gosh, where's your camera going, Snake?
Oh no! Oh no!
Quick!
Lewd.
You sneeze and the
Quick,
camera
in the video,
just.
we're gonna get demonetized. In the video. Ah!
What was shown? I'm kind of curious.
Edelgard, Marin, and Miku. I think his name is.
Yeah, that's conclude this video because I think we can just we're just gonna talk about Marvel Rivals afterwards, anyways. End this video, guys. Any maybe some final thoughts about Marvel Rivals. Love the game. It's I'm doing the Ratatouille meme where the critic like eats the food and it remembers like that's how I feel like the good times of when I enjoyed Overwatch. That's how I feel with Marvel Rivals. I'm getting all my Overwatch pals back into this game and they're like, oh, this is fun. I'm loving this game and it's a great experience currently. Hoping the best for them, honestly. I'm a Mantis, Rocket, Cloak and Dagger, just so you guys know.
Nice. Good. I like Jeff the Shark too. Penny Parker, Jeff the Shark. I like being healer if no one's gonna be healer.
Jeff and Luna are like very easy characters. Yeah, I don't play them often, so I'm not good with them. But I can play them. You know, I play
Venom
every
is
character
super fun
support.
too, but I swear sometimes I
Yeah.
can't hit the broadside of a barn when I'm playing Venom. Sometimes, like, I'm like, why can't I hit anybody? Like they're all just barely out of range of my tendrils. And I'm like, pop shield, swing away, come back in. Yeah. How about you, Snake?
He's Loki.
Yeah, low-key predominantly. I also play Psylocke sometimes when things are getting a bit clutch and we need more than healers. The main Vanguard I play is Captain America, actually.
Oh, cool.
The others haven't really clicked with me that much. Also, I've rather enjoy Star-Lord.
Ah, wait, I have to. Hang on, I gotta show this. It's funny. This meme. Star-Lord players in a nutshell.
I am legendary.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, I actually saw like someone like says like someone literally watching like this Starlord player. He gets like no kills early game, and then just uses ultimate kill everybody, and he's in diamond or something, or like one of the top 500 players. Just like, oh, that actually is how you play him.
It's annoying how much damage he does in that form. It's like it deletes everybody almost.
Oh yeah, that's why you need a Luna and Mantis on your team, so everybody doesn't die when you're, when he ults.
But now they've learned the meta, Sonic. They've learned to go straight for the healers and just kill them right away. When I'm playing Jeff, Iron Fist or Spider-Man swings behind enemy lines and just owns me in 2 hits, and I'm like, oh. I'm just dead.
that's why I like playing Cloak and Dagger, Rocket, and Mantis, because if I get focused on, I just like Mantis sleep, Cloak and Dagger, right click on the ground and then start sucking. Rocket can't die. That's the reason you play Rocket, because if you play Rocket, you should get like 1 death in the entire game.
By the way, do we end the video yet or not?
No, we haven't. That's ending the video.
Okay.
Shoot us. Happy New Year, everybody. Hope for a better 2025, everybody. Yay.
Don't
This is
demonetize for Christmas.
it's a fake
It's
gun.
orange.
It's a
See, it's not real.
It's a fake gun. I'm gonna get shot, and this is what my final thoughts are gonna look like. Focus. Focus, please. Focus.
And so ends a very mid-year.
And a very mid episode.
2024. At least it wasn't bad.
I mean, there's still like another week to go before it ends, so we could just.
True.
But
We
2021 and 22 and even 23 were so legendarily bad. It was like, oh my lord.
I feel like that's been the meme since 2016. Like every year is bad, basically.
2020 started off so good in January and then just went to shit.
How can you say the next year's not going to be bad when Trump is now in office, you chud? Are you a Trump supporter, you chud? You chud? True under chud?
Cut that out. Cut it out. Cut it.